Lie, how about we make a bet? If the upgrade is successful, the teaching assistant sister will unconditionally promise me one thing. And vice versa. Liuya curled her lips, raised her hand and patted her towering chest and said, "No problem. If you win, you can tell me to do anything, just let me lie on top. I will definitely not lie on the bottom." Xiaoyi nodded, and then took out from the system space more than 300 bottles of energy liquid that he had collected before the village exploded. With a click, more than 300 bottles of energy liquid were thrown directly into the big mouth of the five-clawed golden dragon. Even the bottles were bitten into pieces and swallowed along with the energy liquid. Ilyu glared at him and said anxiously, "Are you crazy? If you swallow so much energy liquid at once, you will explode and die." A two-tailed white fox next to him tensed up when he heard this, and said in a tender voice, "Quick, Xiaoyi, spit it out." To awaken the SSS level template, 10 rule fragment crystals are needed as for the myth level template. In addition to the 10 rule fragment crystals of the SSS level template, 150 rule fragment crystals must be absorbed and fused. So Xiaoyi was not panicked at all. The qualifications of mythical 5-clawed golden dragon supreme template are at least 1,000 times higher, and those of SSS level 5-clawed golden dragon template. An extremely huge amount of energy exploded within the 5-clawed golden dragon. The 5-clawed golden dragon felt refreshed, as if it had finally rained after a long drought. Chapter 132, breaking through the limit and returning to the realm of Grand Master. Countless cells in the golden dragon's body were absorbing the surging energy in the body like a whirlpool. At the same time, the external energy around the golden dragon was also violently drawn towards it. Seeing that the situation was getting out of control and becoming more serious, the two-tailed white fox's heart was in his throat. His clenched hands were sweating, and his eyes were fixed on the golden dragon, fearing that something might happen. Liuya stamped her feet anxiously, her face full of worry, and she blamed herself. "Liuya, it's all your fault. As an assistant teacher, you are so playful. What kind of bet are you making? Don't even mention unconditionally agreeing to one thing from him. Even if you agree to 100 things, that's fine." After she finished blaming herself, she whispered in Jinlong's ear, "Xiaoyi, you must survive successfully from now on. I will do whatever you tell me to do. If you tell me to lie on top, I will lie on top. If you tell me to lie on the bottom, I will lie on the bottom. You don't like soup but prefer meat. I can break the membrane by myself, and then you can eat me every day. You must survive. Please." The two-tailed white fox was so nervous that he didn't listen at all. In Jinlong's mind, Xiaoyi was immersed in the ultimate cultivation experience. "I seemed to hear something extraordinary, but I couldn't hear clearly what it was. It seems like something ate the meat and broke the membrane on its own." The golden dragon instinctively absorbed energy. Xiaoyi and Nangong Saya used the magic beast training method to convert the energy into themselves. The realm of the 5-clawed golden dragon began to rise steadily, almost every 5 seconds. The realm rises one level. First order, second order, third order, fourth order, level 5, level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9, 10th level. The sounds of breakthroughs continued to ring out. Within 1 minute, the golden dragon realm was promoted from level 1 to level 10, reaching the critical point with the Grand Master realm. The two-tailed white fox was shocked and said in surprise, This is a breakthrough. Sister Liuya, if we break through before our body explodes, will we not explode and die?" she asked with a silly look on her face, tilting her head. Liuya was caught off guard and said in a panic, "Even a rank 10 golden dragon can't withstand such a huge amount of energy. More than 300 or nearly 400 bottles of energy liquid are enough to upgrade to SSS level summon beasts to the supreme realm. A rank 10 golden dragon will still explode and die." She became even more panicked as she spoke. "I guess Xiaoyi and Xiao are just holding on. They could explode and die at any time." Xiaoyi and Nangong Saya were completely immersed in the pleasure of cultivation and did not hear anything else they said. It was as if they had opened up their Ren and Du meridians, and their cultivation and enlightenment came naturally without any hindrance. The energy that has not yet been absorbed in the golden dragon's body is still huge and surging, being pulled outside the body. The free and mixed energy from the outside world that is sweeping in from all directions is still intense, but it is a kind of domineering and supreme power of artistic conception. From a wisp, to a strand, to a stream, it continuously emerged on the golden dragon's narrow body. The difference between the mortal realm and the Grand Master realm is whether or not there is the power of mindset. 5 minutes later, with the sound of, the golden dragon realm naturally broke through from the 10th level to the Grand Master level. The power of artistic conception on his body has already surrounded his body and can be seen with the naked eye. The two-tailed white fox looked at him blankly, and said cutely, "Broken through to the Grand Master level." Liuya opened her red lips in surprise, a glimmer of hope rose in her heart. but she shook her head in an instant and said, Grandmaster level won't work either. He can't bear the huge energy that can be cultivated to the venerable level. The two-tailed white fox put his hands on his chest and said with a firm look in his eyes, No, I believe Xiao Yi and Si Yao will succeed. Yuya was silent with her knowledge and experience. The golden dragon was still in danger of exploding and dying. However, she seemed to have overlooked a fact. Isn't Jinlong's breakthrough speed a bit incredible? In just 10 minutes, Jinlong's realm broke through from Grandmaster 1 star to Grandmaster 2 star. The power of its artistic conception is constantly generated and becomes stronger. The power of the artistic conception of the supreme attribute is so overbearing and supreme that it makes people want to kneel down. As time goes by, with Villanelle 10 as the center, the free and mixed energy within a radius of 10 kilometers all swept towards Villanelle 10. This astonishing phenomenon caused a sensation among students and teachers. The chaotic free energy in the training room of Villanelle 10 has almost reached substance and become visible to the naked eye. But even such a huge and violent energy became obedient under the domineering artistic conception of the supreme attribute, and was suppressed around the golden dragon and gradually absorbed by the golden dragon in an orderly manner. Almost every 10 minutes, the concentration of artistic conception power on the golden dragon's body would rise to a higher level. At the same time, every 10 minutes, there would be a loud bang of a breakthrough. The Star Master, 3-star Master, 4-star Master, 5-star Master, 5-star Master, 6-star Master. There was almost no barrier between realms, and natural breakthroughs without any obstacles from low-level Grandmasters to middle-level Grandmasters to middle-level Grandmasters. And then to high-level Grandmasters, the sounds of breakthroughs continued to be heard. 7-star Grandmaster, 8-star Grandmaster, 9-star Grandmaster, 10-star Grandmaster. In 2 hours, Jinlong's realm broke through from 1-star Master to 10-star Master. The power of artistic conception on the surface of the 5-clawed golden dragon is already as strong as substance and can be touched. The free external energy in the underground training room was suppressed by the domineering power of the artistic conception and dared not move. The two-tailed white fox touched the power of artistic conception with her fingers, and with a plop, she bent her legs and knelt on the ground, feeling an urge to kneel and lick the power. She panicked and said, Sister Liuya, save me. Liuya was worthy of being a great venerable. She forced herself to suppress the urge to kneel down and moved the two-tailed white fox a little further away. It's about to break through to the Grandmaster level. The two-tailed white fox was shocked. Liuya was astonished. Perhaps the golden dragon will not explode and die, but can suppress the huge energy in its body and continue to break through. She looked around and was shocked by the huge amount of free energy drawn from the outside world into the underground training room. Even this energy, after being refined and absorbed, is enough to give birth to a Grandmaster. The two-tailed white fox was delighted when he heard this. That's great, the golden dragon doesn't have to explode and die. Liuya's pretty face turned red as she remembered what she had just said. How embarrassing. If Xiao Yi calms down the energy in his body and asks about it later, what should she do? The two-tailed white fox looked at Liuya's weird expression, which had turned red, and asked in confusion, Sister Liuya, do you want the golden dragon to explode and die? Liuya was shocked and shouted, Of course I don't want to. Just, ouch. She stamped her feet in anger, too embarrassed to say anything. The two-tailed white fox looked at her stupidly. But what? There is not much difference in essence between the Grandmaster level and the Grandmaster level. They are all the condensation of the power of artistic conception. An hour later, the supreme attribute of the domineering power of the 5-clawed golden dragon has already condensed into substance, surrounding its body endlessly. This level of artistic conception power is a level higher in quality than the Grandmaster level just now. Everything came to fruition naturally, and with a bang. The 5-clawed golden dragon's realm broke through to the Grandmaster realm. The golden dragon has recovered to the state before the template upgrade, 1-star Grandmaster. But at this time, a 5-clawed golden dragon showed no intention of stopping the breakthrough. An increasingly powerful Ori emerged from its body, and it was still on the verge of breaking through quickly. Chapter 133. The vision is shocking. Yun Shi is paying attention. The power of artistic conception has many uses when in human form. It can be used to block energy invasion and can be released outwards to transform into good fortune. When in summon beast form, it can attach to the surface attacked by the talent skill to avoid weakening its effectiveness. It can weaken the enemy's innate skills and reduce the damage. It is a very useful auxiliary. The power of artistic conception is born from the sum and beast's own innate skills, so the attributes of the power of artistic conception of each sum and beast are different. The power of the artistic conception of the 5-clawed golden dragon is the power of the artistic conception of the supreme attribute that is comprehended and penetrated from the innate skill supreme dragon might. The power of this artistic conception is characterized by being domineering, supreme, and in control of everything. Faced with the power of the supreme attribute of the Grand Master realm, the urge to kneel and lick the two-tailed white fox, a one-star Grand Master SSS level summon beast, became stronger and stronger. Wow, what a domineering power of artistic conception, she exclaimed in a daze. The Yuya supported her with all her strength, and the two-tailed white fox was able to stand calmly. The Yuya, the goddess assistant, was also shocked she was at a high level and was able to resist such arrogant and overbearing artistic conception. But if Xiaoyi reaches the venerable realm, or even the great venerable realm like her, I'm afraid she couldn't help but want to kneel down. Suddenly, Liuya felt a little scared. She was afraid that Xiaoyi's realm would improve. Wouldn't she be at the mercy of Xiaoyi then? Moreover, she had just said so many embarrassing words, so Xiaoyi probably had no psychological burden in controlling her. At this time, the two of them no longer believed that the five-clawed golden dragon would explode and die. Will the golden dragon continue to break through? To what level will it break through? Chengbing, she looked curious. The golden dragon is still growing stronger. But as the five-clawed golden dragon's realm improved, the suction released from its body became more terrifying. It was as if there was a force of rules in the golden dragon's body that was driving all the free energy of the five elements and the free energy without attributes within a 10-kilometer radius of Kunpeng Academy, and it continued to surge towards Villano. This rare outflow of energy attracted the attention of many students and teachers. Free energy is the energy in the air that is not blocked by the crystal core. Even if the bottle cap of the energy liquid is opened, it will be vaporized and pulled away by the pulling force. At one time, many students and teachers who were interested came towards the Sanzai Lake Scenic area. Some looked excited, some looked sad, and some were as if facing a great enemy. There must be a treasure coming out. An energy surge of this magnitude must mean the emergence of a great treasure. Damn, the energy liquid I opened was swept away, so the treasure is mine. You wish the energy of my family has also been swept away. Whoever sees it gets a share. Sell the treasure and divide the crystal core equally. A discussion of these students made the teachers who came to watch laugh and cry. When a great treasure is born, there will be bloodshed, so everyone take it easy. This is Kunpeng Academy. There are two supreme masters here. Who dares to mess around? At this time, King Kong Barbie and Skinny Monkey, who were mixed in the crowd, had serious expressions on their faces. They looked at each other and saw the worry in each other's eyes. The two of them sensed that the center of the energy tide was Villano 10. Villano 10 was the address of Teacher Liuya. So, the two of them took out their address books and issued an order, asking more than 50 pairs of contractors to come to the rescue immediately. More than 50 pairs of contracted brothers who received the order quickly came through the air. The students and teachers of Kunpeng Academy are mostly below the venerable realm and cannot fly. So these 50 or so pairs of contracted brothers arrived above Villano 10 first. At this time, Villano 10 was like an energy vortex, containing huge amounts of free energy. The fellow disciples were shocked. They nodded to each other and looked at each other. Everyone stood guard around Villano 10, on the ground, in the air, and high in the sky, protecting it like guards. The students who jumped over the wall to enter the Sanzai Lake Scenic area were blocked. The teachers who originally lived in the Sanzai Lakeview Villa area were also blocked. No one can get within 20 meters of Villano 10. Get out of here quickly. This is our teacher's territory. Anyone who dares to get close will be killed. The Skinny Monkey and the King Kong Barbie, both of whom were great venerable 10 stars, released a powerful aura and shouted loudly. Why? The treasure has no owner. Everyone is qualified to fight for it. That's right. This is clearly a newly born treasure from heaven and earth. Anyone who sees it will get a share. Some students shouted in dissatisfaction. Some teachers also echoed. This is such a rare phenomenon. Let everyone watch and learn about the birth process of the treasure. Yes, just take a look. Not go in. Anyway, they didn't want to leave, and even wanted to break through the defense and enter the villa. King Kong Barbie and Skinny Monkey looked at each other and smiled, saying, Brothers and sisters, watch out. Don't even a mouse think of entering the villa, let alone a human. Anyone who trespasses will be killed without mercy. The brothers and sisters formed a tight formation like a dragnet and released their powerful auras. They all shouted sternly. Anyone who trespasses will be killed without mercy. The fierce and powerful roar penetrated and echoed throughout the heaven and earth. Shocked by the powerful aura, the faces of the students and teachers watching froze, with fear in their eyes. They are all venerable S and great venerable SOH. My God. More than 100, so many. Damn it, the 3 highest ranking officers guarding the combat base are here too. Yes, there are at least 30 great masters here, and there are also quite a few top great masters. They gasped in shock and no longer dared to talk about dividing the treasure equally. Everyone even took a few steps back unconsciously, trying to move away from it. Even those who came later, the few teachers at the Venerable Realm and professors at the Great Venerable Realm, had solemn expressions on their faces and did not dare to approach. Suddenly a chilly female voice sounded between heaven and earth. The voice was pleasant to the ear, but people shivered instinctively when they heard it. All the students, teachers, professors, and more than 50 pairs of contracted brothers and sisters all looked towards the sky. A beautiful figure appeared there. Her face was cold, and her voice was icy. "What are you all doing here? Are you all so idle? Get back here and do what you need to do. It's Kunpeng Supreme Dean Yunxi." Her prestige was so strong that the students, teachers and professors who were watching her broke out in cold sweats and left the place reluctantly. Even the dean has shown up, so it's impossible for them to get a share of the treasure. The top superiors advised them to leave, and the teachers and professors did not dare to stay any longer. They left reluctantly, looking back every 3 steps. After a while, the scene became quiet, with only a group of fellow disciples, all of whom were Yuya's disciples, left. Dean Yunxi said calmly, "Everyone, go back to." Kong Barbie clasped her fists and said with a smile, "Please rest assured, Dean, we will not cause any trouble. We will leave after the energy type phenomenon disappears and our teacher and Mr. Xiao come out safely." Yunxi, a beautiful woman in a bulky white robe, curled her lips. Nothing would happen anyway, so she let them guard Liuya. However, she frowned and asked in confusion with a cold face, "Mr. Xiao, is that your junior fellow apprentice Xiao Yi?" A muscular female King Kong Barbie with biceps about to explode replied, "Mr. Xiao and our teacher Liuya have signed a contract and have become a new pair of contractors. He is no longer our junior brother, but our teacher's husband." Upon hearing this, Yunxi's cold and expressionless little face showed a rare expression of shock. "Are you serious?" she asked incredulously. The skinny monkey clasped his fists and said, "Of course." Yunxi's face turned dark. "You are so good, Xiao Yi. You made Yun Bing fall in love with you not long ago. It has only been a few days and you have already signed a contract with the most beautiful teaching assistant Liuya." Chapter 134, Rule Level Treasure. Infinite Purification. I wonder what Yun Bing will feel when she comes back. She was attracted to a promiscuous man and flirted with random women. Chu thought Yunxi's reaction was very strange. Why was the usually cold and emotional Dean suddenly shocked and angry? "You can leave after the strange phenomenon subsides." Yunxi left after saying this. The 3 deputy directors, who were sweating profusely, breathed a sigh of relief. They were afraid that they would be criticized by the Supreme Dean for not staying in the combat base to guard the monsters not long ago. They had called for help, saying that a cult had invaded the combat base. Villano, 10. Underground, training room. At this time, more than an hour had passed, and the 5-clawed Golden Dragon's realm had once again broken through, and was promoted to the second star of the Grand Master. Almost every hour, I can break through a small level. The 2-tailed white fox returned to human form and turned into the long-legged beauty Cheng Bingxi. At this time, Lu Yuyu and Cheng Bingxi hugged each other and fell asleep leaning against the wall. A golden light emerged from the 5-clawed golden dragon and it came to the ground, transforming into the human form of Xiao Yi. With the help of Jin and Gong Xia, Xiao Yi does not need to stay in the golden dragon's mind in the form of a conscious body all the time. As the 5-clawed golden dragon becomes stronger, his body will also be strengthened synchronously. Looking at the rich and complex free energy in the underground training room, Xiao Yi was a little amused. The total amount of these energies is neither big nor small. It is estimated that it can only create a Grand Master level. It is not as good as a bottle of Grand Master's low-grade energy liquid. His current realm is the 2nd star of Grand Master, and these energies are dispensable to him. Looking around, Xiao Yi smiled when he saw the 2 women sleeping in each other's arms. Cheng Bingxi rested her head on the goddess assistant's big terror. Liuya was sleeping soundly, perhaps she was dreaming about some delicious food. Crystal clear drops of water flowed from the corners of her rosy lips. Due to gravity, the water droplets flowed down along the white chin and dripped onto the corners of Cheng Bingxi's mouth. Xiao Yi took a fluffy quilt from the bedroom on the 1st floor and covered the 2 of them. But he didn't expect that his slight move would wake up the 2 women who were sleeping soundly. After opening her hazy eyes, Cheng Bingxi looked surprised, jumped toward Xiao Yi, and said happily, "You're okay, that's great. I was so worried. I thought you were going to explode and die." She was hanging on Xiao Yi, who was holding her drum. "I'm sorry for making you worry. I'm glad you're okay." Cheng Bingxi looked at this very familiar handsome face and felt that he became more attractive, so she couldn't help but move towards this face. Xiao Yi widened his eyes. "Cheng Bingxi, you haven't wiped the water drops from the corners of your mouth yet." Xiao Yi wanted to remind her, but it was too late because she had already kissed him forcefully. Liuya looked at this scene with mixed feelings. She was happy that he was fine, but also felt a little uncomfortable, as if she had drunk lemon water. She was jealous, but she knew that Xiao Yi did not only belong to her. She didn't know if it was her illusion, but she felt that Xiao Yi became more attractive at this moment. After finishing the work, Putting Cheng Bingshi down, Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows and asked. Teaching assistant sister, Jin Long's template has been successfully upgraded. Did you promise me something? What did you promise? Yuya suppressed all the complicated emotions just now, and a blush appeared on her delicate face. She broke the membrane on her own and let him eat meat? She twisted her hands and hesitated. I'll do what I promised you. Xiao Yi raised a finger and said happily, promise me one thing unconditionally. I haven't thought about it yet. I'll tell you when I think about it. Yuya was surprised and happy in her heart. Just one thing? Xiao Yi nodded. Yuya was very happy to see that he didn't mention it. However, Xiao Yi asked in confusion, you seem to say that you eat meat every day? What do you mean? I didn't hear clearly. Yuya shook her head and looked away. You heard wrong. Without dwelling on this, Xiao Yi looked at the strange energy tide caused by cultivation and felt that the noise was too loud. Therefore, the system blocked the pulling force from the 5-clawed golden dragon. The total amount of energy pulled in was not as much as a bottle of low-grade Grandmaster energy liquid. He took out the rule-level Xuanhuang gemstone and absorbed the chaotic and mixed energy in the underground training room. Then a magical scene appeared. A ball of pure energy liquid came out from the Xuanhuang gem and hovered above the Xuanhuang gem. The three of them could tell it was a pure energy liquid bead at a glance. Liu Ya covered her mouth in surprise. What kind of treasure is this? It can actually purify energy, and at such a fast speed. The pure energy liquid on the market takes at least a month to be successfully purified from the crystal core through hundreds of complex and mature processes. But this treasure is ready in almost an instant. Xiao Yi was stunned. He just took it out and tried it, but he didn't expect the effect to be so great. And he took out a low-grade crystal core of a great venerable from his trouser pocket and tried to let the rule-level exotic treasure, the Xuanhuang gem, absorb it. The screen flashed. The lower-grade crystal core of the Great Venerable was swallowed by the Xuanhuang gem. 1 minute later, a ball of energy liquid containing huge energy jumped out of the Xuanhuang gem and hovered in the air. Yuya's surprised mouth opened into an O shape, and her beautiful eyes widened. Cheng Bingshi's face was dull, and she said, this is too strong. Xiao Yi was also a little surprised. This Xuanhuang gem was a system reward after completing a task. It was originally used to absorb and calm the violent excess energy of Nangong Saio's SSS 5-clawed golden dragon, and to absorb the violent Daum energy during massage. I didn't expect that it could be used in this way. Xuanhuang gemstone, absorption, calming chaos, super limited energy. In Tao Rhyme, it can be used to extract pure energy liquid later. At this time, the 5-clawed golden dragon can be promoted to a small level of the Grandmaster realm in about an hour. The more than 300 energy liquids that it swallowed before cannot support the 5-clawed golden dragon's cultivation for much. Whether the 5-clawed golden dragon can cultivate to the supreme realm is still unknown. If you use crystal cores to practice, the speed of practice will obviously be greatly reduced. At least 10 times. Now that she can extract pure energy liquid infinitely and quickly, Nangong Saio can continue to serve as a cultivator and continuously and infinitely improve her cultivation level. Xiao Yi patted his trouser pocket. There were still 200 Great Venerable Realm crystal cores in the crystal core savings card inside. With so many crystal cores and the pure energy liquid extracted from them, to what level can the 5-clawed golden dragon cultivate? Xiao Yi did not explode and die. The strange phenomena during his cultivation disappeared, and the mixed energy was also purified. So Yuya went out to meet the disciples who served as guards. Thank you all for your protection. Yuya would like to thank you all. A fellow disciples said they were welcome, as the teacher was in trouble and they happened to be there, so they were all willing to help. King Kong Barbie came up and hugged Yuya's shoulders, and asked curiously, Teacher, that treasure caused such a big commotion. It must be very important. Did you successfully subdue it? The treasure conquer? Yuya suddenly realized that these people regarded the phenomena of cultivation as the birth of a precious treasure. It's a secret you can't tell me. She smiled mysteriously. King Kong Barbie didn't ask any further questions. After chatting for a few words, she returned to the base camp of the actual combat base with her fellow disciples. Chapter 135: A private conversation with Dean Bing Shan. Back in the living room on the first floor, Cheng Bingshi came over and said to Liu Ya mysteriously, Sister Liu Ya, do you think Xiao Yi seems to be more attractive? Liu Ya raised her eyes and observed Xiao Yi, who was squatting on a stone chair drinking tea. He was still as handsome as before, with a knife-cut face with clear edges and corners, a high nose bridge, and a pair of bright and energetic eyes. As she watched, Liu Ya felt an urge to kneel down and lick the boy. She gasped and said in astonishment, it's true, but why? Could it be that the power of his artistic conception in human form will affect others invisibly? Seeing the two women at the door staring at him mysteriously, Xiao Ya, who was squatting on a stone chair, shouted, Hey, have you seen enough? Cheng Bing, she looked silly and cute. I haven't seen enough. Liu Ya said something shocking. He is indeed more attractive. I not only look at him, but also want to get my hands on him. After a while, Xiao Yi broke away from the entanglement of the two crazy women and fled to Villa No. 1 in the Easy How Lake Scenic Area. Outside the yard of the villa where Dean Yunxi lived. Knock knock. After gently knocking on the wooden door, a graceful figure appeared in the yard. She was wrapped in a bulky white robe, wrapped tightly, but her delicate and beautiful cold face and the 3,000 black hair draped over her shoulders highlighted her title of iceberg beauty. Come in. Yunxi said in a cold tone. Sister Yunxi, do you have something to talk to me about? Xiao Yi followed in with a calm face. Xiao Yi knew that Dean Yunxi was only wearing a white robe and there was nothing underneath. In the living room, a pile of coniferous fruits exuding a powerful aura was placed on the table. The coniferous fruits, which are spiritual plants of the great venerable realm, take hundreds of years to bloom, hundreds of years to bear fruit, and hundreds of years to bear fruit, and hundreds of years to mature. Xiao Yi took a look at it, having spent time in the library. Information about this fruit automatically emerged in his mind. Yunxi's face was cold and her eyes were full of coldness. At this time, the impression of Xiao Yi in her mind was that of a promiscuous, unfaithful man who casually hooked up with women and had no sense of boundaries. Xiao Yi felt uncomfortable with her cold gaze, and subconsciously picked up the only upside-down water cup on the table and drank it. Why does this water cup smell so delicious? After hearing this, Yunxi frowned and said in a cold voice, Lecture, this is the cup I drink from. Xiao Yi froze. I'm sorry, the cup is upside down, I thought it was washed. No wonder this cup smells so good. Yunxi's impression of Xiao Yi became even worse. If she didn't still leave Xiao Yi to massage her, she would have hung Xiao Yi up, beat him up, and kicked him out. He was so reckless. Yunxi didn't know why Yun Bing would like such a person. She despised him in her heart. Excuse me, Xiao Yi scratched his head awkwardly and asked, Excuse me, what does Sister Yunxi want to see me for? He was despised. The contempt in the eyes of the icy Dean was not concealed at all. Yunxi snorted coldly and said, It is your freedom to sign a contract with Assistant Liuya. I have no right to interfere, but, Xiao Yi, please have less contact with Yun Bing in the future. Originally, Yunxi looked for him to test his feelings towards Yun Bing, and then bring the two together to fulfill Yun Bing's wish. But after knowing that he had signed a contract with the most beautiful assistant teacher Liuya, Yunxi felt that it was not possible to bring them together. Not only that, she also had to stop it. At the rate at which Xiao Yi signs contracts, who knows, he will sign contracts with many beast girls in the future, and Yun Bing will be in big trouble then. Xiao Yi was confused. Why do you say that? I don't understand. Did I sign a contract with Liuya? There is nothing between him and Yun Bing. Asking him to have less contact with Yun Bing for no reason. Isn't this teaching him how to do things by force? Why does Xiao Yi need anyone to teach him how to act throughout his life? Yunxi snorted coldly. No reason. Anyway, try not to have contact with Yun Bing in the future. This is for your own good, and for Yun Bing's own good. Xiao Yi felt unhappy, and muttered, Dean, please don't forget that it is Sister Yun Bing's physical defect. She needs me. And you too. Yunxi choked on her words, turned her face away, and said tenderly, Just give us a massage every once in a while, and we will pay you. Xiao Yi was speechless. Who do you think you are? I don't want to. Dean, if you have this attitude, and there is no point in talking to each other, go find someone else to give you a massage. Yunxi. The corner of her mouth twitched, and a conflicted expression appeared on her face, as she hesitated whether to apologize. Xiao Yi curled the corner of his mouth, picked up a conifer, peeled it with his hands, and wanted to eat it. Cut! But he didn't expect that the coniferous fruit actually contained such powerful and sharp sword energy, and his fingers were cut by the sword intent that shot out from it. With a ticking sound, a drop of golden blood flowed down from his slender fingers and dripped onto the table. This golden blood reflected a brilliant golden light, and for a moment the room was sparkling with golden light. Xiao Yi felt a pain and hurriedly dropped the coniferous fruit. This kind of fruit, which could only be eaten by at least a great venerable, was indeed not something a weak grand master like him could touch. If you swallow it in one bite, your throat might be pierced by the sword energy. Fortunately, he inherited the control of the 5 elements from the 5-clawed golden ragged and could freely mobilize the wood element, which has healing effects. The wound on his finger healed within a second. At this moment, Yunxi's beautiful eyes widened and her gaze was fixed on the drop of golden blood on the table. The blood of higher life forms is a fatal temptation to lower life forms. Yunxi's attention was involuntarily attracted by the golden blood. Dean, if you want me to give you a massage, come to me next time after you have adjusted your attitude. Bye. Xiao Yi, who had sniffed several times, ran away in a flash. He didn't want to stay here anymore. It was so embarrassing. Yunxi's face darkened. His eyes turned cold, and he complained in his heart. Damn it, how dare he talk to me like that? Is it possible to straighten out my attitude? Her impression of Xiao Yi had already hit rock bottom. But the next second, her body's instinctive yearning for higher life made her move closer to the table. bend down, and put her cold little face close to the golden blood. She moved her little nose and sniffed. I want to eat it so much, she felt the urge to lick it. So she stuck out her tongue, picked up a little bit, and curled it into her little mouth to hold it for a while. Yunshi's beautiful eyes widened, and an excited look appeared on her cold little face. Is this the blood of a life form comparable to that of an emperor? It tastes delicious. All lower life forms will instinctively yearn for higher life forms. After experiencing the feeling carefully, she finally realized what a perverted thing she had done. A rare blush appeared on her delicate little face. Frowning, Yunshi subconsciously picked up the only cup of tea on the table and gulped down several gulps before she felt the bloody taste in her mouth dissipate. But she reacted again, and the blush on her little face became even more intense. This is the water Xiao Yi drank, and he drank it in the same place. Yunshi felt shyness and social awkwardness for the first time in a long time. And her beautiful cheeks became hot. Chapter 136 Yunshi, you become a pervert and still want to eat. Why is it the long-lost shyness? Ever since she reached the realm of the venerable, in the past few hundred years or nearly 1,000 years, her emotions have become very few, and she almost only has 2 or 3 emotions: coldness and impatience. But human emotions are varied and changeable: sour, sweet, bitter, angry, sad, sorrow, happy, and comfortable. Jealousy will produce a sour feeling, just like eating lemon. Happy things will make people feel happy. Helplessness will make people feel sad and depressed. Living a tight and hard life will make people feel depressed. The emotions suppressed in the heart will feel comfortable after they burst out. Yunshi covered her face with her tender little white hands, and could feel the unusually hot temperature on her delicate cheeks. She hurriedly glanced at the door, sensed Xiao Yi's location, and found that he had already left the yard and was not paying attention to this place. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. If Xiao Yi found out, he, who had just looked down on him and treated him coldly, would lick his blood the next second, and pick up the cup he had drunk from and drink from the same place. Company death. A cold and icy dean in everyone's eyes is actually a pervert? Yunshi breathed a sigh of relief, and the blush on her cheeks faded a little. After easing her shyness, she covered her mouth and said in surprise, a life level of this drop of golden blood is much higher than that of a top supreme being like me. Why did the 5-clawed golden dragon undergo this kind of mutation? Even the life level of the human body has been sublimated, almost comparable to the emperor realm. The blood of ordinary people is bright red, but this drop of blood is a brilliant golden yellow, exuding a very rich and mysterious charm that only higher life forms have. Yunshi stuck out her tender little red tongue and licked her lips, her beautiful eyes staring straight at the drop of golden blood. Go. She swallowed and wanted to eat more. She glanced at the door with her beautiful eyes. Since Xiao Yi was not there at the moment, Yunshi simply stretched out her white fingers and put a whole drop of golden blood on the tip of her fingers. She put her finger in her mouth like she was eating a lollipop. All the cells in her body were trembling, as if fighting for the ownership of this drop of golden blood. Yunshi once again felt the joy, and her beautiful face became excited. The rosy blush on her fair and tender cheeks reappeared, reaching her small ears. Yunshi likes this joyful mood very much. But there was only 1 drop of golden blood, and it was gone in an instant. The joyful feeling in his body came quickly and was intense, but it also went away quickly and soon disappeared without a trace. I want to eat more, she muttered. But after coming to his senses, Yunshi secretly cursed herself for being so perverted and shameless. But no matter how perverted she is, she really wants to eat it, because it makes her feel happy. Should we tie up Xiao Yi with ropes, lock him up, and then bleed him every day? Yunshi shook her head. How could that be possible? Pleasure might be pleasure, but it wasn't like she had lost her mind due to pleasure. Perhaps it was because of the golden color of the blood, and in order to dispel the smell of blood, she picked up the water cup on the table and drank it sip by sip. On the other side, Xiao Yi, who had returned to Villa No. 10 in the Sanzai Lakeview Villa district, sat on a stone chair with a depressed look on his face, cracking melon seeds in a gloomy mood. Liuya, who was making dinner, was wearing a cool off-shoulder jacket and shorts. Sensing that Xiao Yi was in a bad mood, Liuya was puzzled and asked with a drum sitting next to him, Xiao Yi, didn't you go to the dean's place? What happened? Xiao Yi curled his lips. Teacher assistant sister. Has that old woman Yunshi reached menopause? She has such a bad temper. Liuya was startled, and she stretched out her hand to cover his mouth, and said in shock, the Supreme One cannot be insulted, and you cannot talk about it casually. Be careful with your words. Let's just talk about the facts. What happened? Xiao Yi took away her cool hand, held it in his hand and played with it, saying speechless lie. So what if he is the Supreme? The Supreme also has menopause and will grow old. The Supreme was furious, and corpses floated thousands of miles away. Liuya, who knew the Supreme's horror, covered Xiao Yi's mouth with her other white and tender hand. Be careful with your words. Xiao Yi, He opened the hand and held it in his, frowning. Don't be so exaggerated, can't you say a word? She doesn't know, and I didn't scold her, just tell the truth to an old woman. Liu Ya glared with her beautiful eyes. Both of her hands were pinched by Xiao Yi, so she had to cover him with her mouth. Xiao Yi was stunned by the cool touch. You really can't even say a word? Xiao Yi felt a spicy sensation in his mouth. He quickly pushed Liu away and coughed. My throat is burning. What did you eat? Liu Ya licked her lips and said with a giggle. It's the great supreme realm ingredient devil pepper, which is a 100 level spicy level. It's so spicy and refreshing. Xiao Yi. Liu Ya chuckled. Stop saying bad things, or I'll kill you with my mouth. As she said this, she came over again. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he quickly covered her face with his hands, saying, I won't say it anymore. I definitely won't say it anymore. You actually like to eat raw devil peppers. Oh, not saying it now doesn't mean I won't say it later. Supreme Realm, for a 5-clawed golden dragon with the mythical 5-clawed golden dragon supreme template. After upgrading the template, it won't take long to be promoted. At that time, will we still need to look at Yunshi's ugly face? Just tie her up and beat her. Liu Yi asked again what happened, and Xiao Yi told the truth. Tell you not to contact Vice Dean Yan Bing in the future. Liu Yi frowned. Why? The dean would not say that for no reason. Xiao Yi glanced at her and shook his head. Nothing, I'm just old enough. Liu Yi wondered if the dean's attitude was related to what had happened recently. Was it the upgrade of the 5-clawed gold and ragged template or the contract she had signed with Xiao Yi? Liu Yi vaguely felt that it was related to her. Perhaps, it was because of the contract he signed with Xiao Yi that Dean Yan Shi treated Xiao Yi like this. Liu Yi felt it necessary to go to Dean Yan Shi and talk things out. The other side. The headquarters of the Hong family martial arts school. Hong Tao, the son of the top supreme being, is talking to Yang Junming, the son of the high-level supreme being, and the son of the Titan supreme being. Before this, Hong Tao sent Yang Junming to find out Xiao Yi's preferences and try to establish a good relationship between Yang Junming and Xiao Yi. Hong Tao, how's the progress? Yang Junming was very happy. He was immersed in the gentle land. The progress is great. Xiao Yi is amazing. He is definitely the reincarnation of the great master. He helped Xiao Yun and I to successfully break through that relationship. I'm determined to make Xiao Yi my brother. Hong Tao's face darkened. Hong Yun was her cousin. And he was not here to inquire about this. I asked you if you have found out what Xiao Yi likes. Yang Junming was stunned and said bluntly, no. As soon as he appeared on the stage, he was blasted into motion by the sun flame of the blazing monster. He didn't say a few words to Xiao Yi, then he was pulled back by Hong Yun to check whether Jill had exploded. And the two of them successfully broke through the relationship. How could he even remember to find out Xiao Yi's preferences? Hong Tao's communicator was on loudspeaker. A 300-pound, greasy-faced woman came up to him and said with a vigilant look, Hubby, what do you like? You've taken a fancy to that Xiao Yi. And you want to find out what he likes? Okay, you haven't touched me for half a year. It turns out you become gay, like having sex with men. Chapter 137. Hong family's plan. The goddess assistant teacher looks for Yunshi. Looking at the anger on the fat woman's face, Hong Tao smiled bitterly and said, Wife, don't you know whether I am straight or not? That Xiao Yi is a young talent. I admire him and want to win him over, so I asked someone to find out his preferences so that I can prescribe the right medicine for him. The fat woman was skeptical. Really? Hong Tao nodded. Really? It's more real than real gold. The 300-pound fat woman snorted and pounced on him. Who knows whether you have become gay or not? I want to verify it myself. Hong Tao's face turned dark and full of resistance. This woman has suffered from a strange disease for 100 years and there is no cure. Her weight has gradually increased from 100 kilograms to over 300 kilograms. Now she looks like a ball of meat. A reason why he fell in love with the stunning beauty Liu Yi was because this meatball really did not interest him. If this fat woman wasn't the daughter of a supreme ruler, he would have kicked her out long ago. Brother Tao, you are busy. Let's talk about Xiao Yi's matter tomorrow. Yang Junming noticed something was wrong and hung up the phone in a hurry. At this time, Hong Tao was suffering from the flood and his face was distorted. A minute later, the fat woman was satisfied and said, You are straight. Hong Tao dragged his tired body to the living room, lit a cigarette, and smoked it dully. What a sin, he suddenly wailed. Xiao Yi took away the beauty he had set his eyes on, and not only could he not retaliate, he had to put aside his differences and try to win her over. At this moment, Xiao Yi is probably sleeping soundly while hugging Liu Yi's soft and delicate body, while he can only be oppressed by the greasy fat woman. Buzz buzz buzz. Suddenly his family communicator vibrated. When he took it out and looked at it, Hong Tao's face lit up with joy. It was a message from his father. I wonder what my father's attitude would be when he knows that Xiao Yi is such a talented person. Hong Tao clicked on the message to check. Come to my villa. Sure enough, even the top supreme beings are interested in Xiao Yi, a groundbreaking super genius. After packing up, Hong Tao set off for Villa No. 1 in the Hong family's base camp. In the living room, the top supreme Hong Dingtian was making tea and waiting for Hong Tao, his face looking a little solemn. Later, Hong Tao boasted as if to take credit. "Dad, I discovered this talent. What reward should you give me? If we bring him into our Hong family, it will definitely help the Hong family move to a higher level. So, did your son make a great contribution this time?" But the relieved expression on his father's face that Hong Tao expected did not appear. And Hong Dingtian's face looked solemn. Hong Tao's heart skipped a beat and he had a bad feeling. Bang! Hong Dingtian slammed the water cup in his hand heavily on the table and said in a deep voice, "This Xiao Yi will definitely become an enemy of the Hong family." "Hong Tao? Why?" Hong Dingtian glanced at him impatiently. "It's all because of you three. Do you still remember that 150 years ago, a guard at the peak of the Great Venerable died under the claws of the supreme magical beast because of your wolflessness?" Hong Tao frowned as he recalled and thought carefully, but he could only remember very vague fragments. "It seems that there is such a thing, but what does it have to do with Xiao Yi?" Facing his son's doubts, Hong Dingtian told the truth. "Those two people are Yuhuo and Yuorou. They are Liu's parents." He took out a stack of documents from the drawer and pushed it over. Hong Tao picked up the document and took a look at it. It contained information about Liu's family, as well as detailed information about Xiao Yi. The more he looked, the gloomier his expression became. It turns out that it was Liu's mother who was sacrificed, and Liuhuo has been secretly using various means to investigate the Hong family over the years. Hong Dingtian nodded and said, "Yes, Liuhuo's investigation methods are very covert, but I caught him on the spot several times. But I didn't investigate further." Hong Tao was silent. He could guess Liuhuo's purpose. Did he want to avenge the dead Yuorou? But Yuorou was killed by a supreme demon beast. Hong Dingtian, after the monster died, Liuhuo came to me and asked me to give an explanation. I gave him some compensation, but he confiscated it. Hong Tao finally remembered. It was he who insisted on leaving the demon city base city and forced the two guards Liuhuo and Yuorou to guard the whole time. Which led to the tragedy. If he had not used his family's power to intimidate the city guards and successfully sneak out, the whole city would have been on alert and prohibited from going out, and Yuorou would not have died at the claws of the supreme demon beast. "Then what should we do?" Hong Tao asked. Hong Dingtian frowned. "If it weren't for Xiao Yi, this super genius, I wouldn't care about Liuhuo with his size. He wouldn't have any impact on the Hong family." But the variable Xiao Yi appeared. Hong Tao's face was gloomy. "I understand this person cannot be won over. Xiao Yi may have known about this. The white-haired man in the tavern last time was probably Liuhuo." He made a gesture of wiping his neck. Hong Dingtian nodded. "I'll leave this matter to you. You have to make sure it's watertight." Xiao Yi was recruited into Kunpeng College by the high-level Supreme Yanbing, and the two have a close relationship. You must do it outside the Magic City Academy and not leave any clues. Or you can sow discord between them and make the high-level Supreme Yanbing give up Xiao Yi, and then you can solve the problem without any hesitation. Important tasks for a large family must always be done flawlessly and perfectly, especially when they involve a high-level Supreme being. Even behind the high-level Supreme, there is a top-level Supreme. With this scale, it can even compete with the Hong family, which is now at the peak of its power. Okay, we have to do this step by step. There's no rush. Xiao Yi is a super genius, but a genius is just a genius now. He is still an ant that the Hong family can easily crush to death. Waving his hand, Hong Dingtian left the living room and went to rest. Hong Tao rubbed his thick eyebrows and dragged his tired body back to his villa. But as soon as he came back, a fat woman with a round and plump body pounced on him. Hong Tao screamed, as he was once again struck by a mountain. The other side. In Villa No. 10 of the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area. While eating dinner, there was a bang and a powerful aura burst out from Xiao Yi's body. His realm was promoted from Grand Master to Star to Grand Master 3-star. In just 1 hour, he could break through a small level in the Grand Master realm. It is estimated that after tonight, he will be able to be promoted to the Supreme Realm. This exaggerated promotion speed made Cheng Bingxi envious and Liu Yu amazed. After the template is upgraded, the realm will be reshaped and needs to be cultivated again, but this speed is too exaggerated. Liu Yu speculated that it would not be long before Xiao Yi would surpass her. After dinner, Cheng Bingxi transformed herself into a three-tailed white fox and practiced hard, trying not to fall too far behind. Xiao Yi went to the shop to exchange for the venerable Realm's crystal core, and used the Xuanhuang gemstone to purify the energy liquid so that the 5-clawed golden dragon would have energy liquid to use tomorrow. Liu Yu set off for the villa where Yanxi was. After successfully entering the villa, Yanxi asked, "Assistant Liu, what's the matter? He didn't even prepare tea. He's really an iceberg without any emotions." Liu Ya complained in her heart. "Liu Ya, Xiao Yi signed a contract with me to permanently solve my template problem." Yanxi's pupils shrank when he heard that. As for the template problem, even the saints above the supreme are helpless. Chapter 138. The goddess Dean's attitude changes, Cheng Bing Shi's resentment. A look of surprise appeared on Yun Shi's beautiful face, and she asked incredulously, "Really?" Liu Ya nodded. "Really? Now my template problem has been permanently solved. The problem of not being able to practice and not being able to improve my realm has been solved." Yun Shi was shocked. The template problem that had troubled teaching assistant Liu Ya for many years was actually completely solved by Xiaoyi. When it came to Liu Ya's template problem, many supreme beings were invited, even several powerful saints. But they were unable to start, let alone solve it. Seeing the icy beauty Yun Shi being shocked, Liu Ya felt very curious. This goddess Dean who only has a cold and stinky face would actually be surprised. Liu Ya felt stable, raised her eyebrows and said, "I took the initiative to ask for the contract with Xiaoyi. My template problem is not just that I can't improve my realm over the years, my realm has been declining not long ago. It dropped to the level of Great Venerable One. So, if there was no Xiaoyi, my realm would only continue to decline as time passed, and I would eventually become an ordinary person." Her pretty face showed gratitude. Keep descending and become an ordinary person. Yun Shi's heart was shaken again. Liu Ya said sadly, "Yes, that's why I shamelessly seduced a student. I have to bear a lot for this." Shamelessly seducing a student? Yun Shi's eyelids twitched as her realm improved. The few remaining emotional nerves she had would decrease, and finally almost disappear. The same goes for Yun Bing. Suddenly Yun Shi understood Yun Bing a little. Liu Ya once again said something shocking. "Dean, your opinion on Xiaoyi's contract with 3 beast girls may be that he is a promiscuous scumbag, but what if Xiaoyi's second beast girl, Nan Gongxie, also signed a contract with Xiaoyi because of a template problem?" Yun Shi's cold little face showed surprise again. "The second beast girl is the girl with the 5-clawed golden dragon template with a giant panda? Pandas? You have pandas too?" Liu Ya glanced at Yun Shi's huge horror that could not be concealed by his bloated robes, and nodded, "Yes, after signing the contract with Xiaoyi, I found out that Sayuo's template problem was that she failed to awaken the SSS level 5 clawed golden dragon, and the awakening stone detected that she was an F-level wandering dragon. Speaking of which, Xiaoyi only had one beast girl that he had a normal contract with. As for the other 2 beast girls, he went through a lot of hardships to get Xiaoyi to agree to the contract." After learning the whole story, Goddess Dean Yun Shi fell silent. It turns out that Xiaoyi signed the contract with the teaching assistant not for his sexual fetish, but to solve a problem. It turns out that the last 2 beast girls also have template problems. Moreover, he was the one who was requested. He was the one who was seduced, and he had no choice but to contract multiple beast girls. The contract was concluded to save the problem girl and the problem teaching assistant. I misunderstood Xiaoyi. He is not promiscuous, nor does he have no sense of boundaries, nor is he a pervert. Xiaoyi is a good student who is willing to help others. Yun Shi was a little upset. He picked up the only water cup on the table and gulped down a few sips of water. Liu Ya smiled, and her smile was like a beautiful fresh bloom. In fact, she also lied. Xiaoyi solved the template problem for her, which had nothing to do with the conclusion of the contract. And the template problem could be permanently solved without the conclusion of a contract. What? The template problem is a world-class problem. Why should Xiaoyi solve it for her? Give her a reward. What kind of reward can be compared to the crystallization of rule fragments? Only if he becomes Xiaoyi's closest person will he take action. This is equivalent to signing a contract with Xiaoyi to solve the template problem. If you change your mindset, she is right. Dean, goodbye. Liu Ya left. Yun Shi frowned, sat on the sofa, pursed her red and tender lower lips, and felt confused. Both she and Yun Bing have template problems, and currently only Xiaoyi can solve it. In order to permanently solve the problem, she had to sign a contract with Xiaoyi for a temporary solution. She had to strip naked and let Xiaoyi perform a full-body acupuncture massage. Whether it is a permanent solution or a temporary solution, Xiaoyi needs to take action. And she had forcefully asked Xiaoyi to stay away from Yun Bing not long ago. Judging from Xiaoyi's reaction, she had offended Xiaoyi. He must be angry now. At this time, Yun Shi's prejudice against Xiaoyi had been eliminated, and her attitude changed from contempt to uneasiness and distress. Do I need to apologize to him? Yun Shi rubbed her eyebrows, feeling a little nervous and distressed. She hadn't felt anxious and distressed for a long time. In the past, she would have simply ignored it, but now it was different. She had experienced emotions again and didn't want to be a cold and emotionless as Dean anymore. Without emotions, what is the difference between a zombie and a robot that can only act according to a program? It's funny to say that the top supreme being is actually a robot without emotions. But she had just scolded Xiaoyi, and the next moment she had to lower herself to apologize to him. She could do it. She is not a supreme being who likes to put on airs. But she rarely interacts with people. How should she apologize when she sees Xiaoyi? Just say coldly, I misunderstood you, please forgive me. The other side. Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area. On the first floor. In the living room decorated in the original Syrian style. Cheng Bingshi, who had a flat chest but super long, white legs and an exquisite face full of annoyance, complained to Xiaoyi. Xiaoyi, the three-tailed white fox's training speed is too slow. Xiaoyi smacked his lips. The white fox's training speed is already 20 times faster than the average SSS level, and you still think it's too slow. Cheng Bingshi sat on his lap, twisting her waist and said coquettously, yes, it's too slow. It took Xiao's 5-clawed golden dragon an hour to break through a small level of Grandmaster, but it took the three-tailed white fox a day and a half. Almost 2 days. If the geniuses in the academy heard this, they might be so angry that they vomit blood. It takes us at least several months to break through a small level in the Grandmaster realm. Are you not satisfied with just 2 days? Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. So you are comparing yourself with the 5-clawed golden dragon. A template of the 5-clawed golden dragon is mythical, which is an advanced version of the SSS level. Of course, the two are different in Japanese. Xiaoyi wanted to tease her and asked, do you want to upgrade the template too? Cheng Bingshi's beautiful eyes showed desire. Of course, who doesn't want to upgrade the template? Xiaoyi touched the long, white and beautiful legs, which felt smooth and tender, but after upgrading the template, the realm will be reshaped and the realm will be reset to 0. Cheng Bingshi let him do what he wanted. It's okay after the template is upgraded. It will reach the Grandmaster level in a few hours. Xiaoyi frowned, after upgrading the template. Seeing that he wanted to say more, Cheng Bingshi blocked Xiaoyi's mouth with her little mouth. After a while, loss separated. Cheng Bingshi pouted and said sadly, Xiaoyi, have you forgotten your old love because you have a new one? I am the first beast girl in your contract. Why can Xiao's 5-clawed golden dragon upgrade? But the white fox can upgrade its template? Chapter 139 Xiaoyi's compensation, Hong family's plan. Cheng Bingshi complained to Xiaoyi. As the person who has been with Xiaoyi the longest, Xiaoyi's childhood sweetheart, and the first beast girl, she usually understands Xiaoyi very well and never hinders or blames Xiaoyi because of personal feelings. But she is a human being and could have received all of Xiaoyi's love and affection, but all along, she seemed to be the one who received the least attention. She had been holding these resentments in her heart for a long time. And today, when she was alone with Xiaoyi, they finally exploded. Looking at Cheng Bingshi's resentful eyes and pitiful expression, Xiaoyi's heart softened. He couldn't bear to hurt her. He raised his hand and pinched her smooth and pretty face, and said, don't worry, your 9-tailed Skyfox template can be upgraded as my beast girl, Xiaoyi. I will upgrade the template level for you. A 9-tailed fox and the spirit cat will both upgrade their templates. But we have to take one step at a time, and eat one bite at a time. The conditions for upgrading the template are very harsh, and the resources required are very rare and difficult to obtain. After getting his promise, Cheng Bingshi felt relieved. She shook off Xiaoyi's rough hands that were playing with her long legs and said happily, as long as I can level up, I'm going to practice. Xiaoyi was stunned when he saw the big hand being thrown away. He quickly pulled back Cheng Bingshi, who was about to go to the basement, and said with a wicked smile, you've been practicing all day. Take a break and combine work and rest. He placed his rough hands on her delicate skin again and continued, I ignored your feelings before, so I want to make it up to you today. Cheng Bingshi's beautiful eyes lit up, and she asked coquettously, how do you make up for it? Eat something delicious. Xiaoyi knew that she was a foodie. But he shook his head, then nodded, and said with a smile, I'll compensate you in another way. Another way. Cheng Bingshi had a silly look on her face. What kind of method was that? Then, Xiaoyi picked her up and carried her into the bedroom. After a while, the two returned to the sofa in the living room. Cheng Bingshi, with a ruddy face, rolled her eyes at him. So this was her way of compensation. What a bad guy. Xiaoyi smiled and asked, if you feel bad in the future, just tell me and I will make it up to you. Cheng Bingshi. Are you feeling better? Xiaoyi curled his lips. If not, I can still compensate you. Once is not enough, come twice. It will definitely make you happy. Cheng Bingshi rolled her eyes at him and said, you said you would upgrade the 9-tailed fox template, so of course I'm happy. Suddenly a mature and sexy figure came in from outside the door. She widened her eyes and looked between the two of them, finally stopping at Xiaoyi, and said, the white fox can upgrade the template, but what about the phantom cat? Liuya fully witnessed the horror of the 5-clawed golden dragon template after it was upgraded. It was so terrifying. The speed of cultivation alone crushes all SSS level templates. Cultivation can also cause strange phenomena in heaven and earth, and the power of artistic conception is also of high level. In short, she also really wants template upgrades. Xiaoyi held Cheng Bingshi's soft body and said with difficulty, assistant sister, A template upgrade will reshape your realm. You are already in the Great Venerable Realm. After upgrading the template, your realm will return to the first level of the mortal realm. Yuya sneered. It's okay, just rebuild it. It's easier to walk the road you've already walked. Xiao Yi, but the crystal core in my pocket is not enough to support the training of 3 summoned beasts. Yuya patted her full chest and said, if you don't have enough crystal cores, go earn some, leave it to me. Xiao Yi was shocked. The resources required for a mythical template are extremely terrifying. Almost 4 or 5 times that of an SSS level template summon beast. Are you so confident that you can earn that much? Having been a professor and teaching assistant for so long, Yuya has many ways to earn crystal cores. So she patted her full chest again and said, of course, there are many ways to earn crystal cores if all else fails. Just borrow them. Do you think all my disciples and students are just decorations? Xiao Yi shook his head. I don't believe you are so confident. Yuya glared at him with her beautiful eyes. Don't you want to upgrade the spirit cat? So you make up this excuse. Cheng Bingshi chuckled. He felt that this conversation was familiar. Xiao Yi was to mean he just wanted to tease Sister Liuya. Xiao Yi hooked his finger, motioning Liuya to come closer. As he wished, Liuya said dissatisfied, lie, I am very confident. Okay. Xiao Yi shook his head. I need to verify it myself to know whether you are confident or not. Liuya's delicate face was full of confusion. How could she verify her confidence? Could she be asked to earn crystal cores? But Xiao Yi's next action cleared up her doubts. Xiao Yi raised his hand and touched the outside of her heart. It was solid and big. Then he nodded in agreement with her words. Yeah, you are indeed very confident. I believe it. Liuya's pretty face turned red and she rolled her eyes at him. So this is how it was verified. Since you are so confident, I will find a way to let the spirit cat upgrade its template, Xiao Yi said with a smile. Cheng Bingshi couldn't hold back her laughter anymore. She giggled and said, Kokathis lie. Sister Liuya, don't worry. Xiao Yi promised that the templates of the 3 beast girls will be upgraded. He was just teasing you. Hearing this, Liuya rolled her eyes at him and glared at him with her beautiful eyes. Have you touched enough? Xiao Yi. No. Next, Cheng Bingshi transformed into a 3-tailed white fox to practice, while Liuya pulled Xiao Yi into the bedroom. Sleep together. Different from Xiao Yi, who was sleeping soundly. The other side. 30 seconds after being overwhelmed again, Tao pushed the fat woman away and came into the living room with a tired look on his face. After thinking about it, in order to get rid of Xiao Yi without any consequences, he decided to first destroy the relationship between Yun Bing, the vice president of Kunpeng College, and Xiao Yi, so that Yun Bing, the supreme Kunpeng, would give up Xiao Yi, and then find a chance to lure Xiao Yi out of the demon city-based city and assassinate him with a Warcraft. By the time Xiao Yi is gone, it will not have any impact on the Hong family. Yun Bing, the supreme Kunpeng, who has already given up on Xiao Yi, is probably too lazy to investigate and will not follow the clues to find the Hong family. But how can we make Kunpeng supreme Yun Bing give up Xiao Yi? After careful consideration, he decided to start from the preferences of Kunpeng supreme Yun Bing. Yun Bing is a high-level supreme being from her awakening to the present. She has been cultivating in the human for many. One of the opposite sex who signs a contract with her will explode and die on the spot. She has a hot temper and is prone to hitting people. There are also rumors that she is misogynistic and what she hates most are men who are servile and bootlickers. Licking dog? Is Xiao Yi a licking dog? Tao shook his head. Even his younger brother Yang Junming said that Xiao Yi was the most affectionate ancestor alive. So he couldn't be a bootlicker. Touching his chin, Tao frowned into a shape of a river character. Grandmaster. Deep affection? Is the ancestor who had countless women still alive? Tao's eyes lit up. Isn't this a scumbag? Bullshit ancestor, and the most affectionate one. The high-level supreme being Yun Bing has no contractor. But she is a woman. From a woman's perspective, she definitely hates and despises scumbags. He has a solution. Let the high-level supreme Yun Bing fully realize that Xiao Yi is a scumbag, so that the high-level supreme Yun Bing will hate him. Tao laughed wickedly and said, sinister lie. Xiao Yi, Liuya's plan to catch the adulterer failed, and I was fed a mouthful of dog food. But now how are you going to deal with this move? Chapter 140 Artistic Crystal, Plan in Progress. Villa 1. Cross Lakeview Villa area, Kunpeng College. The residence of Yun Tianjun, the number 1 genius on the Kunpeng prodigy list. Yun Tianjun and the contractor Ji Yao drank alone. With depressed looks on their faces, they were silent to each other, as if they had something deep on their minds. After a long silence, they finally opened the topic. It's unlikely that we will be able to break through to the Grandmaster level before we graduate from our senior year. If you are not at the Grandmaster level, you are not eligible to compete for the position of Secret Realm Manager Sai. It's all fate. The Secret Realm Management position. as the name suggests, is the entrance and resource manager of a secret realm in a certain dimensional space. This position is very popular. Not only can one get a generous salary, but one can also reap some of the benefits of the secret realm, and use the convenience of the position to make various connections. A secret realm of the dimensional space is an alternate dimension space with a large amount of resources. How about we force our way through to the Grand Master level? Ji Yao said. Yanqian Jun, the number 1 prodigy on the Kunpeng prodigy ranking, shook his head and said, "No, a Grand Master who forcibly breaks through may be qualified to compete for this position, but the chances of success are too small. Moreover, forcibly breaking through a Grand Master who is strong on the outside but weak on the inside will seriously affect his foundation. A key to breaking through to the Grand Master level is to achieve a qualitative breakthrough in the power of artistic conception. Only when the quality reaches a certain level can a breakthrough be achieved. They are SS level Golden Lion templates, and their realm is Grand Master 10 stars. Unless they have the assistance of rare treasures, it is almost impossible for them to break through from the peak of Grand Master to Grand Master within a year. This is what troubles them." Suddenly at this moment, ding ding ding, the bell outside the door rang. Yan Jun, the number 1 genius on the Kunpeng prodigy list, was stunned. Who would come to him so late? Just as he was about to open the door, a gate of the villa opened automatically with a buzzing sound, and a tall and sturdy masked figure came in from outside. He was completely hidden under the black night combat suit, revealing only a pair of tired eyes. A drunk Yantian Chan and the contractor Ji Yao were shocked and said sternly, "This is Kunpeng Academy, with the supreme in charge. If you dare to commit a crime, you will definitely suffer the consequences." This man in black came uninvited, hiding himself so tightly that he didn't even dare to reveal his face. It was obvious that he had bad intentions. The man in black said nothing. He raised his open palm, on which there was an oval crystal. The oval crystal exudes a rich mysterious energy. Yantian Zhan and Ji Yao, who were on guard, exclaimed, "Artistic crystal." Artistic crystals are produced from underground mines and are very rare. Each one is a rare treasure. They are sold at the price of a top-grade crystal core of a venerable, but there is almost no market for them. Effect of artistic conception crystal. It can efficiently assist Grandmaster and Grandmaster to condense the power of artistic conception, and is a great treasure for Grandmaster and Grandmaster. The man in black walked to the sofa and sat down. He poured himself a glass of wine and said, "A crystal of artistic conception, do something for me." Yanqian Jun and Ji Yao looked at each other and saw the desire in each other's eyes. Ji Yao couldn't help but ask, "What's the matter?" The man in black smiled, "It's very simple." 10 minutes later, the two parties finished their discussion and the man in black left. A crystal stone and a large memory USB flash drive were left on the desktop. Ji Yao looked at the artistic conception crystal on the table and said in surprise, "He is so confident that he is not afraid that we will not do the job? Who cares?" Yantian Jun picked up the artistic conception crystal and weighed it in his hand. "This artistic conception crystal is enough to allow us to break through the power of artistic conception to a higher level within half a year, and thus break through to the Grand Master level. But before that, let's do it beautifully, exposing Xiaoyi's true nature as a scumbag." Xiaoyi? I seem to have heard of this name somewhere. He picked up the USB drive and inserted it into the tablet. Xiaoyi's information was displayed on the screen. Grandmaster's 7-star realm, second on Kunpeng prodigy list, has contracts with 3 beast girls, namely Nangong Saya, Cheng Bingxi, and Liuya, with headshots attached. He is lustful and promiscuous, and likes to visit brothels and maid bars. Yantian Jun was surprised when he saw the 3 beast girls. "Wait, Liuya?" Yantian Jun widened his eyes in shock. "The most beautiful assistant teacher Liuya?" When I clicked on the headshot, it was indeed the headshot of goddess assistant teacher Liuya. The most beautiful teaching assistant Liuya is the goddess of 99 of the male students in Kunpeng Academy. Not only is she powerful and has the honorary title of the number 1 person under the Supreme, but she is also the number 1 outstanding teacher in the Magic City Academy. Yantian Jun is one of the fanatical admirers of the goddess assistant teacher Liuya. Opening the files in the USB drive, there were intimate scenes of Xiaoyi and Liuya kissing, and the scene seemed to be in a pub. Damn, did Xiaoyi save Blue Star in his previous life? All 3 beast girls are stunning beauties, and one of them is my goddess. Yantian Jun was jealous. Looking at the picture of Liuya sitting on Xiaoyi's lap and feeding him imported wine, Yantian Jun wanted to kill Xiaoyi. Scumbag. This Xiaoyi is absolutely a scumbag. Yantian Jun decided that he must make everyone in Kunpeng Academy, including teachers and deans, realize how promiscuous this Xiaoyi is. Ji Yao looked at Xiaoyi's headshot, her eyes widened involuntarily, and she said in surprise, "This guy is so handsome. He is much more handsome than Yantian Jun, with sharp cheeks, like a work of art carved with a knife, without the slightest flaw. Moreover, this man has a unique temperament that makes people feel attracted to him at first sight. Yan Chenjun was just about to tell Ji Yao about the next plan, but when he turned around, he saw Ji Yao staring at Xiao Yi's portrait in fascination. The contractor's wife is obsessed with looking at other men in front of him. Bang! Yan Chenjun angrily slammed his fist on the table and said with a gloomy face, "Does it look good?" Ji Yao replied subconsciously, "It looks good." She looked at it and swallowed unconsciously, wondering what she was fantasizing about. Yan Chenjun felt like his hair was turning green. Fuck, he cursed and was very angry. Not only was the goddess assistant teacher seduced by Xiao Yi, but his own contractor wife was also crazy about him. "Don't look at it," Yan Chenjun said angrily and switched the screen to the next one. Ji Yao curled her lips. "It's just a look, it won't hurt me. You only allow you to look at your goddess. But you don't allow me to look at handsome guys?" Yan Chenjun gritted his teeth and felt like his head was about to explode. A strange, very pretty girl in a maid outfit appeared on the screen, wiping Xiao Yi's sweat intimately. Yan Chenjun was overjoyed and said, "Ji Yao, look. This guy is a pervert, he has 3 gorgeous beast girls and he even goes out to visit brothels. Yeah, he has the potential to be a scumbag." Ji Yao replied. Yan Chenjun laughed, "He is a scumbag. I always look down on men who casually hook up with wild women. I will never be a scumbag, right?" The contractor Ji Yao glanced at his ordinary face and said with disdain, "You are still greedy. Don't think I don't know that you secretly look at the photos of the most beautiful assistant Liuya before going to bed every day. Besides, it's not that you don't want to be a scumbag, it's that you are not qualified to be a scumbag." Yan Chenjun's face darkened, and he was furious. "I'm going crazy. Anyway, I want everyone in Kunpeng Academy to know the scumbag nature of Xiao Yi." He didn't plan to sleep and immediately started posting anonymous posts on the official website and various forums. Use the content in the USB drive to edit posts, exaggerate and smear the facts, and give them exaggerated titles. Chapter 141 Xiao, you scumbag, you deserve to die. Shocked, Xiao Yi is actually a scumbag. Outrageous, he contracted 3 beast girls at the same time. And he still went out to visit brothels. The most beautiful teaching assistant goddess Liu, his new husband is actually this kind of person. Is it a distortion of human nature or a loss of morality? The top scorer in the college entrance examination actually did the thing behind the back of the contractor. The latest event, ranked in the top 10 of the world's outrageous events. Take a look at the true nature of super geniuses to avoid being deceived. Hundreds of posts with explosive titles appeared in every corner of the official website forum, and soon attracted the attention of countless students from Kunpeng College. Xiao Yi, who is he? He's a scumbag. The title says it. Xiao Yi. There is a guy named Xiao Yi in our Tianjiaoi class. The brother upstairs is definitely Xiao Yi from our Tianjiaoi class. The second Grandmaster 7-star on the Tianjiaoi list. Yes, this guy actually signed a contract with the goddess assistant teacher. It's really explosive news. Damn, there's a short video in the post, where the goddess teaching assistant gave him imported wine. My goddess has been defiled. This guy deserves to die. He has a lovely wife at home but he still goes to a brothel. It is confirmed that he is a scumbag without a doubt. Xiao the scumbag. But on what basis would the goddess assistant take a fancy to him? Snap. Heartbreaking sounds were heard everywhere in the dormitory buildings of Kunpeng College. Voices of gnashing teeth, envy, jealousy and hatred appeared one after another. There are 3 goddesses in Kunpeng College. The most popular one is the most beautiful assistant teacher Liuya, because she often appears in the students' field of vision, is more approachable, and is the goddess that students come into contact with the most. A reason why many students apply to Kunpeng College is to recruit the most beautiful teaching assistants. Cheng Yi, the president of the student union, who was posting late at night, was also very shocked when he saw 2 or 3 posts. Walter, Biayu Guang, who even his father King Kong Supreme couldn't take down, was actually contracted by Xiao Yi. Outrageous, too outrageous. Continue browsing below. When Cheng Yi saw the ace maid providing Xiao Yi with package service, the corner of his mouth twitched. He very much agreed with the comments of those heartbroken classmates. Damn, you scumbag, you have 3 gorgeous beast girls at home. Why the hell are you visiting such a brothel? That's right. In Cheng Yi's opinion, this kind of maid bar that provides improper services is a brothel. After browsing the post, Cheng Yi took a deep breath and said, Uncle Xiao is in trouble. I don't know who is trying to discredit him so loudly. Well, it doesn't seem to be discrediting him. He is just like that. I guess a lot of male geniuses would want to come to your door with swords in hand, right? Beep, beep, beep. Cheng Yi dialed Xiao Yi's number. But there were busy tones on the other end and no one answered the call. What are you doing? You don't even have time to answer the phone. Cheng Yi had a surprising idea. Could it be that Xiao Yi is sleeping with the goddess teaching assistant in his arms at this moment? Even I want to smack him. But don't forget that Cheng Yi is also one of the fanatical admirers of the most beautiful assistant coach Liuya. I called 2 or 3 times in a row. But the other party didn't answer. Chen Yi gritted his teeth and said, "Uncle Xiao, I solved this matter for you. Remember to owe me a favor." Then, as the president of the student union, he issued an order to his student union to block the post. The student union has great power, including the authority to delete and block posts. After such a short period of time, the incident spread to a wider area, and more than half of the students of Kunpeng College participated in it. There are many new posts on this topic on the forum. All the posts are accusing and cursing Xiaoyi. The post was filled with many negative comments about Xiaoyi. The goddess assistant teacher was definitely deceived by this guy's handsome appearance. He is actually a scumbag. Yes, we have to expose him and let the goddess assistant realize the true face of this man. Teaching assistant Liuya, Deputy Dean Yunbing, Dean Yunshi, I'm tagging the teaching assistants on behalf of everyone else. Everyone come together. Teaching assistant Liuya, Deputy Dean Yunbing. I've wanted to do this kind of thing for a long time. The fact that he visited a brothel is enough to make him pay for it. It's not impossible that he will be fired. Many people followed suit and tagged Liuya. The vice president, the dean, even the director of studies and full-time professors, almost all teachers with Taibi IP numbers were tagged. Some take the lead, some follow suit, and some simply join in the fun. But if this wave of unhealthy trends continues, it will definitely be disadvantageous to Xiaoyi. Just at this moment, delete, block, restrict Taibi accounts from posting. A large student union was mobilized. All posts related to the scumbag Xiaoyi in the forum of the official website were blocked and deleted. Even the IP numbers that post these messages are directly banned from posting and speaking for 10 years. Many students in dormitories across the school received news that their IP addresses had been banned from posting and speaking. The school officials stepped in and banned me for 10 years. That's too fucking harsh. What's wrong with exposing a scumbag? Why do you ban me from my rights? I don't accept that. Screams like pigs being slaughtered could be heard from all over the dormitory building. Are they really exposing the scumbag? They are just jealous and venting their inner dissatisfaction. However, these people's private outcry will not affect the student union's process of blocking and deleting posts and depriving them of their permissions. Within 10 minutes, all popular posts of this type in the forum were dealt with. Just when many students were howling in anger, a post suddenly appeared and its popularity quickly increased. Everyone, I hereby issue a challenge to Xiaoyi, who is ranked second on the Tianjiahui list. I will fight Xiaoyi at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning in the Zushentao arena. I will defeat him with ease and let assistant Liu know that the student Xiaoyi she likes is not as good as she thinks, sent by Yuntianjun, who is ranked first on the Tianjiahui list. Well done, I like it. Finally, someone took action. Yes, we must defeat him mercilessly and let the goddess teaching assistant know that there are many geniuses in the academy who are better than Xiaoyi. Agree 1. Agree 1027. Take it easy, OP. Be careful of your post being deleted and your rights to post and speak out being taken away. The post was not deleted by the student union. The heat is getting higher and higher, and many people are expecting Yuntianjun, the first on the Tianjiahui list with 10 Grand Master stars, to severely beat up Xiaoyi, the second on the Tianjiahui list. Even if I can't change the fact that the goddess assistant teacher has been contracted, I can still vent my jealousy. Villano, 1 in the know, 1 Lakeview Villey area. She spent the entire evening thinking about how to apologize to Xiaoyi in a smooth and perfect way. But she had very little experience in this area and couldn't come up with anything. She had no choice but to take out her tablet computer and soak in the bathtub, intending to understand the preferences and strange thoughts of young people. So she opened the official website forum. Someone tagged me? While Yunshi was applying soap on her body, she clicked on the post that was tagged with a slight surprise on her face. Chapter 140 to Goddess Dinian, she is angry. After the page jumped, a blank page that had been deleted long ago was displayed. There was not just one person who tagged Yunshi, there were hundreds of people. She clicked on them one by one, but all she saw were blank pages, which were blank posts after being deleted. How come more than a dozen posts tagged by hundreds of people were all deleted? Confused, Yunshi browsed through the posts one by one on the main site. Within a minute she noticed something was wrong. 3 out of 10 posts were tagged with the word scumbag. Scumbag. Seeing this word, Yunshi's beautiful eyes turned cold, and a cold look appeared on her beautiful little face. As a woman, she feels disgusted with groups like scumbag men. In the current era of beast girls, a beastmaster can only contract one beast girl, which is the so-called monogamy. Of course. Except Xiaoyi, he is an exception. Yunshi snorted coldly. To be accused by so many people in this thread. This scumbag must have done so many outrageous things. If this person is a student of my Kunpeng Academy, he must be expelled. Kunpeng Academy has no room for scumbags. Then Yunshi shifted his gaze from the tag to the title of the post. This guy is undoubtedly a scumbag. It is recommended that the school expel Xiao the scumbag. Shame on scumbags. Ban them. Seeing this, Yunxi's face became even colder. There is a high probability that there is a scumbag in Kunpeng Academy. But, Xiao the scumbag, why is his last name Xiao? It shouldn't be Xiaoyi, right? He is a bright and helpful, and he is a 3 good student in my Kunpeng Academy. It shouldn't be. The scumbag Xiao must be someone else. But he just has the last name Xiao. The name Xiaoyi flashed through Yunxi's mind, but she rejected it the next second. I want to see who this person is. Click on the post and the detailed content will be displayed on the screen immediately. Xiao is a scumbag who harms women. Be struck by lightning. He has 3 beast girls and is having an affair with a strange maid. He is undoubtedly a scumbag. Screenshot of the private package service JPG. This guy really deserves to die. We must let the goddess teaching assistant recognize his true face, and not let the goddess be kept in the dark. It is recommended that the school expel Xiao the scumbag to prevent him from harming good girls again. Shame on the scumbag, ban him. The Tianzhaoi list symbolizes honor and is the face of Kunpeng Academy. How can we let the scumbag get on the list? We must ban him, he doesn't deserve it. These are newly published posts, and the student union has not had time to delete or block them. The posters have all denounced Xiao as a scumbag, and hope that teaching assistant Liuya will recognize his true face. And hope that the school will expel him and ban him. With strong and intense malice. 3 beast girls and a goddess assistant teacher. You're talking about Xiaoyi. There was disbelief in Yunxi's beautiful eyes. Impossible, Xiaoyi is definitely not a scumbag. She browsed through a few posts again and understood the whole story. To sum up, there was a leader who widely publicized the fact that Xiaoyi had contracted 3 beast girls and went to the May Tavern to drink, and implanted severely paranoid personal feelings in the post to discredit Xiaoyi. Most of the people who followed suit and posted were jealous of the goddess assistant being contracted. And they vented their jealousy by posting. The extremely smart Yunxi quickly figured out the motives of the students who posted the messages. Going to the May Tavern for a drink once doesn't mean anything. That leader definitely wants to maliciously discredit Xiaoyi. Make him socially ruined, and make him unable to stay in the academy. Anger emerged in Yunxi's beautiful eyes. With a bang, her fair little hand angrily slammed on the water, splashing the water onto her rosy shoulders. How abominable. For the first time in hundreds of years, Yunxi felt angry for someone other than Yun Bing. She was furious. She wanted to deal with this evil person who slandered and defamed the 3 good students at will. Yunxi stood up from the bathtub. Her curvy and delicate body exposed to the air when her crystal clear feet stepped on the ground. The water in her body was instantly evaporated by the energy. After simply putting on a bulky white robe, she came to the living room and waved her hand. Just swipe it. Chengyi appeared on the floor of the living room, with his hand in his crotch, tickling his own drum. It's too itchy, I'll just scratch it, as he muttered to himself. He suddenly found himself in a different environment. He was wearing pajamas and was about to go to sleep, but in the blink of an eye he was here, as if he had teleported. Chengyi, a cold and royal sister's voice came from the sofa in front. What is this sound? Chengyi looked up and was immediately shocked. Aunt Yunxi, are you looking for me? Chengyi took his hands out of his pants awkwardly. The action of scratching the drum was too indecent. Yunxi is a top-level supreme, much more powerful than his father, the lower-level supreme Vara Supreme. And he is not easy to get along with. Chengyi came to the sofa and sat down nervously. Yunxi exuded a cold aura, looking down at Chengyi like a queen, and said with a warm and angry voice, Do you know about the scumbag Xiao? Chengyi was startled by the voice full of coldness and anger. After hearing the content, his whole body tensed up. He shouted in his heart, Oh, no. The dean also knows about the forum on the official website, but why would the dean, who hardly ever deals with these trivial matters, personally question me? He had a bad feeling in his heart. It's over. The dean is probably aware of Uncle Xiao's scumbag deeds, so he is angry. Uncle Xiao, you are in trouble. I can't do anything this time. In Chengyi's heart, he also thought that Xiaoyi was a scumbag, so after being questioned by Yunxi, he couldn't help but think that Xiaoyi's scumbag behavior angered Dean Yunxi. Speak quickly. Seeing Chengyi with a bitter face and not saying anything, Yunxi's face became even colder. A strong chill came towards him and Chengyi shivered. He said hurriedly, I know about Xiao the scumbag, Aunt Yunxi, Xiaoyi was wronged. You must not be misled by those posts on the official website. Even though Chengyi was trembling inside and faced the risk of the wrath of the top supreme being, he still spoke for Xiaoyi out of loyalty and tried to clear Xiaoyi's name. Seeing that Chengyi seemed to have misunderstood her meaning, Yunxi chuckled, and the coldness in her voice disappeared a little, and said, Xiaoyi is a 3 good student in our college. He has excellent character, is upright, and is willing to help others. She is a good student that we admire very much. Of course, he can't be a scumbag. I came to you to ask you, who is the person who took the lead in smearing Xiaoyi? The 3 good student in our college. Chengyi was shocked. Walter. It turns out that in the heart of the top supreme goddess Dean, Uncle Xiao is a good student with excellent qualities, and he can't be a scumbag? It turned out that the reason he was brought here was not to discuss the punishment of Uncle Xiao, but to find out who the leader was. Ah, Cheng Yi breathed a sigh of relief, as if his whole body relaxed. Then his eyes became excited. The person who took the lead in promoting evil practices would be in trouble when the goddess Dean asked this question. She must be willing to take action herself. Right, there's something interesting to watch. Chapter 143 Liuya. Beat the shit out of him. This person is Yuntian Zhen. Although Yuntian Zhen posted anonymously, Cheng Yi has the authority to check his real identity. She frowned. Mr. Yuntian? She felt like she had seen this name somewhere. After thinking carefully, she said in a cold voice, "It's him, Yuntian Zhen. Who is number 1 on the Tianjiaoi list?" Cheng Yi nodded. "Yes, it's this person. He was the one who leaked all the information about Xiaoyi." Cheng Yi clicked on his watch and a virtual screen was projected. After 2 or 3 clicks, a very popular post appeared on the screen. It's a challenge post. "Everyone, I hereby issue a challenge to Xiaoyi, who was ranked 2nd on the Tianjiaoi list. I will fight Xiaoyi at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning in the Zhu Shenjiao arena. I will defeat him with ease and let assistant Liu know that the student Xiaoyi she likes is not as good as she thinks." Sent by Yuntian Zhen, who is ranked 1st on the Tianjiaoi list. There are many comments under the post threatening to see Xiao the scumbag exposed, and some even asking the goddess assistant to recognize Xiao the scumbag's true face. After looking at the content on the screen, Yunxi sneered, "What a Yuntian Zhen. He's just a black sheep." Cheng Yi muttered disaffectedly, "I guess he is proud of being number 1 on the Tianjiaoi list, so he dares to challenge Uncle Xiao, although Uncle Xiao is only a Grandmaster 7-star. His SSS level summon beast is enough to fight across levels? No matter whether it is Uncle Xiao or himself, if they want to compete, it will not be Yuntian Zhen's turn to be the first on the list of geniuses." Yunxi curled the corners of her mouth. Xiaoyi had been here in the afternoon, so she knew that Xiaoyi's realm was at the Grandmaster level. "You go back. When Yuntian Zhen is defeated tomorrow, I will give him the most severe punishment." She waved her hand and sent Cheng Yi back. At this time, the smile appeared on Yunxi's face, and she already had an idea of how to apologize. "Everything will wait until tomorrow." Early the next morning, in the bedroom on the 2nd floor at Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area, Xiaoyi was sleeping soundly while hugging the fragrant body, his head buried in the huge creature, and his 5 limbs holding Liu Ya idly like an octopus. Click! Suddenly the bedroom door was pushed open, and a tall and graceful figure ran in from outside. Then, Xiaoyi felt his body being shaken, and a pleasant but anxious female voice came to his ears. "Xiaoyi, wake up, something happened." When he opened his eyes, Xiaoyi vaguely saw Cheng Bingxi with an anxious look on her face. "What? Are you in a bad mood and want to make up for it? Let me sleep a little longer and I'll make it up to you. Okay?" Hearing this, Cheng Bingxi blushed and said coquettishly, "Who wants that so early in the morning?" "Not this." Xiaoyi touched her little head. "What is that?" "Don't worry." Cheng Bingxi stamped her feet in anger. "Oh, how can I not be anxious? Something happened. Someone wants to challenge you at 8 o'clock. Xiaoyi was very sleepy. He curled his lips sleepily and said nonchalantly, "Challenge me? Do I have to accept the challenge?" "No." Seeing that he still wanted to sleep, Cheng Bingxi had no choice but to give him a mandatory wake-up call. "I saw a beautiful figure rushing over, pressing her whole body on Xiaoyi, and constantly tickling his armpits with her hands." Xiaoyi couldn't help laughing out loud, and his sleepiness completely disappeared. Xiaoyi, who was a little grumpy because his sleep was disturbed, covered the 3 people with the quilt, including their heads tightly. Then there was a sound. A deafening fart sounded from under the quilt. Some farts are both smelly and loud. At that moment, 2 charming voices came from under the quilt. "Oh my, Xiaoyi, you are so bad. It stinks. Who is cooking fish high noodles? Give me a bowl." Cheng Bingxi held her breath, and her delicate face turned red from the smoke. Liu Ya, who was sleeping, was also awakened by the smell. Before she could react, she thought it was the unique scent of fish high powder. Xiaoyi stuck his head out of the quilt, took a breath of fresh air and said, "Teacher assistant sister, is the flying lion powder fragrant?" Liu Ya's puzzled voice yawned from under the quilt. "It smells good. But why is there a hint of pickled cabbage in the smell of this fish high powder? It smells sour and sour. I want to eat it. Who is cooking it?" "Bingxi and Sayo don't seem to know how to cook." "Sister Liu Ya, you've been fooled." He was farting. Cheng Bingxi hurriedly opened the quilt, allowing the 3 of them to return to the fresh air. "Fart?" With a shock, Liu Ya, who was still in a daze, immediately woke up. When she raised her eyes, she saw Xiaoyi and Cheng Bingxi looking at her strangely. Xiaoyi and Cheng Bingxi both burst out laughing. Liu Ya blushed and stammered, I said I was just talking in my sleep. Do you believe me?" The 2 shook their heads. Social demise. The embarrassed Liu Ya jumped up and got down to the ground, without even putting on her clothes, and ran straight into the bathroom trembling with fear. 2 minutes later. I finished washing and dressed. Cheng Bingshi pulled Nan Gong Xiao over, and together with Xiao Yi and Liu Ya, they explained what happened on the official website forum last night around the table. After understanding the cause and consequences of the incident, the three girls' pretty faces were filled with anger. Snap, snap. Nan Gong Xiao's fingers snapped and she said angrily, "These people are so despicable, they actually maliciously slandered my Xiao Yi." Cheng Bingshi nodded in agreement. Yes. It's too abominable, we need to teach those people a lesson. Liu Ya was also very angry, but she found the common points in the posts. She thought and analyzed. The information in these posts is highly repetitive, and they are all about the May Tavern. I guess there must be someone behind the scenes pushing and leading the way. But who is this person? Xiao Yi has just entered the academy, so he should not have offended anyone, right? Cheng Bingshi frowned. Liu Ya's eyes dodged. She had a sixth sense that this incident seemed to be caused by her. Xiao Yi was checking the back end of his forum and found that he had received a message from Cheng Yi last night. Uncle Xiao, the person who took the lead in smearing you is Yun Tianjun, who was ranked first on the Tianjiaoi list. He also posted a challenge to you. His purpose is probably to ruin your reputation and plant a bad negative impression of you in the minds of everyone in the academy. I know who it is. Just as the three women were guessing, Xiao Yi spoke. Yun Tianjun, number 1 on the Tianjiaoi list. Cheng Bingshi covered her mouth and said angrily, "It turned out to be him. This person is so abominable. Not only did he take the lead in smearing my Xiao Yi, but he also dared to post a challenge. It seems that he wants to humiliate my Xiao Yi in real life." Nan Gong Xiao's beautiful eyes were filled with rage. He slandered me online and humiliated me in real life. This person deserves to die. Liu Ya snorted coldly and said, "Xiao Yi, accept the challenge. Beat him up so hard the shit out of him." Xiao Yi nodded and sneered. "That's exactly what I meant. Since this guy is so arrogant, there's no need to fight him in the Void God Tower, just fight him directly in reality. If you get injured in the virtual God Tower, you will just feel mentally exhausted after leaving the tower, and nothing will happen to you. But if you get injured in reality, with punches hitting your flesh, that is real injury." Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi clenched their red and tender fists and said viciously, "Yes, beat the shit out of him." Chapter 144, Top Grand Master. What to do when your legs become weak? Crack. Xiao Yi supported himself on the table with one hand, and the surging power in his body that he had not yet adapted to leaked out, directly breaking the table into pieces. The table broke into pieces and fell to the ground. Xiao Yi and the two women present were stunned. Cheng Bingshi looked dazed and asked, "Xiao Yi, what is your realm?" After a night, your realm has skyrocketed." Liu Ya took a breath. At the sound, a violent artistic conception first burst out from Xiao Yi's body. N stars in the Grand Master realm. After one night, the mythical 5-clawed golden dragon's realm was cultivated to the 10th star of the Grand Master realm. At the same time, Xiao Yi's realm was also improved to the 10th star of the Grand Master realm, only one step away from the realm of Venerable. Xiao Yi clenched his fist, and with a bang, the air exploded and a sonic sounded. "So strong," he exclaimed. He didn't do anything last night. He just held Liu Ya in his arms and slept soundly. Yet, his realm reached this level and his strength increased dozens of times. Nan Gong Xiao raised her white chin proudly and said proudly, "This is all thanks to my hard work and cultivation, Xiao Yi. You must reward me well." Xiao Yi praised. "No problem, what reward do you want?" Nan Gong Xiao's face suddenly turned red. She glanced at his muscular figure with her beautiful eyes and said shyly, "Oh, let's talk about it tonight. Xiao Yi, if I ask you what compensation you want, you can tell me now. Why wait until tonight?" Suddenly Cheng Bingshi and Liu Ya came over, hugged Xiao Yi on the left and right, shook his hands and said coquettishly, "Xiao Yi, we also need to upgrade the template. It's urgent." "Yes, we can't wait any longer, the sooner the better." Both women witnessed the horror of the mythical template and became very eager to upgrade the template. Xiao Yi raised his hand and pressed it, smiling, "No problem. Let's do it today. After we defeat that guy called Yun Tianjun, we will go find resources for upgrading." "Yeah." Cheng Bingshi and Liu Yan nodded rapidly. "It's already 7 o'clock. After packing up, Xiao Yi and the three girls set out immediately and went directly to block the gate of Yunchun's Cross Lakeview Villa. 5-clawed golden dragon Grand Master realm 10 stars. The 3-tailed white fox is at the 2nd star level of Grand Master realm. The spiritual cat is at the 1st star level of the Great Venerable realm. Just as Xiao Yi and the other three were heading towards the main entrance of the Cross Lakeview Villa district. At the main entrance of the Cross Villa district, there were already 200 to 300 genius students there, waiting for the appearance of Yun Tianjun, who was at the top of the genius list. Yun Tianjun is worthy of being the top brother in our academy. He is the only one who dares to beat up Xiao the scumbag in real life. I admire him. I have already imagined the scene where Brother Yun beat up the scumbag Xiao in the Void God Tower. Xiao the scumbag is really trash, he deserves to be beaten. They had strong malice towards Xiao the scumbag. Suddenly the door of the villa opened, and to people with ordinary looks but strong aura came out. The eyes of 200 or 300 Tianjiahui students lit up and they exclaimed, "It's Brother Yun! Brother Yun is out! And there is also Yun Ji's contractor Ji Yao." They immediately began to flatter me, and all kinds of praises were endless. At the same time, belittle Xiao as a scumbag. Yun Tianjun raised his hand and pressed it, and the scene instantly became quiet, with a strong aura of pretensions emanating from him. With his hands behind his back, Yun Tianjun raised his face like an ordinary person and said calmly, "Today, I will defeat the scumbag Xiao and make assistant coach Liu Ye realize his true nature. But what I'm worried about now is that Xiao the scumbag doesn't dare to accept the challenge." Upon hearing this, 200 or 300 talented students fully agreed with his statement, and expressed disparagement and disdain for the scumbag Xiao. But suddenly at this moment, a sneer echoed from the other side of the road, bombarding the ears of 200 or 300 genius students like thunder. "Are you Yun Yanjun?" A power of artistic conception full of domineering attributes was released, and Xiao Yi led the 3 women forward step by step. The sound of each footstep carried great terror, striking the hearts of the talented students present. Wherever Xiao Yi looked, no one dared to look at him. The talented students who had been so arrogant just now all lowered their proud heads and looked at the ground with fear in their eyes. Coming closer, Xiao Yi looked at Yun Tianjun coldly. With a sudden movement, Yun Tianjun and Ji Yao involuntarily took 2 steps back. The talented students on both sides of the road were so shocked that their hearts exploded. The power of his artistic conception is so overbearing. Damn, just looking at him, I feel like I'm facing a top supreme being. Why do I feel a little weak in the legs? Oh, no. This scumbag Xiao is much more terrifying than we thought. Yes, he is surrounded by 3 beauties, one of whom is actually a goddess teaching assistant. Yun Tianjun's heart sank, and the power of the mad lion state of mind of the 10-star Grandmaster burst out. 2 huge forces of artistic conception collided with each other. Yun Tianjun felt as if his spirit had suffered a severe blow, his heart trembled violently, and a mouthful of blood almost spurted out of his mouth. But he held back. The official challenge hadn't even begun yet, and he couldn't make a fool of himself. He lost the first momentum contest. But Yun Tianjun was very stubborn, he didn't want to lose face in front of so many people. So he said arrogantly, "Xiao Yi, do you dare to accept the challenge?" Xiao Yi raised his lips and said, "You want to save face but suffer in vain? Do you accept the challenge? Since you want to challenge me so much, I think you don't need to go to the Void God Tower. Let's fight here, do you dare?" There happened to be an open space of several thousand square meters next to it, which was enough to support a battle at the Grand Master level. Isn't Xiao Yi too arrogant, fighting in real life? Bam! His state of mind is so powerful that it makes people panic, but he is only second on the Tianjiahui list, and Brother Yun is a 10-star Grand Master. Xiao Yi is too arrogant. Brother Yun will teach him a lesson. The Tianjiahui students were whispering, but the way they addressed Xiao Yi had already changed from Xiaozanan to Xiao Yi's name. Xiao Yi had already used the power of artistic conception to intimidate them in person. Ji Yao pulled Yun Tianjun's hand and whispered, "I have a bad feeling, why don't we just forget it?" Yun Tianjun looked at her anxious eyes, and said angrily, "Are you crazy again?" Ji Yao snorted, "You are the one who is crazy. I am just telling the truth." A raging fire rose in Yun Tianjun's eyes, and a sour feeling emerged in his heart. The contractor's wife spoke well of the enemy, and the target was the man that the contractor's wife was crazy about. He felt green on his head. Moreover, on the opposite side, his dream goddess, the beautiful assistant teacher Liu Ye, was intimately holding Xiao Yi's arm and rubbing her ear, which made him feel even more angry. So Yun Tianjun simply and rudely said loudly, "Xiao Yi, since you want to be beaten, I will do as you wish." He immediately mobilized the power of the contract and transformed into summon beast form together with the helpless Ji Yao. SS level Golden Lion. Grandmaster 10 stars. Roar. A lion 10 to 20 meters tall and long with a golden body appeared on the ground and let out an angry roar. He took the initiative to come to the empty space where no one was, and said with suppressed anger, "Boy, why don't you transform? Are you scared?" Xiao Yi smiled and looked at Nangong Sayo. The two of them mobilized the power of the contract at the same time and began to summon the mythical template 5-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon. Yin. A clear and uplifting dragon roar came from the sky. The sky darkened, and a golden eastern dragon that blocked out the sun appeared above everyone's heads. Its mouth could swallow a bull alive. Its beard was 40 meters long, its pair of golden vertical pupils were like a giant dragon lantern, and its long and narrow body was an astonishing 1,000 meters long. Rabbit eyes, deer antlers, cow's mouth, camel's head, tiger's paws, eagle's claws, fish scales, and snake's body. A real dragon appears. Chapter 145. A true dragon appears, and everyone is shocked. Looking at the five-clawed golden dragon that looked like a prehistoric beast pressing down on the sky, the huge difference in size brought a strong sense of oppression, and everyone present gasped. This. So big and long. It's so dark that it's covered up as if fake. Is this body type really a Grandmaster 7-star? The talented students who were watching were all stunned and found it unbelievable. But that was the fact, and they had to believe it. How is it possible? A 10-meter high and 20-meter long golden lion on the open space was about to pop out its eyes. As far as he knew, only those at the supreme realm and above could reach a size of over 1,000 meters. However, Xiao Yi, who was only second on the prodigy list, was only at the Grandmaster 7-star realm. Roar. After a brief shock, the golden lion roared. Big size doesn't mean strong combat power, it's just paper and will break if touched. The Tianjiahui students changed their opinions after hearing this and excitedly encouraged, Brother Yun. Tear him into pieces. Yes, it looks scary in size, and it might break into pieces if torn apart. Brother Yun has sharp eyes and can see the essence at a glance. Encouraged by hundreds of people, the Grandmaster 10-star golden victory lion was full of confidence. He roared, exerted force on his limbs, and leapt into the sky with a bang, raising his powerful and sharp claws high. How can the light of a firefly compete with the brightness of the bright moon? A few words came out calmly from the huge head of the five-clawed golden dragon. Then the surging power of the supreme attribute burst out from the huge and narrow body, crushing towards the golden lion. Like a bolt from the blue, a muffled thunder sounded between heaven and earth. Supreme attributes. Arrogant, domineering, supreme, and dominates everything. At this moment, the leaping golden lion felt that the entire world was rejecting him, as if the supreme will of heaven and earth had descended. It was like he was alone, fighting against the entire world. His face suddenly changed, his whole body tensed up, his heart began to tremble violently, and his limbs became soft and weak. How can it be so strong? Yan Tianjun was timid and frightened, and he had already considered retreating. The golden lion was still carried upward by the inertia of the jump. In the blink of an eye, white light flashed between heaven and earth, and the five-clawed golden dragon moved. In a flash, the dragon swung its tail and hit the golden lion fiercely. Bang, bang, bang. The golden lion was hit 100 times faster than when it came, and crashed towards the ground, with a series of sonic booms that broke the sound barrier. It hit the ground and created a bottomless pit. The scene was filled with dust and no one could see clearly. But with a cry of ouch, a very miserable sound of pain rose from the deep pit, causing the bystanders, the talented students present, to shiver unconsciously. That was the scream of the golden lion. The talented students looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. The five-clawed golden dragon is so terrifying that it crushes the number 1 golden lion on the Tianjiahui list. This was almost a one-sided battle. Victory, there is no suspense anymore. But just as the dust settled, a figure with fear in his eyes crawled out of the deep pit, trembling. Lie. It's golden Shengshi. It was in a miserable state at this moment, with blood flowing on its skin and its eyes red. The spectators exclaimed, Brother Yun hasn't lost yet. Brother Yun is so awesome. That's right. How could Brother Yun lose? Let's kill him. These people cheered, but what golden lion said next surprised them. Xiao Yi, I am not as good as you, I give up. Huang Jin Shengshi said the last words with his remaining strength, and then fell down and fainted. The summoned beast form automatically exited and turned into Yantianjun and Ji Yao, who were in a coma. Several talented students who knew how to treat the disease rushed over and exclaimed after checking, Quickly carry them to the emergency room. Yantian and Ji Yao have suffered shattered bones all over their bodies, their internal organs are bleeding, their muscles are permanently damaged, and their lives are in danger. Let's carry him away quickly. If we're a second late, it will be too late and he will die. Several people carried Yantianjun and Ji Yao and hurriedly left everyone's sight, sprinting 1,000 meters towards the emergency room. A Tianjiahui students. Above the sky, a five-clawed golden dragon watched the scene, but did not try to stop it. The academy had a clear rule that killing each other was not allowed, and seriously injuring Yantian was already the maximum limit. Moreover, after slaughtering the pig as a token of respect, these talented students no longer dared to continue to smear the people. The talented students realized the power of the five-clawed golden dragon and all fell silent, standing there at a loss as to what to do. They were afraid that the five-clawed golden dragon would crush them into pulp with one claw. Liu Ya jumped out, hovering above everyone, and her voice penetrated out. Students, remember not to follow the trend and become keyboard warriors to smear people. Keyboard warriors will also be punished as they should be. Yan Tianjun and Ji Yao are typical examples. The reason why Yan Tianjun was able to promote this evil trend is also due to my responsibility. You must be very curious about why I chose to make a contract with Xiao Yi. Let me tell you today. Because The goddess teaching assistant spoke, attracting the attention of all the students present. Because Xiao Yi is excellent enough. Not only in terms of his character, but also in his talent as a beastmaster, he surpasses everyone in the world. Hearing this, all the talented students present were shocked. Crush everyone in the world. How much does the goddess love Xiao Yi for her to say such shameful words? They all clearly realized that the goddess assistant teacher already had someone in her heart and in her name. Oh, many people sighed. It doesn't matter whether Xiao Yi is a scumbag or not, what matters is that the goddess assistant Liu outrusts him. No matter how they smeared him, it will be of no avail. Looking at the majestic five-clawed golden dragon in the sky, the male genius students present felt a sense of frustration. The five-clawed golden dragon snatched the dream goddess of countless students and brought her home. The five-clawed golden dragon, who killed the 10-star Grandmaster Golden Lion in one move, is another matter whether he is the best in the world. But he is the well-deserved number one on the Kunpeng prodigy list. At the flash of white light, the five-clawed golden dragon disappeared, returning to its human form and transforming into Xiao Yi and Nangong Saya. Liu wanted to say something, but Xiao Yi returned to the ground and said with a faint smile, "Everyone, go back. It's time for class." Wherever he looked, no talented student dared to look him in the eye. Xiao Yi could feel their fear and respect at this moment. More than 200 talented students clasped their fists and wanted to leave. But at this moment, with a humming sound, the space of heaven and earth froze. The temperature dropped sharply, and everyone was unable to move, feeling cold all over. Xiao Yi looked up and saw a pretty figure in a bulky white robe slowly walking towards him from the other end of the road at the end of his field of vision. She moved very slowly, but the distance she covered seemed to be shortened into an inch. Each step covered hundreds of meters, and she was in front of everyone in just 2 or 3 steps. This cold temperament belongs to the dean. It's the goddess Dean Yunxi. Oh my god, I actually met Kunpeng Supreme Dean Yunxi. The talented students present exclaimed. Chapter 146, The Supreme is in person and severely punished. Yunxi, the dean of Kunpeng College, is the second-ranked supreme being in Magic City. She has not appeared in the world for many years and has not been active in the secular world. Most of the students have not seen her once in the 4 years since they entered school, and they have never even seen her from a distance. Therefore, the appearance of Dean Yunxi in everyone's sight caused a great shock in their hearts. But Dean Zheng has never been in charge of the affairs of the college. Why did she come out this time? Could it be to punish Xiao the scumbag and expel him? Once this idea came into my mind, it came to my mind uncontrollably. At the scene, a few talented students who were dissatisfied with Xiao Yi became excited and prepared to laugh at Xiao Yi. Yunxi looked around with her beautiful eyes, snorted coldly, and said in a cold voice, "Students, this matter cannot be let go like this." Xiao Yi's heart skipped a beat and she thought to herself that this was not good. She had been to Yunxi Villa yesterday, and she still remembered her contemptuous look at him. She thought he was a scumbag who was promiscuous, had no sense of boundaries, and would hook up with women casually. What does this old woman want to do? Is she trying to humiliate me in public? Xiao Yi clenched his fists and thought to himself, this old woman has reached menopause. She is probably lacking the nourishment of a man. Not only is she unkind, she has never even smiled. Perhaps sensing Xiao Yi's inner uneasiness, Liu gave him a reassuring look. Xiao Yi curled his lips, hoping that this old woman Yunxi would not go too far. Otherwise, when his mythical 5-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon reaches the Supreme Realm, he will definitely rise up, suppress her under him, and teach her a severe lesson. Liu rolled her eyes at him and knew from his expression that he was thinking about something obscene. Under the gaze of everyone present, Yunxi waved his hand. There was a flash of white light. Tianjun and Ji Yao, who were being rescued, appeared on the ground with various instruments and tubes still inserted into their bodies. The talented students were shocked. What was they trying to do? Yunxi's next actions revealed everyone's doubts. Yunxi took out a bottle of light blue unknown medicine, opened the bottle cap and sprinkled it on the 2 people on the ground. 10 seconds later, the 2 slowly woke up, their whole bodies aching and they couldn't stand up at all. They felt like Jill was going to explode every time they took a breath. Dean, hiss, Dean. After seeing the situation around them clearly, Tianjun and Ji Yao were shocked. Yunxi stared at the 2 of them coldly with her beautiful eyes, and said in a cold voice, "Tell us the motives, causes and consequences of smearing Xiao Yi," and apologized to Xiao Yi on the spot. The 2 were shocked when they saw the top supreme being in front of them. Looking at those cold eyes, Tianjun felt endless fear in his heart and stammered, "I?" Yunxi snorted coldly, "I don't want to say the same thing a second time." Wow, wow, wow. Ji Yao, who was more fragile at heart, was frightened and started crying. While sobbing, she told the whole story, including the incident where the man in black gave the artistic conception crystal to her. After telling the story in detail, Ji Yao wiped her tears and said guiltily, It's all our fault that we were too anxious to break through to the Grand Master realm, and were blinded by the artistic conception crystal of Weibao's artistic conception, so we took the lead in constantly smearing Xiaoyi. Xiaoya, I apologize to you. Looking at Ji Yao's apologetic eyes, Xiaoyi was full of surprise. It turns out that Ding Yanxi came to find out the truth. I wronged you, old woman. Waving his hand, Xiaoyi asked, did the man in black ask you to do all this? And he provided the information? Do you know who this man in black is? Ji Yao, he instructed us to do this, and he also provided the information. We don't know who he is. Xiaoyi frowned. Liuya touched her white chin. Perhaps she knew who the man in black was. In front of the top supreme being, the situation was stronger than the person. Yan Qianzhen lowered his proud head and said, Xiaoyi, it was indeed us who did this. No matter how the academy punishes us, we have no complaints and we are willing to be punished. After knowing the whole story, the talented students present were shocked. It turned out that the person who took the lead in smearing Xiaoyi was Yan Qianzhao, and he was Yan Tianzhen who sent out the challenge. There was also an unidentified man in black behind him. Xiaoyi looked at Yanxi curiously. This old woman said yesterday that he was a promiscuous scumbag. He wondered what kind of punishment this old woman would give him. Being stared at by Xiaoyi, Yanxi thought of the scene of licking the golden blood yesterday, and her pretty face couldn't help but blush slightly. Yanxi looked at Yan Tianzhen and the other two with cold eyes and said, after you recover, you will serve on the front lines for a year. Using the blood of other races to cleanse your evil thoughts. Strategies and frame-up should be used on foreign races, not on Xiaoyi, a good student in our school. Go to the front lines and fight against alien races for a year. Upon hearing this, all the talented students present trembled all over, with fear in their eyes. The front line is where people die. This death is a real death, not the kind of death in the Void God Tower that can be resurrected infinitely. Yan Qianzhen and Ji Yi's body shook violently. And they both revealed desperate looks. We are willing to be punished. Yeah, Yanxi nodded, waved her hand and sent the two of them back to the emergency room to continue the rescue. A bottle of light blue potion just now only woke the two people up temporarily, and it did not have much healing effect on their injuries. Just when the talented students thought the matter was over, Yanxi spoke again. After punishing the culprit, it's your turn next. For all students who follow this post, the amount of credits they need to earn will be doubled. Students who come here to watch the joke not only have to double their workload to get credits, but also have to copy the school rules 1,000 times. A teacher will follow up on the progress of the punishment. All the talented students. After a long silence, their wails broke out. No, Dean, if the workload doubles, I won't be able to graduate. I hate writing. I might as well be killed if I had to copy the school rules 1,000 times. Xiaoyi, I was wrong. I kowtow to you and apologize. Yes, Xiaoyi. Please persuade the dean to withdraw the punishment. We kowtow to you and apologize. Xiaoyi was unmoved. Keyboard warriors must also be responsible for their words and deeds. Will they show mercy when they follow the trend to smear others? No, they will only vent their one-sided remarks. Yanxi snorted coldly. Unfreezing the space and allowing the students to regain their mobility, he said, go back to class. Anyone who hasn't left in 1 second will have their punishment doubled. Upon hearing this, the talented students present ran away, fearing that they would run too slowly and upset the dean. After the scene became deserted, Xiaoyi took Nangong Xiao and Cheng Bingxi's hands and wanted to leave and go to class. But at this moment, a pair of jade feet appeared in front of him, and when his eyes moved upwards, he saw a bloated white robe and a beautiful and cold face. Xiaoyi paused and said with a smile, old lady, what instructions does the dean have? Fortunately, the old woman said it casually and almost said it to my face. Yanxi stared at him with a half smile and said, Xiaoyi, are you satisfied with this result? Chapter 147. What is it like to be caught saying bad things by the goddess Dean? Hearing this, Xiaoyi was filled with surprise. This goddess-like iceberg Dean, who had an arrogant and contemptuous attitude yesterday, became so approachable now and even asked him if he was satisfied. However, when the top supreme Dean asked, Xiaoyi responded with a smile, satisfied. Very satisfied. Yanxi smiled, and that smile was like the melting snow lotus of Tianshan Mountain, and a delicate and fresh flower bloomed. Yuya, who was standing behind him, was stunned. How could the emotionals and cold Dean actually smile? Cheng Bingxi and Nangong Xiao were both stunned. After a brief moment of daze, Xiaoyi raised his confusion and said, Dean, why do all the students in the academy think that Xiao is a promiscuous scumbag, and even the cold-blooded Dean yesterday? Before he could finish, Yanxi interrupted. Stop. Yesterday is yesterday, and today is today. As a good student of Kunpeng College, you are upright, of good character, and extremely talented. You have nothing to do with the word scumbag. I will never allow such a good student to be slandered. 3 good students, excellent qualities? Xiaoyi was stunned. Who is the 3 good student? Yanxi smiled faintly and said, You. Xiao Yi suddenly realized, oh, it turns out that I am a model student who has nothing to do with the scumbag. He felt a little happy, but was puzzled did this old woman's attitude change so much yesterday and today. So Xiao Yi asked tentatively, Dean, are you sure? Yunqi glared at him, if I say it's you, then it's you. If anyone disagrees, let him come find me. Xiao Yi said righteously, Dean, you really have a keen eye for talent. You have recognized my true nature hidden beneath the surface. Yes, I, Xiao, am that kind of good student who is upright, helpful, and has excellent qualities. Yes, you are. Which made her feel satisfied and happy. Yu Ya chuckled and gave him a coquettish look, saying, he got the advantage and still acts like a good boy. What a fool. Nan Gong Xiao and Shengbing. She pinched the corners of Xiao Yi's clothes nervously and didn't dare to make a sound. Xiao Yi, Dean, we'll go back first. After getting Yunqi's consent, Xiao Yi and the three women went towards the address. The three of them seemed to be living in harmony. Just like Yun Bing and I, Yunqi murmured to herself as she watched the figures going away. But the Beast Girls era has always been a monogamous society, and the three of them share one husband. So won't they be jealous of each other? She expressed her incomprehension. Suddenly, Yunqi frowned. Perhaps it was because she had just frozen the space and mobilized some of the Tao energy in her body. Affecting the already unstable template, her emotional nerves became numb and disconnected, and her whole body gradually became cold. The emotions she could experience, the sense of satisfaction and joy in her heart gradually decreased, as if they were about to disappear. No, Yunqi panicked, raised her hand and tightly grasped her heart, but even through the full chest, she could feel the temperature turning cold. A few days ago, after Xiao Yi gave her a massage, he said that the effect of solving the defects would last for 10 days or half a month, but after she used the power of the Top Supreme, it was shortened to 2 or 3 days. After figuring out the reason, Yunqi fell into deep anxiety. She didn't want to lose the hard-earned emotional experience. And she didn't want to go back to being that cold and inhuman robot. Xiao Yi, I need you. After leaving a word, she went into the back of the space and flew towards Xiao Yi's residence. When I arrived, I found Xiao Yi and the other three were discussing something, and they were still saying words like old woman, menopause, and Dean. Are they talking about Yun Bing or me? Yunqi's emotional nerves had not been completely numbed, and with only a little curiosity left, he planned to hide at the back of the space and listen. A living room on the first floor of Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa District. Xiao Yi, Liu Ya, Cheng Bingxi, and Nan Gong Xiao were talking around a small table. Xiao Yi looked surprised and said, Xiao, your grandmother changes her attitude so quickly. I went to her villa yesterday and was criticized by the old woman. She said I was a promiscuous scumbag who had no sense of boundaries and flirted with women casually. I don't know if it's menopause, but she told me not to contact Sister Yun Bing anymore. But today they said I was a good student. Nan Gong Xiao's expression changed when she heard this, and she said nervously, Xiao Yi, she is not my great-grandmother. Sister Yun Bing told me not to call her great-grandmother, but to call her sister. If she knew we were saying bad things about her behind her back, calling her an old woman, she would probably skin us alive. Xiao Yi didn't care. It's okay, we didn't mention her name. Even if she is the supreme, she can't sense it. Besides, she is nearly 2,000 years old. What else could she be but an old woman? Yunqi on the back side of the space looked dark and clenched her teeth. It turned out that the old woman Xiao Yi was talking about was her. As long as you are a woman, no one wants to be called old by others. But Xiao Yi not only said that she was an old woman, but also said that she had reached menopause. I was so angry. Liu Ya rolled her eyes at him and told the truth. I went to the dean yesterday to explain and cleared up the misunderstanding. Xiao Ya, you better be careful with your words. The dean just praised you and punished those students for you. Now you turn around and say that she is an old woman. Is that appropriate? Yunqi felt a little relieved. It was Liu Ya, the mature assistant who knew how to speak. But Xiao Yi's next words almost made her stamp her feet in anger. So it was you who went to explain. Xiao Yi suddenly realized, but then he said in a frustrated tone, but that old woman told me not to contact Sister Yun Bing in the future. Alas, it seems that I will not be able to see our goddess, the vice president, in the future. Why is it inappropriate to say it? Liu Ya frowned. The dean's wish was not something she could change. Kayakaka. At the back of the space, Yunqi was so angry that her silver teeth were clattering, and her cold and beautiful little face was full of anger. Old woman, old woman, old woman. Xiao Yi, this little bastard is really infuriating. Yunqi stamped her feet in anger. She appeared behind Xiao Yi, her whole body filled with coldness. Xiao Yi was still talking, but suddenly he felt cold all over, as if he had fallen into an ice cellar, freezing cold. Hey, didn't we just say a few words? Why are you all looking behind me? The three girls' smiles froze on their faces, and they stared at the back of him intently. An ominous premonition popped up in Xiao Yi's mind. He couldn't help but widen his eyes and twist his neck to look back. Xiao Yi was startled and saw a cold, deathly smiling face. His smile was fake, filled with a cold chill. Hello, Dean. Xiao Yi's face froze and he greeted him. Yunxi snorted, grabbed Xiao Yi's shoulder with one hand, and said in a cold voice, "Come with me, I have something to talk to you about." As soon as they finished speaking, the two of them disappeared together as if they had teleported away. "This assistant sister, will Xiao Yi be okay?" Cheng Bing she asked nervously. Yuya took a breath and said uncertainly, "It should be okay." Chapter 148. Sign a contract with Yunxi. Villano, 1 in the know, 1 Lakeview Villa area. Yunxi and Xiao Yi appeared in the living room on the first floor. Being stared at coldly, Xiao Yi was very panicked. He had just said bad things about her behind her back, but he didn't expect to be caught on the spot. "Dean, what a coincidence, we were just about to praise you." Xiao Yi scratched his head. Yunxi was still furious and stared at me coldly. Praise me for being an old woman? Dean, please listen to my excuse." Xiao Yi squatted on the sofa, walking on thin ice. Yunxi interrupted, "Don't bother to quibble." She took out a mirror and faced herself. Suddenly a beautiful face appeared in the mirror, with delicate features, tender skin, bright eyes and white teeth. She was so beautiful that she could captivate the whole country. Although his expression was a little cold, there was not a single wrinkle on his face. She raised her hand and pinched her red, tender, and white face, which was full of collagen, and it became a little redder as if water could be squeezed out. "Old woman," she murmured, and then her eyes suddenly focused on Xiao Yi, and said coldly, "Do you have any misunderstanding about me?" Xiao Yi was silent for a few seconds, then laughed awkwardly. "Maybe there really is some misunderstanding." Yunxi's beautiful eyes narrowed. Xiao Yi thought he could make a countergammerst. "I never paid attention to the dean's appearance before. I only paid attention to her age, so I unilaterally called her an old woman, but now that I have seen her charm, I feel that she is stunning." 2 words, awesome. No woman would resist others' compliments on her appearance. And Yunxi was no exception. He looked back at the mirror, looking at the stunning face in the mirror, and said with a strange look, "I look awesome." Xiao Yi nodded rapidly, yes. Yunxi felt that this adjective was strange, but she couldn't tell exactly why. Seeing that she still had a cold face, Xiao Yi thought she was still angry, so he decided to go all out and said in a dignified manner, "Dean, if you still care about those few words, punish me. It doesn't matter even if I have to sacrifice my cow." Yunxi rolled her eyes at him, her anger had almost subsided. So she started the formal conversation saying, "I won't stop you from contacting Yun Bing in the future. I won't stop you from signing a contract with Yun Bing. But before that, I have a question for you." Xiao Yi was overjoyed. "President, just ask me. I will tell you everything I know." Yunxi frowned. "Call me Sister Yunxi." "Xiao Yi, Sister Yunxi." Yunxi asked with curiosity in her beautiful eyes, "Can you solve the Beast Girl's physical defects? Or can you solve the Beast Girl's template problem?" Template problem. Ever since she and Yun Bing were promoted to the Supreme for more than 1,000 years, they have tried many methods. That not only have they not found an effective solution, but they have found that the extent of the template problem has become even greater. Xiao Yi was shocked. How could Dean Yunxi know such a confidential question? Did Liu Ya tell her? Seeing that he couldn't hide it anymore, Xiao Yi directly admitted, "That's right. I have ways to permanently solve physical defects and template problems." Yunxi's pupils shrank. What Liu Ya said was actually true. Xiao Yi could really solve the template problem. Incredible, very incredible. The Beast Girl awakening template is the law of this universe and no one can change it. There is a problem with the template, which involves some supreme law of the universe. Even if a saint above the Supreme comes, there is no way to repair or solve it. But only Xiao Yi, who was at the Grand Master level, could solve the template problem. Seeing her so surprised, Xiao Yi felt that he had said too much. So he spoke again. "Physical defects are caused by template problems. It is the negative impact caused by the instability of the template to temporarily solve physical defects. You only need massage. And if you want to permanently solve the physical defects, you can only solve the template problem completely. But solving the template problem not only requires a huge price, but it may not be successful in one go, and the probability of failure is still very high." Yunxi raised her hand. "So, if I sign a contract with you, I can increase the chances of success. Does signing a contract increase the probability?" Xiao Yi frowned. "What kind of statement is this? Did Liu Ya say that?" Since it was Liu Ya who said it, there was no need for him to correct her. The more demanding the conditions were, the less trouble he would have in the future, so he simply replied, "No." Yunxi was surprised. "Xiao Yi, concluding a contract with me is just the basis. If there is no contract, the probability of success is 0. Only if you sign a contract with me will I have a chance to solve the template problem. Yunshi suddenly realized that after signing a contract with him, it would cost a lot and the probability of success would be very small. Without a contract with him, he has no way to start. Perhaps Xiao Yi is the reincarnation of an ancient emperor who has mastered some supreme law. No wonder after the five-clawed golden dragon mutated, he possessed a life level comparable to that of an emperor. Perhaps, deep within his body, he is inheriting the innate skills of the ancient emperor from his previous life. This would explain why he could contract multiple beast girls and solve the template problem. Suddenly Yunshi asked nervously, "Then do you have a solution to the template problem between Yunbing and me?" Xiao Yi nodded. "Yes." Yunshi looked delighted. Xiao Yi stated the conditions, "But you have to sign a contract with me. Only after the contract is signed. And I terminate the contract with you after the template is repaired?" Yunshi looked at him eagerly. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. "You want to get it for free?" He shook his head and denied it. "No, the contract is the basis. Only by combining the treasure can your template be stable after the contract is cancelled. The template problem will still exist and even become more serious." Yunshi was silent. She had to sign a contract with him, which could not be terminated. That is to say, you must be bound to him. Yunshi was struggling internally. She personally had no resistance to signing a contract with Xiao Yi, but she couldn't do it if Yun Bing and she signed a contract with Xiao Yi together. What was this? Sharing a husband? She couldn't do it right now yet. She also couldn't compete with Yun Bing for the man. A few days ago, when Yun Bing went to the other dimension, he greeted her and said that there was a way to solve the template, but she needed to obtain several rule fragment crystals. It is estimated that Yun Bing had already informed Xiao Yi. After returning this time, they will sign a contract and then solve the template problem. Seeing the struggle on Yunshi's face, Xiao Yi smiled inwardly. You want to exploit a loophole and get something for free? No, Yun Bing can't do that either. Yunshi didn't speak for a long time. Xiao Yi stood up and prepared to leave. He smiled and said, "Sister Yunshi, are you done asking questions? I'll go back after that, bye." When Xiao Yi walked to the door, Yunshi's voice came. Etc. Xiao Yi was stunned. Could it be that Yunshi was willing to sign a contract with him? Yunshi appeared in front of him in a flash and pleaded, "I just used the power of the Supreme Realm, and my physical defects relapsed, so I would like to ask you to give me a massage." Chapter 149. Just massage the feet. Did you fulfill your promise for the whole month? Xiao Yi stopped and opened the viewing function of the template adjuster. Template exploration. SSS level Kunpeng template upgradable. Problem: when awakening the template, the crystal type of the rule fragment absorbed is wrong, causing the template to be unstable and unable to conclude a contract. Physical defects caused by unstable template. Numbness of emotional nerves. As the realm is improved, it will eventually become a person without emotions. Relapse. New human body massage atlas available. Sure enough, it relapsed. Xiao Yi had an idea of what was going on through the detection results given by the template adjuster. But on the surface he looked confused and puzzled, and asked, "Are you sure? After the last massage, the negative Daorime of the unstable template was removed by me. It can last for at least 10 days. Yunshi said she was sure. Xiao Yi frowned, grabbed the goddess Din Yunshi's soft and boneless little hand, returned to the sofa, and said, "Maybe you are sensing it wrong, let me check it out." Yunshi didn't know what this guy's purpose was, so she let him check. Xiao Yi had a serious expression on his face, pretending to be checking. He grabbed her little hand and pinched it here and pressed it there. Looking very well trained. The little hands are white, the fingers are slender, and the small nails are trimmed very short. A minute later, Yunshi's face flushed slightly and she asked, "Is the examination done?" Xiao Yi shook his head and continued to play with it for several minutes. His brows became more and more furrowed, and finally wrinkled into the shape of a character. Seeing his serious expression, Yunshi couldn't help but feel worried. Xiao Yi suddenly took a breath of cold air and said solemnly, "The situation is not good." Yunshi's heart skipped a beat. Her face tensed up, her beautiful eyes staring intently. Xiao Yi glanced at her nervous face, smiled inwardly, and said to himself, "Oh, this girl looked down on me yesterday. I was so embarrassed yesterday. I'll tease her today." Xiao Yi's face was solemn. He rolled up the sleeves of Yunshi's white robe and stepped directly to her white shoulders. And he pretended to examine and play with it for another 5 minutes. There was not a single flaw in Ubae's arms. They were as perfect as a work of art, and there was a unique and subtle body fragrance lingering on them. Yunshi was worried about the defect and her little face was very nervous. She did not stop Xiao Yi from playing with it. A few minutes later, Xiao Yi pulled his hand out and said seriously, "The situation is more serious than last time." Yunshi seemed not to be the supreme being at the top at this moment, but a little woman suffering from a serious illness. She asked worriedly, "Can you solve it?" Xiao Yi stared into her pure and beautiful eyes for more than 10 seconds before he slowly said, "Yes." Yunshi was delighted and relaxed all over. But then Xiao Yi changed the subject. By Yunqi's heart, which had been at ease, was once again in suspense. But what? Tell me. Xiao Yi smiled and said, you have to pay more. Yunqi. Rolling her eyes at him speechlessly, Yunqi pursed her lips, her beautiful eyes dim, and said, no problem. The reward last time was to teleport a little Pixiu, this time I can give you something better. A what-I'm supreme level space shield, a what-I'm supreme level space attack, or a supreme level monster crystal core, all will do. This guy was so mean he didn't make things clear all at once, which made her feel very anxious and worried. When he heard the type of reward, Xiao Yi's eyes lit up. Good stuff, all good stuff. Supreme level disposable items. Whether they are offensive or defensive, require at least a great venerables upper grade crystal core, or even a supreme level lower grade crystal core to purchase on the market. Xiao Yi patted his strong chest and assured, Sister Yunqi, no matter how serious the defect is, I can solve it, leave it to me. A smile appeared on Yunqi's beautiful face. I believe you, let's get started now. Xiao Yi nodded and took out a new massage atlas from the template adjuster that could temporarily solve the problem. After reading it in his mind, Xiao Yi frowned and thought to himself that it was not good. He told Yunqi that the situation was more serious, but in fact her condition was better than last time. The ACU point route in this massage atlas was simpler, it only required massaging the feet, while last time it was the whole legs. Just as his thoughts were in a mess, a pure white body suddenly appeared in his field of vision. Yunqi took off the bulky white robe and was now completely naked. According to Xiao Yi, the situation this time was more serious than last time, so she thought that the whole body needed to be massaged. Xiao Yi was stunned. This was a true work of art, with a perfect body, golden proportions, and snow white all over. But he was a little embarrassed about what to do next. The goddess Dean was completely naked. So should he just massage her feet? Come with me. Yunqi walked in front with her sexy waist twisted, and brought Xiao Yi into a bedroom. I'm ready. She lay there, her long eyelashes trembling, indicating that she was not calm inside. Her small and delicate tears turned red, and she was also shy. Good. Xiao Yi decided to go all out. He put on gloves to prevent his hands from being pickled, and then began to massage according to the roots and techniques in the massage atlas. Not only does this pair of white and tender feet have no peculiar smell, but they also exude a faint body fragrance. Rub, hammer, stab, and knead. Xiao Yi has already reached the level of massage master, and has mastered various massage techniques. At the same time, the law-level treasure in the system space, the Xuanhuang gem, was also constantly absorbing the negative Daorim energy that Xiao Yi had drawn out from Yunqi's body after the essence. It spit out a ball of pure Daorim energy that floated in the system space. Yunqi felt so comfortable all over that she almost screamed out loud. But luckily she managed to hold it back, otherwise she would have been so embarrassed. Half an hour later, Xiao Yi finished the massage according to the route in the massage catalog. The only part that could be massaged was the feet. If I stop now, Yunqi might realize that I was just bluffing her. So Xiao Yi gritted his teeth and threw away the massage catalog. Pressed on other parts. All the way up. From the bottom to the top. Press wherever there is an ACU point. Rub, hammer, prick, and knead. Pay special attention to key areas. Fortunately, Xiao Yi already had the massage technique to perfection, without revealing any flaws. He pushed forward like an ancient mighty being, sweeping away his invincible hands. An hour later, the massage was over. Xiao Yi ran out as if escaping and came to the living room. He took off his gloves and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, and said with a guilty conscience, it was a close call, luckily I managed to fool it. Otherwise I would have been beat. After a while, the goddess Yunqi came out wearing a bulky white robe. Seeing that Xiao Yi's forehead was covered with sweat, she took out a bottle of golden medicine from the storage space and handed it to him. It takes a lot of strength and energy to fix the defect. Drink some tonic to replenish it. In Yunqi's opinion, he should have mobilized some kind of supreme law of Taoism to remove the negative laws caused by the instability of the template. Xiao Yi had no idea what she was imagining. Feeling guilty at first, he took the golden potion with a serious face, opened the bottle cap, and started drinking it gulps by gulps. He burped. Xiao Yi felt the blood in his body boiling. This was so nourishing, its effect was comparable to that of 1,000-year-old ginseng. He almost had a nosebleed. Chapter 150 Supreme Recommendation, Holy Spirit Secret Realm. Xiao Yi would never admit that the cold sweat was caused by guilty conscience. He patted his stomach and laughed. I almost collapsed from exhaustion after what I did just now. This bottle of supplies came just in time to offset the consumption just now. Yunqi stared at him quietly with her beautiful eyes. Perhaps it was because her physical defect had been temporarily resolved. Her icy temperament was still there, but the bone-chilling chill had diminished a lot. And a hint of blush appeared on her beautiful little face. Thinking of the scene just now, she felt shy. At this moment, Xiao Yi's ICDN was very beautiful. The 1,000-year-old ice had melted away, and there was a little more humanity in his eyes. He replenished his medicine and cared about his consumption, which was a milestone of change. Being stared at by Xiaoyi, Yunxi moved the drum awkwardly. He stared at her intently, just like before, when she was admired by him without any covering on her body. Xiaoyi coughed, his old face flushed, and he asked, "Dean, where's the reward?" This guy is not satisfied without taking advantage. He just looked and touched and took great advantage. And now he is asking for compensation? Yunxi's face turned cold. "Call me Sister Yunxi." Xiaoyi. Sister Yunxi. Yunxi's little face returned to smile, and she waved her hand, and 3 things suddenly appeared on the table. She stretched out her slender fingers and introduced them one by one. This red item is a one-time attack item. When used, it can release a spatial blade and automatically lock onto the enemy. Its power is equivalent to a full-strength attack from a low-level supreme. This blue item is a one-time defensive item. When used, it will release a space barrier shield that can offset the full force attack of a low-level supreme being. If it is not attacked after being released, it can last for an hour. The last one is a magic beast crystal core, a supreme lower-grade crystal core in the body of a low-level supreme magic beast. Xiaoyi rubbed his hands excitedly, his eyes shining, and asked, "Give me all these?" Yunxi rolled her eyes at him and said, "You wish you can only choose one of them. It will take me a lot of effort to make these props." Xiaoyi looked at the 3 good things. He wanted them all. Yunxi chuckled and said, "Pick one first. You can get the rest later when you have a chance. I'll come to you for a massage again after 10 days. Okay. Xiaoyi picked up the blue item, a life-saving defensive item. "This is it." Yunxi waved his hand and collected the other 2, including the black gloves that Xiaoyi had just taken off on the table. This black glove had been in close contact with her and was stained with many of her scents, so it would be better to put it away. The matter was over, but Xiaoyi was not in a hurry to leave. Instead, he continued to ask about the matter. "Sister Yunxi, do you know where the 2 types of magical beasts with life attributes and destruction attributes are more numerous?" Qingbingxi's SS level 9 tailed fox template. The upgrade conditions are: 50 fragments of the rules of creation were crystallized, 50 fragments of the rules of life were crystallized, and 50 fragments of the rules of destruction were crystallized. The life and destruction types are extremely rare and are not available at all in the actual combat base. In desperation, Xiaoyi had to ask the top supreme Dean Yunxi. "Life attribute, destruction attribute?" Yunxi raised her eyebrows. Xiaoyi nodded and complained, "I don't know if they were all destroyed. The library has records of the existence of the actual combat base. But now there is nothing." Yunxi curled his lips and said, "There are a large number of magical beasts with these 2 attributes in the Holy Spirit secret realm, and they are almost extinct in other places." "Why is it extinct?" "Because of these 2 kinds of magical beasts. She captured them all across the country when she was bored, and threw them all into the Holy Spirit secret realm until they were extinct." "And she, Yunxi, is the owner of the Holy Spirit secret realm? Owning a secret realm that can produce infinite rich resources. Her net worth is terrifying. She is a top rich woman." Xiaoyi was delighted. "Holy Spirit secret realm? A secret realm controlled by the country. It will be opened every month, and anyone can enter with a ticket." Yunxi shook her head. "A Holy Spirit secret realm is a private secret realm that will only be open once a year. The realm is limited to the Grand Master realm. The ticket is a supreme recommendation. The next opening time will be in 3 months." Xiaoyi's face turned dark. It would not open until 3 months later, which was too long. Yunxi narrowed her beautiful eyes and asked curiously, "Do you really need these 2 magical beast materials?" Xiaoyi was discouraged. "Yeah." Yunxi took out the communicator, typed a few words and sent them out, then said with a smile, "Good news, the opening time of the Holy Spirit secret realm has been advanced. And you can enter it this afternoon and go back and prepare. I will take you to the entrance of the secret realm at 2 o'clock in the afternoon." Xiaoyi showed joy on his face, and stood up to go back to prepare. "Thank you, Sister Yunxi." The other side. The supreme leaders of the Hong family, Titan Academy, the Young family, the City Lord's mansion, and the Qing family all received the news that the Holy Spirit secret realm would be opened ahead of schedule. These families are all supreme families. Every year when the Holy Spirit secret realm opens, they have the qualifications to enter and plunder resources. Each supreme family has 2 places. The Cheng family is the family of the Vara Supreme Chenggang. After receiving the news, Chenggang hurriedly called Chengyi, the president of the Kunpeng College Student Union, and asked him to prepare to enter the Holy Spirit secret realm at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Titan Academy. Yang Zhengming, the son of the Titan Supreme, was originally a 10-star Grand Master, but today he entered the realm of Grand Master. The Titan Supreme also allowed him to enter the Holy Spirit secret realm for training. The Young family, also a supreme family, sent out the Young Master. The City Lord's mansion sent out the City Lord's daughter. A stunningly beautiful woman, who had cultivated to the Grand Master level in human form and is still at the pinnacle of Grand Master level. The Hong family, the top supreme patriarch of the Hong family, found Hong Tao and asked him to send a Grand Master to the Holy Spirit secret realm. Coming out of his father's villa, Hong Tao felt incredible. The Holy Spirit secret realm is a very special secret realm, controlled by the top supreme Kun Peng Wing Yunshi. There are many precious and rare resources in it. It is only open once a year. If you want to enter, you can only rely on the recommendation of the Supreme, and each Supreme has only 2 recommendations each year. In other words, only a pair of Grand Master level contractors can be recommended to enter. As far as he knew, the next opening would be after March, but he didn't think about bringing it forward. Fat woman, good news. Hong Tao returned to his villa happily and shouted inside. And a huge fat woman weighing 300 kilograms appeared in his sight. She was his contractor wife. The fat woman was very dissatisfied and said, "Why call me fat woman? It's so ugly, call me wife." Wife. Hong Tao was very happy and said, "The Holy Spirit's secret realm has been opened. We can obtain life substances and destruction substances again to improve your weight." The fat woman's sudden weight gain is a physical defect caused by template problems. As her realm improves, she will become even fatter. However, the medicine made by special means using life substances and destructive substances can slightly improve this defect. But even this tiny improvement was enough to make Hong Tao ecstatic. Family members, who can understand the pain of feeling like a mountain is pressing down on you every night? Chapter 151. The City Lord's Daughter Mu Qingzhu. The fat woman was very surprised when she heard this, and hurriedly asked Hong Tao to arrange a pair of Grand Master level contractors. Hong Tao took out the communicator and sent a few commands. The fat woman thought of something and called him. "Wait. The Holy Spirit's secret realm can only be entered once a year, so we must maximize the benefits." Hong Tao was puzzled. What? A heavy-duty fat woman sat on the stool, and the stool creaked as if it couldn't bear the heavy weight. Why not arrange a Grand Master level warrior who has high combat power but is not stubborn? Give him some mirror-breaking potion and rage potion, and let him enter the secret realm to forcibly break through the venerable realm, harvest the monsters to the greatest extent, and obtain life substances and destruction substances. Hong Tao's eyes lit up. He clapped his hands and said, "Okay, I'll do as you say." A forced breakthrough would have a huge impact on one's foundation, and the violent potion would even overdraw one's life. These potions had extremely serious side effects and were generally not used. But at the critical moment, Hong Tao thought this method was very good. Taking out the communicator, he issued an order and soon found such a death warrior. A Beastmaster School in Demon City. Kun Peng Academy. Outside the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area. On the way home, Xiao Yi felt that something was wrong with his aura. The power of his artistic conception had condensed into substance, and all kinds of mysterious insights surged into his heart. The power of artistic conception is released outward, forming a force and transforming into a domain within the field. Not good. I'm about to break through to the venerable level. Xiao Yi's face changed and he quickly went to Villa No. 10. Under the surprised gaze of Liuya, who was eating the devil pepper, he rushed to the underground training room. What is he doing, so anxious? In the underground training room, Xiao Yi stopped the 5-clawed golden dragon from practicing. Xiao Yi breathed a sigh of relief. That was a close call. After breaking through the venerable realm, one no longer meets the requirements to enter the Grand Master realm of the secret realm. The 5-clawed golden dragon flashed white light and returned to its human form. A beautiful young woman, Nan Gongxia, appeared on the ground. She looked at Xiao Yi with resentment on her face, and her white fingers made crackling sounds when she pinched them. Her breakthrough was abruptly interrupted as Xiao Yi didn't give a reasonable explanation. She wanted to hit him. "Listen to me." Xiao Yi explained the reason to her and told her about the secret realm of the Holy Spirit. The 9-tailed fox template upgrade materials can be obtained in the Holy Spirit secret realm. The 3-tailed white fox that had also stopped practicing nearby jumped into Xiao Yi's arms with great surprise. "Xiao, if you want to hit someone, hit me. White fox can also upgrade its template." "I'm so happy." Nan Gongxia was also a reasonable person. After knowing the reason, her anger subsided immediately. She walked over and pinched the 3 tails of the holy white fox, and said with a smile, "No, if you get beat on black and blue, Xiao Yi will be heartbroken." "Xiao Yi, shall we set off now?" Nan Gongxia was trying hard to hold back the artistic conception power that was about to explode in her body, for fear that she would be promoted to the venerable realm by accident. Xiao Yi smiled. "The secret realm will be opened at 2 p.m. We will go to the Dean at 12 noon. Nan Gongxia was anxious. She was afraid she couldn't hold it in anymore. Dang dang dang, several footsteps sounded. And Liuya came out from the stairs and said, "The Holy Spirit's secret realm is a dimensional space attached to the main space blue star. There are 2 overlord level groups in it, namely life attribute magical beasts and destruction attribute magical beasts. Life attribute monsters are rare, but each one is powerful, very united, and has a long lifespan. There are a large number of destructive monsters, ranging from low to high levels. They are almost scattered, and most of them only live for 50 years. In addition to the crystal cores, these two magical beasts also contain life crystals and destruction crystals. They can be used to extract light substances and destruction substances. They are extremely precious. Since she had never entered the Holy Spirit secret realm, Liuya's understanding of the situation was limited, but she suggested that Nangong Xiao enter the secret realm before breaking through to the venerable realm. To P. Mayan, she appeared in the living room on the first floor of Villa No. 10. To people can go. Who do you want to go with, Xiaoyi? Xiaoyi pointed at Nangong Xiao. Yun Shi sensed it and was shocked. Grandmaster Peak. What a fast cultivation speed. She remembered that yesterday, after the five-clawed golden dragon mutated its rowley turned to the first level, it only took one day to break through to the peak of the Grandmaster level? Even she couldn't catch up with this speed. Not only her. Any other supreme being in the world is not as brilliant as Xiaoyi. Even the holy realm above the supreme being is not as terrifying, right? Is this the reincarnation of the ancient emperor? After taking a deep look at Xiaoyi, Yunshi put away his thoughts, waved his hand to cover up the aura of the two people, and then a white light flashed. Xiaoyao, Nangong Xiao, and she disappeared on the spot. Demon City Base City, City Lord's Mansion. The City Lord's Hall. There are already more than 10 Grandmasters waiting here. Cheng Yi and his contractor, Yan Junming and his contractor, the City Lord's daughter and a handsome young man, the young master of the Yun family and his contractor, the Han family's assassins and their contractors. The eyes of the men present were all focused on the City Lord's daughter. Mu Qingzu, intentionally or unintentionally. She has skin whiter than snow, a proud figure, and as tall. She is a typical stunning woman with long black hair. At the age of 20, she has reached the 10-star Grandmaster realm. She is known as the #1 prodigy in the Magic City, and no one can match her talent. What's even more special is that this person has an extremely arrogant personality. Ever since he awakened his template, he has disdained to sign a contract with any member of the opposite sex. He has been cultivating in human form to the peak of the Grandmaster realm, and has been in the template uncontracted state until now. A hint of pride flashed across the face of the handsome young man. He approached Mu Qingzu and said, Zuer, I will escort you on this trip to the secret realm. You can just harvest life substances and destruction substances. Mu Qingzu glanced at him and said disaffectedly, Escort, you can't even be. Also, please call me Mu Qingzu. Being ruthlessly rejected, the handsome young man Zhigangtai licked his smiling face and said, Okay, Zuer. Mu Qingzu ignored him. Zhigangtai chuckled and didn't take it seriously. Instead, he looked around with a show-off look. Chenya, Yang Junming, and the young master of the Yun family. They looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. A most licking dog in the Magic City, Zhigangtai, is really a licker. Is this a dog licker? This is brain dead? TSK. You'll end up with nothing left. Stay away from licking dogs. At this moment, Yunshi appeared in the center of the hall with Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao. And the scene suddenly became quiet. The mayor of the Demon City Base City, a tall and strong man with a square face, Mu Cheng, stood up from his chair and said with a smile, Tan Peng Supreme, you are here. Yunshi nodded and said calmly, Is everyone here? City Lord Mu Cheng, everyone is here, just waiting for you to open the entrance to the secret realm. While speaking, he sensed Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao all frowned, and thought to himself, their auras were concealed. Even I couldn't sense their specific realms, but their bone structure and age seemed to be just adults. This. The City Lord Mu Cheng was shocked. An 18-year-old Grandmaster was so terrifying. Even though he had just entered the realm of Grandmaster, his aptitude was so astonishing that it was even more terrifying than his daughter Mu Qingzu, the #1 prodigy in Demon City. Chapter 152, Crystallization of Destruction Rule Fragments. Mu Cheng appeared in front of Xiaoyi with a flash of his figure, and said with a smile, Supreme Kunpeng, what are the names of these two? We are students of Kunpeng Academy. Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao, Yunshi. Mu Cheng patted Xiaoyi on the shoulder and praised him. What a talented young man. At such a young age. This. Suddenly he gasped. When he came into contact with Xiaoyi's body, he was able to test out his true realm. A peak of Grand Master. Mu Cheng was shocked. At the age of 18. He was already at the peak of Grand Master level. He felt that all his cognition had been overturned. At the muffled, Xiaoyi's body detected the external forces detection. The sublimated high-level body automatically rebounded and shook out Mu Cheng's detection force. Mu Cheng was shocked and took a step back. Lang smiled and said, Qingzu, you have an opponent now. Mu Qingzu, who was daydreaming, shrugged her shoulders when she heard what was said. She didn't take Xiaoyi seriously at all and thought to herself, what a little brat. Cheng Yi and Yang Junming agreed with Mu Cheng's words and both smiled. The young master of the Yun family and the assassins of the Han family stood by and remained unmoved. The time has come, the Holy Spirit secret realm is officially opened. Yunshi raised his hand and a space crack appeared next to him. It was pitch black and seemed endless and deep. She gave everyone a teleportation item. Whenever you encounter danger, crush the teleportation item and you can return here instantly. After you come back, you will not be able to enter the secret realm again. If you don't crush the teleportation prop, it will automatically open and teleport you out after 24 hours. City Lord Mu Cheng warned. Don't try to find loopholes and throw away the teleportation props if you don't want to survive alone in the huge Holy Spirit secret realm for a year. Chengya, Yang Junming, a young master of the Yun family, and others expressed their understanding. At Yunshi's signal, everyone entered the space crack in pairs. The dog licker Jigangtai walked in front very gentlemanly. Licking his face and smiling, Zuor, follow me, I will lead the way for you. As he said that, he stepped into the space crack. Mu Qingzu curled her lips and took a step back into the crack. Only Chen Yi, Xiao Yi and 4 others were left at the scene. Chen Yi raised his eyebrows and said righteously, Uncle Xiao, don't be nervous. I will protect you after we enter the secret realm. At Yunshi, Uncle Xiao's safety is in my hands as long as I'm here. He won't lose a single hair. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Chen Yi, you'd better protect yourself. As he spoke, Xiao Yi pulled Nangong Xiao and stepped into the space crack. Uncle Xiao is so thin-skinned. Chen Yi laughed contemptuously and followed the contractor into the space crack. With a humming sound, the space crack closed and disappeared. Only 2 supreme beings, Mu Cheng and Yunshi, were left at the scene. Mu Cheng smiled and said, Supreme Kun Peng, your academy really has a pair of good seedlings. He wanted to recruit him. Yunshi glanced at him coldly and said calmly, don't try to take advantage of my student, he has his own way to go. After saying this, Yunshi disappeared. Mu Cheng's face dark and the only people who dared to talk to him like that were Yunshi and the other cold-blooded women. The other side. Dimensional space, the secret realm of the Holy Spirit. The territory here is extremely large. With mountains, plateaus, plains, rivers, and seas, and its scope is comparable to half of Dragon Country. Dragon Country is the country where Xiao Yi is located. In a mountain range somewhere on the edge. A white light flashed, and Xiao Yi and Nangong Xiao appeared here. What caught Xiao Yi's eyes was a field of emerald green grass and tall ancient trees, but on each huge ancient tree was hanging colorful fruits. What is this? Sticky? Suddenly, streams of mucus flowed down from the sky and dripped onto Nangong Xiao in Xiao Yi's combat suits. It stinks. Nangong Xiao got a little on her hand and felt disgusted. Xiao Yi looked up in the sky and was suddenly shocked. Behind him stood a black dinosaur, more than 10 meters tall. The mucus dripping down was the saliva flowing out of the dinosaur's bloody mouth above his head. A giant black dinosaur was staring at the 2 of them hungrily with its eyes, and it roared. Roar, and its bloody mouth full of sharp teeth bit towards the 2 of them. Fuck you. Xiao Yi yelled angrily. Hugged Nangong Xiao's delicate body and bounced to the side, narrowly avoiding the attack. After observing the situation clearly, Nangong Xiao, who was covered in mucus, was so angry that her body was heaving. Her beautiful eyes were full of anger. She said angrily, you are so annoying. Xiao Yi, let me solve it. As soon as she finished speaking with a bang, Nangong Xiao kicked her feet and her body shot towards the black dinosaur like a cannonball. Roar, the tail of a giant dinosaur over 10 meters tall swung over suddenly. Seeing that Nangong Xiao was about to be hit by the thick-skinned and powerful tail, she not only did not turn around, but kicked it away instead. There was a loud bang. A black dinosaur was kicked more than 100 meters away. Its body flew backwards and knocked down more than 10 giant trees. Then it slid out a long ditch on the ground and finally collapsed in the deep ditch like a dead dog. The black dinosaur monster at the 10-star Grand Master level was kicked to death by Nangong Xiao, who was at the 10-star Grand Master level. Nangong Xiao landed gently on the ground, a look of loss appearing on her little face. The dinosaur was deader than dead, and Xiao Yi asked her what happened. Nangong Xiao raised her little feet. Her right shoe had exploded and shattered in the previous battle. Her white and tender feet had nowhere to put and were exposed to the air. My realm improved too quickly, and I didn't have time to update my shoes. They couldn't withstand the power of the Grand Master. So they're gone. Nangong Xiao's face was full of disappointment. She didn't want to venture into the Holy Spirit secret realm barefoot. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he took out a pair of shoes from the system space and threw them to her. At the same time, he started the extraction function of the template adjuster. Extracting rule fragments. Grandmaster level destruction at Rebuke Monster. Successfully extracted a piece of destruction rule fragment crystal. After the supreme extraction power descended, the giant black dinosaur that had just died began to twitch all over, and an aura of decay and ruin emanated from its body. As the aura became stronger, its entire body finally turned into powder and dissipated into the air. In the system space, a unique regular fragment crystal suddenly appeared. It exudes a heart-pounding aura of destruction. Xiao Yi was very happy as he got a destructive rule fragment crystal just after arriving at the Holy Spirit secret realm. Good luck in getting off to a good start. So, Xiao Yi pulled Nan Gongxia, who had not yet had time to change into a full pair of shoes, and started running excitedly to look for the monster. Nan Gongxia looked at the shoes of different colors and types on her left and right feet, her little face lost in thought. Before Xiao Yi and the other man had run 10 meters, the ground suddenly shook and huge footsteps were heard from all directions. Dinosaurs, all dinosaurs, they are black all over, with ligamentous muscles, short forelimbs and thick hind limbs. This is a herbivorous dinosaur, a tree dragon. Looking at the numerous tree dragons surrounding him, Xiao Yi was not afraid and said, his eyes sparkled and he rubbed his hands together and said excitedly, crystallization S. All crystals. Chapter 153 Destruction of Matter, Terrifying Destructive Power. In just a few seconds, more than a dozen giant tree dragons came to the front, and after an angry roar, they attacked the two of them. They all jumped high into the air and then fell down with a powerful impact force like a mountain pressing down on one's head. Xiao Yi and Nan Gongxia looked at each other and dodged to the side as if they had telepathy. The tree dragon hit the ground, stirring up dust all over the sky and limiting the vision. Xiao Yi and the other man took advantage of this opportunity to attack the tree dragons. But just one punch and one kick, he knocked down a tree dragon. Although the tree dragons are large in size, the aura of these tree dragons is only at the level of Grand Master. For the Grand Master rate for the two people at the level of Grand Master 10, it is as easy as killing a chicken. Bang bang bang. Of the fists and kicks of the two men, within 2 or 3 seconds, they could seriously injure a Grand Master level tree dragon and make it unable to move. 2 minutes later, all the dozen or so Grand Master level tree dragons that had besieged them were destroyed. Of a click, Xiao Yi and Nan Gongxia all landed gently on the ground, clapped their hands, and said with a smile, done. These are all magical beasts with destructive attributes, but Xiao Yi did not feel anything special about their attack methods. He was more like a reckless man who liked close combat and would attack anyone he saw. Nan Gongxia looked at the shoes on her feet and found they were intact. She took out a sharp knife from her backpack and stabbed it into the heart of the tree dragon at her feet with a swish sound. The skin was torn apart and blood was oozing out. A middle-grade crystal core of a Grand Master was picked out with the knife. Nan Gongxia did not stop and continued to open the tree dragon's head after breaking it open. She reached her hand in and fiddled around inside for a while, then she took out a black substance wrapped in skin that exuded a heart-pounding smell. This is the destruction of matter. Seeing it for the first time, Nan Gongxia curiously tore off the skin, and immediately the black destructive substance dissipated through the air. Then a shocking scene appeared. A trace of destructive matter came into contact with the huge ancient tree, and the ancient tree seemed to have lost its vitality and quickly withered in the blink of an eye. It collapsed and turned into a rotten, shrunken piece of wood that fell to the ground. A trace of destructive matter drifted into the green grass after a few seconds. The lush grass full of vitality turned into withered, yellow and smelly dead grass. A trace of destructive matter drifted onto Nan Gongxia's white tight combat suit. The combat suit exploded with a loud bang and turned into powder that floated in the air. Nan Gongxia lost her combat suit, revealing a white face, a curvy figure, and was completely stunned. Xiao Yi quickly gathered the black destructive matter in the air and wrapped it around his skin. Then he breathed a sigh of relief and said, Xiao, are you okay? Nan Gongxia is not an exhibitionist, she screamed. Her pretty face flushed, and jumped into a dense bush. Xiao Yi starts the extraction function of the template adjuster. Grandmaster level destruction type monster. Successfully extracted 6 destruction type rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level destruction type monster. Successfully extracted 8 creation type rule fragment crystals. A vast and supreme extraction force descended, and every seriously injured tree dragon that fell to the ground was eventually turned into powder and floated in the air, leaving no trace. What puzzled Xiao Yi was that the power of template extraction did not descend on the 4-star Grandmaster tree dragon whose crystal core and destructive matter had been dug out. Only a monster with a complete body, that is on the verge of death or has died recently, can extract the rule fragment crystals. A template adjuster clears up the confusion. Xiao Yi understood and put the tree dragon body on the ground into the system space with the idea of not wasting anything. It would be a good idea to use the tree dragon as food. Xiao Yi, help me. Nan Gongxia's cry came from the dense grass. Xiao Yi frowned, kicked his feet, and shot out like a cannonball, flying into the grass. Bugs. Nan Gongxia's face was filled with panic on that delicate white body. A small bug was crawling very fast around various parts of the body. She kept hitting the bug with both hands, but couldn't hit it. Put down the bug. Let me do it, Xiao Yi said in a deep voice and took action immediately. With a snap, Xiao Yi slapped the drum with great force, leaving a red palm print. Xiao Yi, you heard me. Nan Gongxia glared with her beautiful eyes. Xiaoyi scratched his head awkwardly and said, "Sorry, I missed." So Xiaoyi focused his attention on the crawling trajectory of the little insect, fixed his eyes, and slapped the drum with great force again. Now, a red palm mark appeared on both sides. But the bug was not hit. Nangon Xiao pouted and said dissatisfiedly, "Xiaoyi, you did this on purpose." Then the bug kept crawling on the fruit of the young woman. Xiaoyi was about to attack and decided to use his maximum strength to kill it with one blow. But Nangon Xiao said anxiously, "Stop. You wanna blow me up with such force, be gentle." The corner of Xiaoyi's mouth twitched, and he withdrew his hand angrily. Then, there was a bang. A powerful artistic conception burst out from Xiaoyi's body, and he crushed the little bug. The power of the supreme attribute of artistic conception is arrogant and overbearing, shocking all heretics. In less than half a second, the little bug trembled all over, fell to the ground, and was stepped on to death by Nangon Xiao. Okay, even a 10-star grandmaster is afraid of little bugs. Xiaoyi was speechless. She could just release her own energy and explode the little bugs. Nangon Xiao's face shrank in grievance. "I was just scared, and in a hurry I forgot how to deal with it." Xiaoyi's face turned dark. She could even kick a giant dinosaur to death with one kick. But she couldn't do anything to a small insect. He took out a new combat suit from the system space and threw it to Nan Xiao, staring at her intently and asking her to put it on. After getting dressed, Nangon Xiao rubbed her perky breasts and glared at Xiaoyi with her beautiful eyes. What a joke! Why is he using so much force? It hurts so much. And the two of them came out of the bush, and Xiaoyi took out the destructive substance wrapped in the tree dragon's skin, and said in amazement, "This thing is simply the natural enemy of living things. It can destroy life and material structures." Nangon Xiao stared at it with a look of trepidation and said, "Sister Liuya said that 1 gram of this thing can be sold for a grandmaster's lower grade crystal core, and 10 grams can be sold for a grandmaster's lower grade crystal core. It is very valuable." Xiaoyi weighed and felt that it was only half a gram. Half a gram can be sold for a small sum. So Xiaoyi threw it to Nangon Xiao and said, "Here you go, hurry up, our mission this time is very heavy. We need to kill 50 Grandmaster level dinosaurs with the attribute of destruction and 50 Grandmaster level monsters with the attribute of life." Nangon Xiao took the small leather package with a look of fear on her face and quickly put it into the small backpack on her back, fearing that it would get entangled if she was a little slower. After putting away the destructive material, she became lively again and said proudly, "I'm the best at killing dinosaurs. I can kill one with one kick." Chapter 150. For the real dragon appears, King Long is shocked. Xiaoyi thought that in the future he should let Nangon Xiao, Sheng Bingxi and others go to the Zushan Tower to kill monsters more often to improve their combat experience. Otherwise, no matter how powerful the mythical template is, it will be useless if they do not make full use of it. They will still be a fledgling and unable to cope with the rapidly changing battlefield environment. Improving templates is one thing, combat experience is another. Nangon Xiao's beautiful eyes suddenly focus, and she pointed to the sky in the distance and said excitedly, "A 2-winged green dragon is flying towards us. Leave this 2-winged green dragon to me." A blurry dot in the distant sky grew bigger and bigger, and finally became clear. It flapped its wings and quickly flew towards Xiaoyi. "Wait!" Xiaoyi stopped her. "This giant dragon looks so familiar. It seems to be Chengyi's summoned beast." Nangon Xiao tilted her head. "Is that the student council president?" Before Xiaoyi could reply, a double-winged green dragon came closer, bringing with it a violent gust of wind that rustled the ancient trees. "Uncle Xiao!" The double-winged green dragon let out a hearty cry, sounding very excited. "I'm so lucky. It turns out to be you too." The 2-winged blue dragon of the 5-star Grandmaster realm heard the sound of fighting here not long ago and flew over here. Xiaoyi greeted him and said, "Didn't you see the others?" Double-winged dasher dragon. "No, the Holy Spirit secret realm is very large if you add the sea area. This secret realm is half the size of Dragon Country. It is a great fortune to meet Uncle Xiao here." Half of Dragon Country? Xiaoyi took a breath of cold air. It was so huge that it was frightening. Each pair of contractors was teleported and randomly he and Shengyi were so close that he didn't know if it was specially arranged by the dean. The double-winged green dragon could not sense the specific realm aura of Xiaoyi and Nangon Xiao, but it estimated that they had just entered the Grand Master realm after all. They were too young. Then, a double-winged green dragon flapped its wings and laughed. "Uncle Xiao, and Nangon, please rest assured, you can follow me on this trip to the secret realm, and I guarantee that you will make a lot of money." Nangon Xiao looked at it with suspicion. "Are you so kind?" Double-winged dasher dragon. "Hey, Uncle Xiao, please praise me more in front of my dad when you go back, so that he won't beat me too much." Nangon Xiao's face was dark. "That's it?" The double-winged dasher dragon said with great confidence. "Of course, the magic beasts above the Grandmaster level will be given to me, and the magic beasts at the Grandmaster level will be left to you. It is settled." Nangon Xiao wanted to retort, And at this moment, an angry roar rose into the sky not far away, and a black shockwave beam came towards here. "Everyone get out of the way, this is a death ray containing destructive factors," shouted the two-winged green dragon. Everyone dodged in time, and the death ray pierced through and hit the place where Xiao Yi had just stood. There was a loud bang, and a bottomless pit was pierced through the ground. A destructive power has reached the 6-star Grandmaster level. Xiao Yi analyzed. Bang, bang, bang! Another 4 or 5 black shockwaves penetrated the air. The double-winged green dragon was angry and said, "Uncle Xiao, you guys hide well. I'm going to deal with these little reptiles." But the buzz, it flapped its wings and flew away, skimming between the gaps in the death rays. 1,000 meters away, 5 terrifying 6-star Grandmaster dinosaurs were staring at this place, and they united to attack the two-winged green dragon that was flying in the air. Several roars of roar were heard. 5 black shock waves condensed in the bloody mouths of the 5 terrifying tree dragons standing on the ground, piercing through the air and shooting towards the two-winged green dragon flying in the sky. Only the 5-star winged blue dragon at the Grandmaster level was not panicked at all. It had the advantage of flying, so it dared to fight 5 alone. The death rays containing destructive factors were dodged by the agile King Long. It activated the skill, Hurricane Power, condensing a hurricane to attack the enemy in various forms. Area attack. The strong wind blew between heaven and earth, and the towering ancient trees on the ground were bent by the wind. Giant Sword of Wind. Sharp giant swords formed by hurricanes condensed in the sky and distributed around the double-winged blue dragon. Go! Under its control, the giant sword and thousands of arrows shot out at the same time, creating a magnificent scene, shooting towards the giant dinosaur on the ground. There was a sound of. The Grandmaster level tree dragons dodged to the left and right, but they could not do anything about the large attack range of the giant sword of wind. Soon, 5 huge tree dragons were shot, their necks were pierced, their bodies were hit, and the sound of puffing was heard as their skin and flesh were torn apart. After one round, the tree dragons were seriously injured one by one, and their bodies were covered in blood. The double-winged green dragon looked down proudly in the sky. "Uncle Xiao, what's up? Am I handsome?" it said proudly. Perhaps the battle here was too noisy and attracted widespread attention from the surrounding area in the distance. A huge Tyrannosaurus Rex with explosive muscles and covered with blue-gray hard armor leapt up and swept towards the two-winged blue dragon. In the blink of an eye, it was above the double-winged green dragon, and its thick tail containing tremendous force swept down. Even the two-winged green dragon with the bonus of speed in the hurricane could not dodge and could only watch itself being hit. There was a loud noise. The double-winged green dragon flew backwards like a kite with a broken string. Its internal organs seemed to be shattered, and it hit the ground, creating a deep pit. "I shouldn't have pretended to be so cool earlier. Uncle Xiao, run away." The weak voice of the double-winged green dragon came from the deep pit. A giant Tyrannosaurus Rex with 10 Grandmaster stars. The double-winged green dragon had no power to fight back in front of it. Killed in one move. Xiao Yi and Nan Gongxiao looked at each other and mobilized the power of the contract in their bodies at the same time. Mythical 5-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon template echoes it. Yen. A clear yet majestic dragon roar sounded between heaven and earth. At this moment, the sky darkened. A huge, long and narrow golden dragon from the east appeared in the sky, blocking out the sunlight. The two-winged green dragon endured the pain all over his body and climbed out of the huge pit. When he looked up, he was shocked. Fuck, what a huge dragon! This length, 1,500 meters. This aura. A 10-star Grandmaster. Is it fake? He has reached the peak of Grandmaster so quickly, it completely overturned my cognition. The towering ancient trees seemed tiny in front of it. Those golden vertical pupils were like a huge dragon lantern, emitting brilliant light. When the double-winged green dragon saw this, he felt an urge to kneel down and worship. Thump, thump, thump. A 50-meter-tall giant Tyrannosaurus Rex was stared at by the 5-clawed golden dragon's golden vertical pupils. A feeling of fear rose in its body instinctively, and it took a few steps back with a solemn face. Dinosaurs are the predecessors of the lizard family and are considered to be in the lizard family. They seem to have little to do with dragons, but the two have a certain blood connection. A mythical 5-clawed Supreme Golden Dragon dominates all dragon-blooded magical beasts and all king beast bloodline magical beasts, so it also has a certain degree of suppression on the bloodline of dinosaurs. The two-winged Dasher Dragon, who had wanted to crush the teleportation item, saw the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex retreating again and again, and his face turned red as he complained. "Uncle Xiao, I will follow you from now on, so you have to take care of me." Chapter 155. The dragon swings its tail. The mighty dragon. Not long ago, he was still talking about letting Xiao Yi follow him, saying that he would protect Xiao Yi, allowing the two of them to easily harvest life substances and destructive substances, but in the blink of an eye he found that Xiao Yi had already reached the peak of the Grandmaster realm. Cheng Yi failed to play a leading role, so Xiao Yi was needed to save the situation. This made his old face turn red with embarrassment. The giant five-clawed golden dragon stared at the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex that was 40 to 50 meters tall with its dragon lantern-like eyes, and said with great interest, "You are both at the peak of the Grand Master realm. I hope you won't let me down." The artistic conception power between the words was so rich that it almost reached the level of substance. It burst out from the body of the five-clawed golden dragon and crushed the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. The supreme attribute. Extremely domineering and arrogant, shocking everything. The giant Tyrannosaurus Rex's legs bent due to being pressed down, fear flashed in its eyes. And it kept backing away. It's scared. There was a flash of shock in the eyes of Cheng Yi's summoned beast, the two-winged green dragon. The golden dragon's momentum alone made the Tyrannosaurus Rex of the same level retreat without a fight. This five-clawed golden dragon was too abnormal. And the two-winged green dragon snorted coldly, with a playful look in his eyes, and shouted at the Tyrannosaurus Rex on the hillside not far away. "Where did your arrogance go? Not so arrogant anymore? Not so arrogant anymore? Are you a coward? Hey, I still like the arrogant look you had just now." Xiao Yi was speechless when he heard this. Cheng Yi was quite sarcastic. Roar, the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex was bearing the domineering power that was shocking it. Fear was rising in its heart, but at this moment, it was provoked by the disdainful tone of the defeated two-winged green dragon, and it immediately became angry. It kicked its feet hard and leapt towards the two-winged green dragon on the edge of the deep pit, opening its bloody mouth wide and trying to deliver a fatal blow. "Keep on being so arrogant." The still sarcastic two-winged green dragon was suddenly speechless. A look of fear appeared on his face, and he cried out miserably, "Uncle Xiao, help!" Plop, plop, the seriously injured two-winged green dragon flapped its wings constantly, trying to dodge, but it was so seriously injured that it couldn't even fly. "Brother Dinosaur, Uncle Dinosaur, spare my life. I was wrong." The double-winged green dragon cried for mercy. "Xiao Yi." Nan Gong Xiao chuckled. "I like your arrogant look just now." In a flash, the five-clawed golden dragon moved. I saw a flash of golden light between heaven and earth. The five-clawed golden dragon swung its tail and knocked the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex flying, crashing it into the hillside. The ground immediately cracked and the soil flew everywhere. The giant Tyrannosaurus Rex was no longer alive. The five-clawed golden dragon with a mythical template has an incredibly strong body and can kill a Tyrannosaurus Rex of the same level with one blow. Xiao Yi activated the extraction function of the template adjustment period. Grandmaster level destruction at Rebuild Magical Beast, successfully extracted to pieces of destruction rule fragment crystals. After the extraction power came, a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex turned into powder, and two more rule fragment crystals filled with the rules of destruction appeared in the system space. The double-winged green dragon stopped crushing the teleportation item and said with a look of relief, "It was a close call. It was really a close call. We almost ended our trip to the secret realm." And he said gratefully, "Uncle Xiao, thank you very much." Nan Gong Xiao controlled the five-clawed golden dragon to the cracked hillside, took a closer look, and said in disappointment, "Xiao Yi. A Tyrannosaurus Rex escaped from underground. What a pity. The destructive material at the peak of the Grandmaster realm is gone." Xiao Yi said in the five-clawed golden dragon's mind. "It didn't escape. I transformed it into a resource for upgrading the template. The crystallization of destructive rule fragments is much higher in grade than destructive matter and is not on the same level at all. Destruction of matter can be measured with crystal cores. That is money, but rule fragment crystals cannot be exchanged even for the crystal cores of supreme monsters. Rule fragment crystals are the condensation of laws, which contain the power of rules. Only high-level supremes can initially touch them. It takes more than 100 years to condense one from the unstable rule space, and there is a risk of falling if you are not careful. It can be seen how high the gold content of regular fragment crystals is. Level 1 to level 3 are low levels, level 4 to level 6 are middle levels, level 6 to level 9 are high levels, and level 10 is the top level, which is the peak. Nan Gong Xiao immediately understood why Xiao Yi said that he needed 50 life attribute monsters and 50 destruction attribute monsters. It turned out that they were looking for resources to upgrade the template. The two-winged green dragon took out a healing potion from its backpack and drank it, then healed its wounds. Of course, Xiao Yi couldn't wait for him there. So he controlled the five-clawed golden dragon to fly deep into the mountains. The terrain is higher, and the towering ancient trees have become noticeably thicker. Among the ancient trees ahead, there is a super ancient tree with a diameter of 100 meters. Above the treetops, densely packed black pterosaurs with destructive attributes live here. Roar! Suddenly, the king beast pterosaur felt something and looked up at the sky. A terrifying giant five-clawed golden dragon was staring at them. A group of pterosaur monsters were frightened and flew up in dense black masses, flying towards the five-clawed golden dragon. Black flames containing destructive substances spewed out of his mouth, and the air was distorted. A group of Grand Master level monsters, Supreme Dragon Might, the ultimate version of the Holy Golden Dragon Might. After the pressure is displayed, the enemy's attributes are weakened by 50. And it becomes the master of the King Beasts, commanding all the King Beast bloodlines. Ian. A crisp yet majestic dragon roar sounded. The supreme and overriding dragon might, as if it was the will of heaven and earth, crushed out. Squeak. Squeak, squeak. The Pterosaur King, who was at the peak of the Grand Master level and had the bloodline of the King Beasts, was the first to be hit. It seemed as if he was facing the entire world. His mind almost collapsed, and his aura suddenly dropped. His bloodline of the King Beast froze and could not be mobilized at all, and he made a frightened squeaking sound, fall directly to the ground. The densely packed group of magical beasts also lost momentum. The attributes of all pterosaurs were reduced by half. They were still barely able to maintain their flying state, but their trembling bodies seemed like they would fall to the ground if they were not careful. The might of the Supreme Dragon has absolute suppression on the bloodline of the King Beast, and also has a strong mental and gravity deterrent effect on ordinary monsters. Then, the huge head of the five-clawed golden dragon opened its mouth. 5 elements control. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth. Fire element control. A huge golden flame spurted out from the dragon's mouth, penetrating a distance of more than 1,000 meters and burning the densely packed group of pterosaur monsters. At this moment, the heaven and earth were illuminated by the golden flames, shining brightly with golden light. Squeaks, squeak, squeak, squeak. The group of pterosaur monsters could not withstand the high temperature. All of their hair and keratin scales were burned off. They fell to the ground like raindrops, making squeaking screams. The vast power of extraction is coming. Grandmaster level destruction at Reboot Monster, successfully extracted 30 destruction rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level destruction at Reboot Monster, successfully extracted 20 fate rule fragment crystals. Chapter 156. The Pterosaur King surrenders, a masculine treasure. After a while, the only one left at the scene was a shivering Pterosaur King of the royal beast bloodline. Seeing the five-clawed golden dragon looking at it, the King of Beasts, the Pterosaur King, trembled all over and made a gesture of surrender. A group of monsters will recognize the bloodline of the King Beast as the king, because they have a subconscious sense of order between superiors and subordinates. The same is true for the Pterosaur King. When he encounters a five-clawed golden dragon that is completely superior to him in bloodline and crushes him in realm. Naturally, the idea of following and submitting arises in my mind. Raise your legs. The five-clawed golden dragon's spiritual way spoke. The Pterosaur King immediately made a funny move of lifting one leg and supporting the ground with one foot. I told you to lift your feet. The five-clawed golden dragon's mental weight spoke again. The Pterosaur King, the king of the King Beast bloodline, couldn't understand why the new king wanted it to do this, but it still supported itself on the ground with its wings, raised its feet high, and puffed its skin high. Nangong Xiao felt that this scene was familiar. Very obedient, okay? Xiao Yi controlled the five-clawed golden dragon to spit out a golden flame, and the Pterosaur King at the Grand Master level was burned to death. The vast power of extraction is coming. Grandmaster level destruction at Reboot Monster. Successfully extracted a destruction rule fragment crystal. Xiao Yi counted the crystals and found that there were 38 destructive crystals. At this time, less than an hour had passed since entering the Holy Spirit secret realm. The speed of collecting crystals was very fast. But Xiao Yi was not satisfied. He killed so many monsters, all of which were of destruction attributes, and there was not a single life-type monster. I remembered what Liu Ye said, but there are many monsters with destructive attributes and they are widely distributed, but there are very few monsters with life attributes and they are concentratedly distributed. The next main task is to find life-type monsters. As for the destructive attribute monsters, many of them can be killed easily. The five-clawed golden dragon soared into the sky and shuttled through this huge mountain range. 10 minutes later, it returned to its original place, feeling a little disappointed. Just by sensing their aura, all the monsters in the mountains are of destruction attribute, and there is not a single monster of life attribute. After such a long time, the injuries of the two-winged green dragon have almost healed. It flapped its wings and flew to the front of the five-clawed golden dragon. It looked at the huge dragon head and smiled innocently. Hey, Uncle Xiao, I'm fine now. Let's kill monsters together. Xiao Yi was just about to ask about the situation. Sheng Yi, life attribute monster. The double-winged dasher dragon shook his head and said, I have been to the Holy Spirit secret realm 3 times, but I have never seen any life attribute monsters. They are rare in number and their realms are powerful. The Holy Spirit secret realm is too big. I don't know which mountains or seas they live in. Xiao Yi frowned. This was not good. There was only one day to enter the Holy Spirit secret realm for training. The secret realm was half the size of Dragon Kingdom, and a five-clawed golden dragon couldn't even fly around it if he searched blindly. This day would probably be completely wasted. The double-winged dasher dragon gnashed his teeth and said, Aunt Yunqi is very smart. She won't let us harvest resources at will. One day is the limit. If Uncle Xiao really needs life essence, he can go find the Hong family prodigy who is undergoing this training every time he enters the Holy Spirit secret realm. The Hong family prodigy gains the most, he must know the Holy Spirit secret realm best. Xiao Yi nodded. Then let's say goodbye here and meet outside the secret realm in a day. Groan. The roar of a dragon resounded between heaven and earth. And a huge golden dragon shining with golden light soared up and flew towards the center of the Holy Spirit secret realm. Flying over the sky above huge mountains, the five-clawed golden dragon saw groups of magical beasts in the mountains, but none of them aroused much interest in it, as they were all magical beasts and dinosaurs with destructive attributes. After an hour of high-speed flight, a loud was heard from the front on the lake. A terrifying titan ape hundreds of meters tall was fighting fiercely with a black water dragon. He is the son of Titan Supreme of Titan Academy. Yan Zhengming's summon beast, Titanji and Tape. Xiao Yi was delighted he had met another practitioner. Maybe he knew something about the location of the life attribute monsters. The five-clawed golden dragon sped up and flew rapidly in the air. On the huge red lake, the gigantic 100-meter-tall Titan ape grabbed the water dragon with both hands, lifted it high up and then threw it far away with a bang. The water dragon smashed on the hillside and spat out a mouthful of black blood. Yan Zhengming was very happy. Xiao Yan, according to the information from my family's last practitioner, there is a masculine treasure in this lake. It can make women blush and men regain their virility. You will definitely like it. An Yan looked at him with disdain. I don't choose that thing. Yan Zhengming shook his head. They had signed the contract 4 years ago, and Hong Yan had only let him touch her a few times, a while ago, under the pretext of healing. Their relationship had made a substantial breakthrough, but in the past few days, they had returned to their previous cold state. He suspected that Hong Yan was a cold person, and he wanted to find something to cure his illness during this trip to the secret place. And the masculine treasure in this red lake is the target. Roar. Densely packed huge black shadows emerged from the bottom of the deep red lake, surrounded the Titan ape on the lake, and bit it with their sharp teeth covered with mucus. Oh, the Titan ape screamed and hurriedly shook off the giant water dragon that was biting its foot. It clenched its fists and smashed towards the loud bang. Waves dozens of meters high were stirred up on the water surface, and the two master-level water dragons that were hit died. At this time, from the bottom of the deep lake, a super huge black shadow swam towards the surface of the lake, and its target was the giant Titan ape. The Titan ape was fighting fiercely with a dense group of water dragon monsters and ignored the movements under his feet. Roar! Just when the Titan ape was getting a little tired of the fight, a 300-meter-long giant water dragon leapt high above the lake, opened its terrifying huge mouth with a diameter of 150 meters, and bit towards the Titan ape. The 10-star Grand Master water dragon bit the 1-star Grand Master Titan ape in one bite and dragged it into the deep lake. If nothing unexpected happens, the Titan ape will be in great danger. The five-clawed golden dragon that had just arrived above the lake widened, with its huge golden vertical pupils. 5 elements control: gold, wood, water, fire, earth. Water element control. As the name suggests, it has absolute control over all water elements in the world. A vast and magnificent spiritual wave burst out from the dragon's eyes and spread into the red lake. Suddenly, a shocking scene appeared. The water in the red lake evaporated in an instant, and the water level dropped, almost visibly to the naked eye in less than 5 seconds. The lake level dropped more than 200 meters. The red lake evaporated completely, revealing the water dragon king beast that was originally at the bottom of the lake. A Titan ape, who was still struggling, was overjoyed and said, "Brother Xiao, here. A few days ago I called him Xiao Yi. Today I call him Brother Xiao." Draw blood. The 5-clawed golden dragon controlled the blood in the body of the water dragon king beast and forcibly drew it out of the body, solving the problem of the water dragon king beast in one move. More than 200 Grand Master and Grand Master level water dragon monsters plopped in the air. They were not used to the air and were still in a daze. Earth element control. As the name suggests, it has absolute control over all earth elements in the world. Sharp earth thorns. The 5-clawed golden dragon said in a low voice. A mental wave spread out, and suddenly sharp and hard barbs hundreds of meters long emerged from the cracked mud at the bottom of the lake, piercing the hearts of more than 200 water dragon monsters one by one. Chapter 157 Priceless. Dig them up by the roots. The scene seems grand. And it is indeed magnificent. The attack power of each barb is at the level of a Grand Master's 4-star combat power, which is enough to crush the water dragon at the Grand Master level and the low-level water dragon at the Grand Master level. The herd of water dragon monsters was completely destroyed, and the vast power of extraction descended. Grand Master level destruction at Redupe Monster successfully extracted 60 destruction rule fragment crystals. Grand Master level destruction at Redupe Monster successfully extracted 50 fate rule fragment crystals. Grand Master level destruction at Redupe Magical Beast successfully extracted 40 destruction rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level destructive at Rebuke Monster, successfully extracted 35 creation rule fragment crystals. So far, Xiaoyi already has 139 destruction crystals, far exceeding the 50 required for upgrading the template. What is currently missing are only 50 lithic rule fragment crystals. Hello. Looking at the 5-clawed golden dragon that looked like a god descending from heaven, the Titan ape was shocked. The Titan ape, which he was so proud of, which was over 100 meters tall, looked short and bulky in front of it. He had been fighting a group of water dragon monsters for more than half an hour but couldn't defeat them, but the 5-clawed golden dragon killed them all in one encounter. Last time, Xiaoyi was only slightly better than him. But in just a few days, he had completely surpassed him, leaving him far behind. Junming. The Titan ape's calf seems to have been bitten to pieces by the water dragon. Hong Yun's worried voice suddenly sounded in Yang Junming's ears. The Titan ape looked down and saw that the place was covered in blood and in pieces. The Titan ape screamed and quickly transformed into human from Yang Junming, and Hong Yun appeared. Hong Yun jumped a few times on the spot and said in surprise, "Hey, I don't think I'm okay. I'm in trouble," Yang Junming cried, gasping in pain. "Of course you're fine if you don't have that thing, hiss. It hurts so much." His legs were shaking, and any movement would pull on the wound, causing severe pain. The 5-clawed golden dragon transformed into Xiaoyi and Nangong Saya. Xiaoyi walked forward, his mouth twitched, and said, "Xiaoyang, you are useless." Yan Junming said with a sad face, "Brother Xiao." Hong Yun greeted politely, "Brother Xiao?" After the last time and this time, Xiaoyi's strength was recognized and admired by the two. Even Hong Yun lowered her posture and called him Brother Xiao. Xiaoyi nodded and shifted his gaze to the center of the lake bottom. In the center of the cracked lake bottom stands a red giant over 10 meters high. The red giant is full of bright red fruits, which exude a masculine and strong breath. Just by smelling the scent floating in the air, the 4 people present felt refreshed. Yan Junming looked at the red fruit, his eyes flashing with desire. A masculine treasure that even a great venerable would covet. It is almost extinct on the market and is priceless. He explained, "I didn't expect there is actually one here. Brother Xiao, can you sell me 10 fruits? I will buy 1 fruit with a lower grade crystal core from a great venerable." Yan Junming requested sincerely. The water dragon was killed by the 5-clawed golden dragon, so this precious tree belongs to Xiaoyi. Nangong Saya was beautiful, eyes wide and in disbelief. She whispered to Xiaoyi, "How can this red fruit, which looks small and not even the size of a fist, be sold at such a high price?" Xiaoyi raised his eyebrows, also quite surprised seeing that the two did not respond. Yang Junming thought that the offer was too low, and said with a smile, "Father Xiao, if you think the price is too low, then I will use to great venerable realm lower grade crystal cores to buy 1, and 20 great venerable realm lower grade crystal cores to buy 10. How about that? Of course, you saved our lives, and we will thank you with a generous gift when we return." "No problem, sell them." Xiaoyi jumped to the treasure tree, picked 10 ripe-looking red fruits, then returned to his original place and handed them to Yang Junming. "This guy is the son of the Supreme and has a wealthy family. We can just take advantage of him." Yan Junming was overjoyed and took out 20 lower-grade crystal cores of the Great Venerable Realm from his storage ring and handed over the money and the goods. With the red fruit in hand, he felt that his broken wounds could be healed. By the gurgling sound, he threw a fruit into his mouth and swallowed it directly. A minute later, Yang Junming jumped up and exclaimed, "All right, the wound has healed. And the broken con has also been repaired." Da 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 da. Nangong Sao felt very cheated, so she leaned close to Xiaoyi and whispered, "For such a magical fruit, did you sell it at a low price?" Xiaoyi felt that the price was right. The Great Venerable's crystal core was not a cheap cabbage. He could also buy very good healing medicine on the market. It was more than enough to heal a wound. Yang Junming glanced at the Yanggang Ziachaibao fruit tree and suggested, "Brother Xiao, I suggest you pick all the fruits, including the unrippy ones, otherwise, we can only enter again after a year. And it would be a pity if they were destroyed by monsters during this year." But Xiaoyi shook his head and said, "No, since they are not ripe yet, there is no need to pick them." Yan Junming's eyes lit up. If he didn't pick them, he would enter the Holy Spirit secret realm next year and pick the fruits first. Nangong Saya was anxious. "1 crystal core for each great venerable. If you don't pick it, I will." Xiaoyi held her hand and said, "It's not too late to pick them when they are ripe." Yang Junming's opinion was completely different from before, so he tried to smooth things over by saying, "Yes, it won't be too late to pick them next year. The efficacy of unrippy fruits is more than half of that of ripe fruits." Nangong Saya turned her face away and snorted, "If you don't want to pick it, then don't pick it's up to you." "Okay." Xiaoyi nodded, a smile on his face. Everyone retreat 500 meters. Everyone didn't know why, but they all left the lake. Earth element control. As the name suggests, it has absolute control over all earth elements in the world. Xiaoyi. who inherited the skills of the summon beast, raised his hand, and surging power of artistic conception spread out, instantly covering an area with a diameter of 300 meters centered on the giant red tree. Then, a shocking scene appeared. "Get up," Xiaoyi said in a low voice. The entire cracked lake bottom seemed to have been dug up by a giant hand, including the soil, the giant red tree, and the complex roots of the giant red tree, all of which were peeled off the ground. He was lifted up into the air. Zero. Nangong Xiao was surprised and opened her mouth wide. Yan Zhenming and Hongyan guessed Xiaoyi's purpose and showed shock on their faces. Collect, with a flash of white light, everything including the soil, the roots of the red giant tree, and the body of the red giant tree were all collected into the system space. The system space is infinitely large, more than enough to hold this thing. Although living things cannot survive for too long in the system space, you can just find a place to plant it when you get out, and the fruit of the masculine leisure will be endless. Xiaoyi clapped his hands. Very satisfied, let's call it a day. Looking at the empty lake bottom, Yan Zhenming's face turned dark. Not even a tree root was left. How could he pick any yarn next year? Xiaoyi smiled and said, Xiaoyang, if you want to buy something in the future, come to me. By the way, do you know about the Holy Spirit secret realm? Do you know where the life at Rebuke monsters are? Chapter 158 Steering Wheel, Hong Family Assassins. Yan Zhenming scratched his head awkwardly. A family has a general distribution map of the Holy Spirit secret realm, but this is our first time entering. We came here in a hurry after seeing the address of the Yanggang supreme treasure, the red giant tree, and did not bring a detailed map with us. Xiaoyi was speechless. He was so focused on the Yanggang treasure that he even forgot to bring the map. But then Yang Zhenming said, "We don't know the map of the Holy Spirit's secret realm, but the Hong family's genius must know it. I can help you contact him." He took out a small steering wheel with 2 pointers on it. One red and one blue, and continued. The red pointer is the direction of the giant red tree, the masculine treasure, which is the lake beneath our feet. The direction of the blue pointer is where the Hong family's genius is. Brother Xiao, just go find him. Yang Zhenming had no idea about the Hong family's recent plans. He was still thinking about what Han Tao had told him, that he should find out Xiaoyi's preferences and establish a good relationship with Xiaoyi to win him over. Therefore, Yang Zhenming believed that if Xiaoyi went to find the Hong family's genius to explore the secret realm together, the Hong family would definitely be very happy. Xiaoyi smacked his lips. No wonder this kid could accurately find the red lake after just a quick glance at the map. It turned out he had a steering wheel. He took the steering wheel, clasped his fists and said, "Thank you very much." Yang Zhenming waved his hand to show that you're welcome. Then, a dragon roar was sounded, and Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao mobilized the power of the contract, transformed into the summon beast, a 5-clawed golden dragon, and flew into the air. The direction of the blue pointer is not towards the center of the secret realm, but towards the south. Xiaoyi's goal at this time is to find the genius of the Hong family first, ask about the location of the life-attributed monster, and then kill the monster to obtain 50 life-attributed rule fragment crystals. As the 5-clawed golden dragon flew at high speed, huge mountains below rapidly retreated. Nangong Xiao's consciousness in the dragon head's mind said with some concern, "The young master of the Hong family, Hong Tao, has targeted you twice in secret. Once was the Maid Tavern complaint, and the other time was the last campus smear incident. Hong Tao, the young master of the Hong family, may not have good intentions towards us. Let's go find the Hong family's genius. Will he tell us the truth?" Xiaoyi pondered and realized that it was true. Perhaps Hong Tao was once Liu Yi's suitor, so he was very unhappy with him and targeted him twice. If we beat him up, he will probably tell us the address, right? Xiaoyi replied. The smear campaign was too bad. After this incident, he and Hong Tao almost stood on opposite sides. He also had no good feelings towards the Hong family, so when it came to the Hong family's genius, he would just take action without saying anything. Nangong Xiao agreed very much. "I just can't hold it in any longer, so let's do something big here." Xiaoyi looked strange, and looked at the white clouds floating in the sky. "This place is not suitable, let's go back and do it." Nangong Xiao, no, right here. Xiaoyi had no choice but to follow her. Then the power of artistic conception surged on the 5-clawed golden dragon. Layer upon layer, spreading out like a substance, a force formed within the power of artistic conception, becoming increasingly intense. In this force, the air could not withstand the pressure of the supreme attribute and was directly expelled to form a vacuum. With a bang, this force finally took shape, transforming into a 100-meter diameter area centered on the 5-clawed golden dragon. A realm of the 5-clawed golden dragon was also promoted from 10 stars in the Grand Master realm to 1 star in the Venerable realm. Xiaoyi's face turned dark. "So you wanted to break through. Holy Might Domain, a domain derived from the Supreme Dragon Might, possessing the skill effects of the Supreme Dragon Might, and 10 times more powerful than the Supreme Dragon Might. Supreme Dragon Might. The ultimate version of the holy golden dragon might after the pressure is displayed, the enemies it rebukes are weakened by 50, and it becomes the master of the king beasts, commanding all the king beast bloodlines. In this domain, the five-clawed golden dragon will become the true king of beasts, and the master of dragon-type monsters. Xiao Yi thought about it and understood the abnormality of the field. Supreme Dragon Might is a skill, and once released, the effect does not last long but within the field. It is equivalent to releasing the Supreme Dragon Might skill all the time, and the effect is 10 times greater. A release of the Supreme Dragon Might skill has a cooldown time, but the domain has no cooldown time. As long as the power of the artistic conception is not exhausted, the domain can be continuously released. This domain can be continuously improved as the realm of the Venerable Realm is improved, and one's own skills can be integrated into it, increasing the diversity of the domain effect and improving the skill effect and power. 5 elements control invincible golden body real shield absolute damage reduction. The aura of the five-clawed golden dragon suddenly increased greatly, and its flying speed increased 4 or 5 times. It was like a phantom, passing through the air and shuttling through the white clouds. 2 hours later, the five-clawed golden dragon arrived above the Shiwen Mountains. Below, towering mountains rise one after another. The mountains are not big, but there are so many of them that there is no end in sight. Loud sounds of fighting rose into the sky, echoing across the sky and reaching the ears of the five-clawed golden dragon 10,000 meters in the sky. Xiao Yi was delighted. The direction of the blue pointer on the steering wheel is the direction where the fighting sound comes from. Finally found it. Then, the five-clawed golden dragon suddenly dived downwards, in the 10,000 mountains. On a dangerous cliff, 2 young men and women with slender cheeks and eagle eyes were harvesting a group of Grandmaster-level Leolin Longs with fierce eyes. A Leolin dragon is small in size but has a long neck. It does not have high attack power but has sharp vision and fast reaction speed. And in front of the eagle hook eyes young men and women, they were as weak as ants, and 4 or 5 Leolin dragon monsters died almost every second. I'll be free once I finish this. Not long ago, they had used the mirror-breaking potion that overdrafted the body and destroyed the foundation and forcibly broke through to the Venerable Realm, greatly increasing their combat power. Their goal is to harvest destructive matter as quickly as possible. Half a minute later, hundreds of Leolin dragons on this small mountain range were slaughtered by him. The eagle-eyed young man and woman inserted their hands into Leolin Long's head, fumbled around, took out a capsule of destructive material, and put it into the storage ring. One after another, the scene was brutal. Blood was all over the ground. It was like the Asura hell. Only dig out the destructive materials, and ignore everything else. Crystal cores, fur, fat, skeletons, dragon husks, and kidneys are all needed. In just half a minute, all of Leolin Long's destructive materials were dug out by him. It can be faster. The young man with eagle hook eyes was not satisfied with his speed, so he thought of a way. Instead of injuring Leolin Long and killing him, he would dig out the destructive matter in his head alive. The two looked at each other, and flew towards another small mountain range as if they had telepathy. The head of a Grand Master level Leolin Long that was eating grass was pierced through, and a capsule was dug out alive. The young man with eagle eyes was very satisfied. This was much faster and saved the step of beheading. The Leolin dragons were not very aggressive and were a group of magical beasts that the two of them had deliberately selected. Groaned. Suddenly at this moment, a clear dragon roar was heard from the sky. Golden light burst out between heaven and earth, alarming all the monsters and humans in the mountain range. Chapter 159. You will sleep here forever. The small herbivorous dinosaurs on the nearby small mountains were frightened and ran away in groups, away from the brilliant golden light. Including the group of Leolin Long monsters in the mountain where the eagle-eyed young man and woman were, they were frightened and ran away one by one. The faces of the eagle-eyed young men and women darkened. The place they carefully selected was destroyed. The five-clawed golden dragon arrived above the two, and asked them about the location of the life-attributed magical beast. The eagle-eyed young man and woman looked at each other, and there was disdain in each other's eyes. How rude of you, kid, you, we disturbed our interest in killing monsters, do you understand? The man with eagle eyes answered the question irrelevantly. Don't tell me. The five-clawed golden dragon moved, and the power of artistic conception burst out from its body, forming a holy power field within a 100-meter diameter area around it, directly covering the young man and woman with eagle eyes. A dual pressure of mind and gravity descended. The eagle-eyed young man and woman sank their bodies, bent their legs, and almost knelt down. They were very tenacious and pulled out fiercely. They looked at each other again, shocked. Domain. This is the domain of a venerable. Moreover, unlike a newly promoted venerable, his domain is as powerful as a sinking stone, stable and profound. This is a veteran venerable. How is that possible? Isn't it said that practitioners are limited to the Grand Master realm? Who are the contracted couple? Young Master Yun, a member of the Qing family, or a member of the Yang family? None of them. The two were puzzled. gradually increasing the pressure of the holy power domain. The five-clawed golden dragon spoke again. Tell me the address of the life attribute monster. The golden dragon can control the degree of the pressure effect and skill effect of holy power field with ease. The eagle-eyed young man and woman could not hold on any longer and fell to one knee. The young woman clasped her fists and said, "Senior, we don't know where the life attribute monster is, please don't embarrass us." The young man agreed, "Yes. Senior, don't waste your time on us, we don't know the address either." Their faces were sincere. Their tone was genuine, and it sounded like they were telling the truth. If it were someone else, they might have been fooled by the two of them. But Xiao Yi knew the truth. The five-clawed golden dragon's voice sank, and it suddenly increased the holy power domain to the maximum, and the domain effect was fully activated. There was a loud noise. A human-like young man and women with eagle eyes were directly pressed to the ground by the force of gravity, with their legs up in the air. All the attributes of the two people were greatly reduced, 90, 80, 70, 60.50, 40. It will not stop decreasing until it drops to 40 of its original attribute. The two felt that the surging power, artistic conception, energy, and mental strength in their bodies were greatly reduced. And finally only half of them were left. They were horrified in their hearts. This kind of field effect was simply unheard of. It could actually directly reduce the power of others by more than half. Met a tough guy. The young man with eagle eyes had a bitter look on his face. He took out a technology map from his storage ring and said, "This is the approximate distribution map of the magical beasts in the Holy Spirit secret realm. I'll give it to you, senior." The five-clawed golden dragon used mental waves to come closer and took a look. This so-called technological map is a leather map that marks the locations of most of the monsters in the Holy Spirit secret realm. When you click on a certain location on the map, a virtual screen will pop up, which will introduce the realm, attack methods, and combat power of this monster. On the map, there was indeed an introduction to the addresses of the life-attributed monsters. Very good. The five-clawed golden dragon gave a thumbs up to this technological map. The young man with eagle eyes pretended to be relaxed and said, "Senior, I have given you the map. I wonder if you can answer a question for us?" He wanted to find out the origin of the five-clawed golden dragon and who the contractor was, and then report to the Supreme Family, the Hong family, after leaving the Holy Spirit secret realm so that they could settle the score later. After glancing at him, Xiao Yi had the idea of letting the two of them stay in the Holy Spirit secret realm permanently. Han Tao targeted him twice. Once he wanted to destroy his relationship with Liu Ya, and once he wanted to ruin his reputation in Kunpeng Academy. They are all very vicious and cruelly targeted. Xiao Yi and the Hong family are already in a hostile relationship. The five-clawed golden dragon wrapped a small navigation wheel and said, "It was Yang Junming who asked me to come find you." After taking the steering wheel and observing the situation, the eagle-eyed young man and woman's faces turned dark. The steering navigation wheel is the one they gave to Yang Junming. So, the five-clawed golden dragon is one of us? The young man with eagle eyes twitched his lips, and a smile appeared on his face as he said, "Senior, it turns out that you are the young master of the Yang family, then we are family members. The Yang family and the Hong family have always been on good terms. This navigation wheel was made by our Hong family as a gift to the young master of the Yang family." The young woman secretly complained, "You just need to take out the navigation wheel first, we will give you a map directly. Is it necessary to alarm Liu and Long? Is it necessary to resort to violence to suppress us?" Xiao Yi curled the corner of his mouth. "One of us. It seems that these two people are unaware of the hostile relationship between Hong Tao and him." A five-clawed golden dragon smiled and said, "Since you all know each other then, please let the two of you sleep here forever." The young man with eagle eyes was overjoyed. He subconsciously believed that the five-clawed golden dragon would let them go, and said, "Okay, sure." But after he realized what was happening, his smile suddenly froze. His eyes widened in disbelief, and he said, "Senior, please don't joke with me." At this moment, the two of them were suppressed so tightly that they couldn't even get up. However, in secret, they directly mobilized the power of the contract and began to summon the yes-level legal template contract beast. With a chirp, a high-pitched voice echoed out, "Holy power field, maximum power of mental shock." There was a snapping sound as if a mirror was broken, and the minds of the two people shook violently. The summoning was directly interrupted, and the vision of transforming into an eagle was shattered. With a thud, the two men fell to the ground like dead dogs. Interrupt spellcasting. Interrupt transformation. A holy dragon's pressure from the holy power field not only has the effect of gravity pressure, but also has the effect of shocking the mind. "You can kill me or chop me up, please do as you please. But if you kill us, you will have to bear the wrath of the Hong family." There was despair on their faces, but their eyes were determined. They were the death warriors trained by the Hong family. Sooner or later, they would die on the battlefield. They had been mentally prepared for this, but they did not expect that death would come so soon. This harvesting mission is doomed to fail. They can take out the teleportation item to leave the secret realm from the storage ring, but will the 5-clawed golden dragon give them time to crush the item? Gold element control. The 5-clawed golden dragon activated its innate skill. As the mental waves spread, the metal combat suits on the eagle-eyed young man and woman were shattered, and the metal contained in them turned into 2 sharp swords, piercing into the hearts of the 2 men. The metal sword had the power of the 5-clawed golden dragon's artistic conception, mental waves, and energy blessing, which directly broke the passive defense of the 2 people's bodies. It pierced through the body with a, passed through the heart, shot out from the back, and with a ding, it pierced into a huge rock 100 meters away. The white knife went in and the red knife came out, and the light in the eyes of the 2 people quickly disappeared and turned gray. Chapter 160. Encounter with Mu King Zhu, the heart of the secret realm. Nan Gongxia was worried. Xiao Yi, aren't you afraid that Yang Junming will expose us? The Hong family's genius was sacrificed. If Yang Junming went to the Hong family to expose the matter, they would definitely be targeted by the Hong family. Xiao Yi smiled and said, the Hong family has been secretly targeting us for a long time. It doesn't matter whether he exposes it or not. Nan Gongxia suddenly realized. The Hong family has been targeted twice. Even if this incident did not happen, there is a high probability that they would be targeted for the 3rd and 4th time. Xiao Yi felt it necessary to make it clear to young lady Shuo Jiuo. We need to take a long-term view of the Hong family's affairs. This is just an appetizer. Nan Gongxia was silent. Xiao Yi thought she was afraid. After all, it was normal to be afraid when facing the top supreme family. But then Nan Gongxia laughed and said, the greater the pressure, the stronger our motivation will be. Isn't at the supreme? It won't take long for the golden dragon to reach this realm. When the time comes, we will kill gods and Buddhas, kill the supreme being, and flatten the Hong family. As she spoke, her tone became extremely excited and agitated. Xiao Yi. Young woman Shuo Jiuo controlled the 5-clawed golden dragon to spit out a ball of fire, which sprayed on the 2 still warm corpses on the ground. The scorching flames quickly burned the 2 bodies to ashes. A breeze blew, and the ashes flew in the wind and soon disappeared. The red flames burned everything, including the storage ring. Xiao Yi took one look and was immediately shocked. Saya, oh, you haven't taken out their storage rings yet. Do you know what happened when you touched the corpse? The young woman screamed. I was just taking advantage of the heat. Sorry. Xiao Yi. Is this also considered serving hot? Serve hot generally means? The young woman said coquettously. Oh, it's my first time. I will be able to touch corpses when I have experience. A few seconds later, the 5-clawed golden dragon opened its 10-meter-sized golden pupils and looked at the 20-centimeter-sized technological map. Fortunately, it has amazing eyesight, otherwise it would have gotten sty. According to the markings on the map, the Holy Spirit's secret realm is indeed half the size of Dragon Kingdom. The border of the Holy Spirit's secret realm is a circle of large mountains, with a sea in the middle. There are islands of various sizes on the sea. Among the dozens of islands, there are more than a dozen islands. There are more than a dozen islands in some sea areas that have life-attributed magical beasts. Click on the World of Warcraft avatar and detailed information will be displayed. Endless Crocodile Turtle Monster Group. The Venerable Realm Monster Group. Long lifespan, difficult to reproduce, extremely united. But at physical attacks in water at reduced attacks, amazing recovery ability. Bow-headed demonic whales, a group of venerable level demonic beasts with a long lifespan, living in extremely cold waters. Greenland demon sharks, a group of great venerable realm demonic beasts, have a long lifespan and live in the deep sea of 10,000 meters. They spend more than half of their time in a dormant state. Lighthouse Jellyfish Monster Group. The Venerable Realm Monster Group. Long lifespan, small body, transparent body, weak combat power. Red Sea Urchin Demon Plant Group. The Venerable Demon Plant Group has a long lifespan, is covered with barbs, has extremely strong attack power, and lives in shallow sea areas. Glass Sponge Monster Group. The Venerable Realm. Xiao Yi's eyelids twitched when he saw this. Those were all groups of venerable level magical beasts and plants. A group of magical beasts at the Venerable Realm means that most of the magical beasts in the group are Venerable S, a small part are below the Venerable Realm. And there is a high probability that there are a few at the Great Venerable Realm. Dean Yun Shi limits the practitioner's realm to the Grand Master Realm, clearly not wanting them to touch the magical beasts with life attributes. What's the difference between going there and seeking death? Even if they happen to encounter a magical beast with life attributes, they are extremely united. Even if there are magical beasts below the Venerable Realm in the tribe, it is difficult for the practitioners to kill them and obtain life substances. Xiao Yi and Nan Gongxia referred to the instructions given on the technology map and decided to go to the addresses of the Alligator Turtle Group and the Lighthouse Jellyfish Group first, and then find a way to obtain the Life Rule Fragment Crystals target, the island on the edge of the island group, where the Alligator Turtle Group is. Grown. A dragon roar sounded, and a five-clawed golden dragon immediately pierced through the air and flew away, constantly shuttling in the sky. On the way they saw the young master of the Yun family and his contractors fighting a group of velociraptors. Without stopping, the five-clawed golden dragon flew directly through the sky. On an island on the edge of the central island group, a stunning woman with long black hair and skin as white as snow and translucent, and a handsome man were hiding behind a huge rock, looking furtively into the island. Zhigang Tai, a handsome man, looked anxious and impatient. He said, "Why don't you just rush over to check the situation? You've been wasting half an hour here." The stunning woman with black long hair felt something was wrong, and said calmly, "The independent space where the heart of the secret realm is located is the core of the entire secret realm. The energy it emits is rich, and it will naturally attract the monsters to stay until they settle there. If we rush over to check, we will undoubtedly rush into the core of the monsters' base camp. It's too dangerous. It is extremely difficult for a group of life attribute monsters to reproduce. 80% of them are king beast bloodline monsters. They are very united and very difficult to deal with. We are both at the peak of the Grand Master realm. Acting rashly will only waste this opportunity." A watch on her wrist popped up a virtual screen, which contained a detailed map of the island group and an introduction to the distribution of Warcraft. As the official power of the City Lord's mansion, the maps she possessed were even more detailed than those of the Hong family, and contained war secrets. The heart of the secret realm is the core of the entire secret realm. It is located in the heart of the secret realm, but it is not necessarily the most central location. The purpose of their trip is to enter the power space in the heart of the secret realm, and through the means brought from the City Lord's mansion, obtain the authority of the secret realm, and then control this Holy Spirit secret realm. As for Kunpeng Supremianshi, the City Lord's mansion will interfere. In front of the two people was the base camp of the alligator turtle monster group. There were caves at the bottom of the rocks. Mu Qingzu could clearly sense that the energy level ahead was several levels higher than other places. After thinking for a while, the handsome man Zhigang Tai came up with a solution. His eyes lit up and he said, "Zuer, I'll make some noise to attract the attention of the alligator turtles and try to lead them away from the rocks. You can take the opportunity to go to the rocks and check if that is the core of the secret realm." When he called her Zuer, Mu Qingzu frowned. "Then go ahead. If there's any danger, just crush the teleportation item and leave the secret realm." A handsome young man, Zhigang Tai was very happy. This was the first time that he called her Zuer without her objecting by calling her by her name. "Zuer, leave it to me." With an excited look on his face, he quickly jumped over the boulder and rushed towards the rocks, twisting the drum. Mu Qingzu, a stunning woman with long black hair, was speechless. "Hey!" Zhigang Tai came close to the rocks, put his hands on his hips and shouted, "You bastards, come out to me. Today I'll let you guys have a taste of my power." Mixed with sonic attacks, the shout even caused the air to vibrate, and it slammed into the rocks violently. Among the densely packed rocks, a small head popped out from the rock cave in the front. It was the head of an alligator turtle monster. It looked at Zhigang Tai with contempt, then returned to the cave without even paying any attention to him. During the whole process, only one alligator turtle came out and looked at it with disdain. Not even one alligator turtle came out of the other rock caves. Zhigang Tai. Suddenly, a hand patted his shoulder, and a magnetic male voice came from the side. "Brother, how about letting me try?" "What the hell?" Zhigang Tai was shocked. "Ooh, where did you come from?" Chapter 161. Mu Qingzu, very soft. Zhigang Tai turned his head and immediately saw a handsome man and beautiful woman behind him. A man was extremely young and handsome. What surprised him was that the girl with such amazing fruit was as pretty as his white moonlight goddess Mu Qingzu. "So it's you two." Zhigang Tai naturally knew these two people, the trainees brought by Supreme Kunpeng. He waved his hand. "Don't make trouble. Just do what you need to do. Don't interfere with our work." Xiao Yi pointed at the rocks and said, "Is this how you do things?" As soon as Xiao Yi arrived at the island, he saw Zhigang Tai roaring. The group of alligator turtles seemed to dislike this human being for being too weak and were too lazy to pay attention to him. Zhigang Tai's face turned dark. The scene of being looked down upon by the alligator snapping turtle was actually seen by the people. Social death. That was a mistake just now. If we do it again, we can definitely lure them out, Zhigang Tai said, a little embarrassed. Anyway, you two should just get out of here. Suddenly he became impatient and his voice became low. Zhigang Tai didn't want to ruin the chance to explore the secret realm with Mu Qingzu alone again. Nan Gong Xiao said, speechless. The alligator turtle island is not yours. Do you think you are worthy of asking us to leave? Zhigang Tai's face darkened. If I tell you to get out, then get out now. Don't be ungrateful. At this time, Mu Qingzu, who was behind a boulder not far away, suddenly jumped up, and her long white legs crossed over the boulder in 2 or 3 seconds. She came to the crowd and said, "Since they are staying, then let them stay. That does not conflict with our purpose." Zekon Ziyangtai was anxious, but Mu Qingzu's voice turned cold. Let's do it this way. Ziyangtai choked on his words and opened his mouth but said nothing. Xiao Yi and the others looked at Mu Qingzu carefully and found that she had bright eyes, white teeth, and a beauty that could rival the moon. Her skin was white, shiny, and delicate. Her 3,000 black hair fell to her waist. She was a top-notch beauty who was no less beautiful than Cheng Bingxi. Xiao Yi stepped forward, extended his hand and introduced himself. My name is Xiao Yi, and I'm a freshman at Kunpeng College. Out of politeness, Mu Qingzu stretched out her hand and shook his, but they separated immediately. Mu Qingzu, the city lord's daughter. The hand was very soft, as if it was boneless. Xiao Yi had a good impression of her, but Mu Qingzu's next words made his face change. Mu Qingzu glanced at him with a teasing look and an arrogant expression, and said, Freshman, that's just brats. Such a young low-level grandmaster is pretty good, but the alligator turtle monster group is a group of venerable level monsters. I hope you will be careful later and just crush the teleportation props to leave the secret realm, otherwise you will probably die. Seeing another man touching the hand of the white moonlight goddess, Ziyangtai was furious and agreed. Yes, no matter how unbearable I am still a peak grandmaster. I hope you won't die later. Xiao Yi was too lazy to waste words with them and immediately used the pressure inherited from the 5-clawed golden dragon. A weakened version of supreme dragon power. There was a sound. When the pressure rolled out, the air collapsed and slammed into the rocks. The seconds passed and no alligator turtle emerged from the rocks. Ziyangtai laughed while holding his stomach, his eyes mocking. Just now when I made a move, at least a snapping turtle appeared. But you, nothing happened. Mu Qingzu curled the corners of her mouth. Xiao Yi was speechless. Why were you in such a hurry? A weakened version of supreme dragon power with maximum power. With a loud bang, the air collapsed again, and it seemed as if there was a loud dragon roar spreading in the air. Roar, the dragon's roar penetrated the rocks, penetrated the space, and accurately reached the ears of all the sleeping alligator turtles. Supreme dragon power dominates the bloodline of king beasts, dominates the bloodline of dragons. Even if Xiao Yi released a weakened version, it still has tremendous power. The sleeping alligator snapping turtles suddenly woke up. Their pupils shrank, and they all felt a great terror coming, and they all showed a look of fear. This pressure is so similar to the emperor who disappeared 100 years ago. The only one who can suppress and shock our king beast bloodline is the emperor. Great, Huang is back. After more than 100 years, the emperor has finally returned. Everyone stand up and come out of the cave to welcome the emperor's return. A group of alligator turtle monsters came out one after another. It moved towards the rocks with great force. Not long after, the originally empty rock group suddenly became populated by a dense crowd of alligator turtle monsters, of all levels high and low, all looking towards Xiao Yi with pilgrim eyes. Ziyangtai, who was still laughing, suddenly froze his smile, choked on his saliva and started coughing violently. He coughed until he was out of breath. After a while, he raised his trembling hand and pointed at the rocks in disbelief, saying, How is it possible? So many damn alligator turtle monsters, are they all out? Mu Qingzu was also stunned. And her face suddenly changed, and she said in a serious voice, Everyone, run away quickly. Hundreds of alligator turtles in the venerable realm and great venerable realm will crush us to pieces. She and Ziyangtai fled quickly and hid behind a huge rock. Ziyangtai patted his chest and said in fear, Fortunately Zua reminded me quickly, otherwise I would have died here today. Mu Qingzu sighed. These two students have angered the group of alligator turtle monsters. I'm afraid they are in great danger. They looked beyond the rocks. Xiao Yi and Nan Gongxia looked calm in the face of so many venerable and great venerable realm monsters. Not only were they not afraid, but their eyes revealed strong excitement. The two looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. Blood of the king beast. They all sensed that 80% of the alligator turtle monsters in this group had the blood of king beasts. Mobilizing the power of the contract, a brilliant golden light was reflected, and a huge 5-clawed golden dragon appeared in the sky. Holy power field was released. The complete version of Supreme Dragon Power talent skill is released at full power. With a loud bang, just as the group of alligator turtle monsters were wondering how the king's pressure came from a human being, an immense pressure descended from the sky, suppressing them and suppressing their king beast bloodline. The faces of the group of alligator turtle monsters changed drastically. The blood of the king beasts trembled violently, and then they couldn't bear the pressure and shook violently, and then turned gray and became lifeless as if they were sealed. The bloodline of the king beast was restricted, affecting the energy and artistic conception of the whole body. At this point, no matter they were Venerable S or Great Venerable S, none of them could mobilize even a trace of the king beast's bloodline, and all the energy and artistic conception power in their bodies were stuck in a quagmire and difficult to use. Domain is the result of the condensation and transformation of the power of artistic conception. If the power of artistic conception is difficult to mobilize, the domain cannot be formed. So at this moment, they only had their physical combat power left and couldn't even fly. Chapter 162 SSS Level Time Candle Dragon Template. Chapter 162 SSS Level Time Candle Dragon Template. The group of alligator turtle monsters roared. All of them were frightened. Damn it, how could this dragon release the pressure of our emperor? No, it's even more terrifying than our emperor. Is there a possibility that it is our emperor? The leader of the kings looks solemnly at the five-clawed golden dragon in the sky and said in a deep voice, "Excuse me. Sir, what is your relationship with my emperor? The emperor of a clan has a bloodline that is higher in grade than the king beast's bloodline, and can suppress and seal the king beast's bloodline." In the five-clawed golden dragon, the king leader sensed a blood connection similar to that of the king of alligator turtle. It speculated that this five-clawed golden dragon might be the form of the king after transformation, or the offspring born from the union of the king and a dragon-like monster. Regardless of which speculation is true, this five-clawed golden dragon has a close relationship with the imperial capital. Behind the boulder, Mu Qingzu and Jigang Tai rubbed their eyes and looked at it in disbelief. Such a large group of alligator turtle monsters at the venerable realm were actually suppressed by the five-clawed golden dragon. Jigang Tai felt that his cognition was about to be overturned. How is this possible? He is a low-level Grand Master. How could he? Mu Qingzu interrupted him. No, he is not a low-level Grand Master. He is a venerable. Mu Qingzu could sense the layers of oppression in the air and the iconic area in the sky. She was definitely at the venerable realm. Hearing this, Jigang Tai felt even more unbelievable. A freshman, at the venerable level? This talent. This training speed, even you are not as good as Zuer. Mu Qingzu thought about it carefully, and it was true. Her face darkened. At the age of 20, she had already reached the peak of the Grand Master realm and was hailed as the #1 prodigy in the Demon City. Xiao Yi and the other person, who are only freshmen now, are definitely no older than 19, but they have reached the astonishing level of venerable. She can no longer hold on to the title of the most talented person in the Magic City. At the age of 19, at the venerable level, Mu Qingzu frowned. As the reincarnation of an ancient saint. Although she has only inherited a little bit of memory for the time being, but in comparison, even her previous life was not as good as Xiao Yi and the others. Not good. Mu Qingzu hurriedly used her innate skill, prophecy. As time passed, a blurry picture appeared in her mind. Mu Qingzu was shocked. It was predicted before entering the secret realm that she would successfully enter the heart of the secret realm alone and successfully obtain the authority of the secret realm through the means of the city lord's mansion. But the scene that appeared in the prophecy this time was that Xiao Yi and she entered the heart of the secret realm and fought for power and recognition as the master. What made her ashamed was that after entering the heart of the secret realm, all the clothes on their bodies would be erased by the space barrier. That was to say, she and Xiao Yi would then be naked in the independent space of the heart of the secret realm and fight for the authority over the secret realm and fight for the authority over the secret realm. The prophecy has changed. Mu Qingzu's face was solemn. The template she awakened was the SSS Level Time Candle Dragon Template, which was a rare time at reboot type and possessed some innate skills related to time. The prophecy had never been wrong, but this time something changed. This kind of thing is the first time it has happened, either in the previous life or in this life. Even if the Emperor intervenes, he cannot change the predetermined future. The prophecy will never be wrong, so the problem lies with Xiao Yi. Mu Qingzu looked down at her own fair skin and curvy body. She felt her cheeks getting hot. The prophecy predicts the predetermined future even if she turns around and leaves the secret realm now. The predicted scene will definitely appear at some point in the future. So Mu Qingzu made up her mind to face it calmly and not avoid it at worst. She would just turn her back to Xiao Yi after entering the heart of the secret realm. Jigang Tai exclaimed. Zuer, look, the group of alligator turtle monsters seem to be kneeling down to worship the golden dragon. Damn, this is fake, right? Mu Qingzu came back to her senses and looked over with her beautiful eyes. As expected, after hearing the words of the king leader, the five-clawed golden dragon said, "Emperor, I am your emperor." The leader of the kings was shocked, and he was filled with doubts, but the induction from his blood was not wrong. So he spoke out immediately. "My fellow tribesmen, this is our emperor, he has returned." The group of alligator snapping turtle monsters became excited. "Emperor, you are finally back. Is the emperor's form a manifestation of his bloodline's evolution? It's great that the emperor didn't abandon us." Roar. Led by the great alligator turtle king leader, this group of alligator turtle monsters all made gestures of submission to the five-clawed golden dragon in the sky. "Your Majesty, a human supreme being captured us here 100 years ago and imprisoned us in this sea area with restrictions. Your Majesty, please lift the restrictions for us and avenge us," the king leader requested. Above the sky, In the mind of the five-clawed golden dragon, Xiao Yi and Nan Gong Xiao were stunned. Nan Gong Xiao smiled innocently. It seems they recognized the wrong animal. Xiao Yi nodded and shook his head. They recognized the bloodline. The bloodline of the golden dragon, not the appearance of the golden dragon. Nan Gong Xiao was tangled up and asked, now that we have become their king, should we still kill the alligator turtle to obtain template upgrade resources? Xiao Yi, don't worry, I have a way. But this method may fail, we must be prepared to fight them. Nan Gong Xiao, I'm ready. It's just a big fight, I don't feel tired even though we fight every night. Xiao Yi. It would be inappropriate for the two of them to transform back into human form now, lest the alligator snapping turtle leader's suspicion expand. The two wanted to kill 50 monsters in the group of venerable realm monsters even though their bloodlines were restricted. Their physical combat power was still terrifying, and their numbers were large, so the five-clawed golden dragon would be in a tough situation if they fought. I am currently in the process of rebuilding my broken mirror. And I need 50 life attribute magical beast bodies. The five-clawed golden dragon declined the request of the king leader, and ordered the alligator snapping turtle monster group to hunt and kill the lighthouse jellyfish monster group. The alligator snapping turtle leader felt that there was something wrong with what the golden dragon said. But the group of alligator turtles outside the rocks around it started to make a noise. We will follow the orders of our emperor, please rest assured that we will complete the orders perfectly. Not to mention 50. Even if we wipe out all those little jellyfish, what will happen? My heart is thirsty, leader. Let's go. The leader of the alligator turtles at the peak of the great venerable realm had no choice but to obey the tribe and shouted, everyone, follow me to fight the group of lighthouse jellyfish monsters. The goal, to annihilate them all, to welcome the return of the emperor. Total annihilation. Total annihilation. Total annihilation. Total annihilation. The alligator snapping turtle monsters followed suit and roared excitedly. Afterwards, led by the alligator turtle leader who was at the peak of the great venerable realm, the alligator turtle monster group set off in a mighty manner. The five-clawed golden dragon hovered above the rocks, watching them leave from afar. Wu Qingzu's eyes were fixed on the five-clawed golden dragon, as if she wanted to see it thoroughly, and she didn't even notice that the group of alligator turtle monsters had left. Ji Gangtai's eyes almost popped out of his head, and he said in astonishment, has this freak started practicing since his mother's womb? He is so young and has reached the venerable realm? And even the group of alligator turtle monsters listened to him. Zuer, let's go to the rocks and check the location of the heart of the secret realm. Mu Qingzu withdrew her puzzled look. And together with Ji Gangtai, they stepped over the boulder and headed towards the center of the rock group. And he took out the detection technology of the heart of the secret realm from the storage space. Chapter 163. And continuous harvesting, fragments of life rules crystallize. The appearance of these two people stealthily testing the heart of the secret realm was reflected in the golden vertical pupils of the five-clawed golden dragon in the air, which looked like a dragon lantern. From the actions of these two people, one can guess that they are looking for rare treasures. Nan Gong Xiao was speechless. We worked so hard to lure away the group of alligator turtle monsters. But you two want to take advantage of us? The five-clawed golden dragon snorted coldly and swooped down. The 50-meter-long dragon head was in front of Zhang Ji Gangtai and said in a cold voice, you are too lazy to even bother with the group of alligator turtle monsters. You think we are in the way, so why are you taking advantage of us now? The 1.7-meter tall, handsome-looking Ji Gangtai was startled by the huge creature. Then he said with some embarrassment, don't say such harsh words, I also contributed. Do you think you can intimidate the entire group of alligator turtle monsters by yourself? This is also due to the contributions of me and Zuer. Right, Zuer? His eyes showed anticipation. Wu Qingzu was disdainful and said with contempt, we have done nothing, yet we are flattering ourselves. Are you the king of big talk? Zhe Gangtai's expression froze and he was choking on his words. He was mad inside. Zuer, which side are you on? You and I are on the same team. He didn't dare to say these words out loud. But Ji Gangtai looked straight at the golden dragon's head and wanted to retort. However, when he saw the golden dragon's majestic golden vertical pupils, his heart trembled violently. He opened his mouth, but the words were at his lips, but he couldn't say them. Seeing Ji Gangtai being humiliated, Nan Gong Xiao chuckled and felt much better. The five-clawed golden dragon returned to the sky, watching their every move. Xiao Yi was also curious about what these two people were looking for. There was nothing on the rocks, and they kept exploring here and looking there. Mu Qingzu and Ji Gangtai kept moving on the rocks. The detection technology used by the two is made by combining doomsday materials and sophisticated techniques. It is like a metal scanner. It needs to be checked in various places. If something is detected, it will make a warning sound. After checking for a long time, Mu Qingzu stopped and said, it's not here. A five-clawed golden dragon asked curiously, what are you looking for? Mu Qingzu responded, little brat. When the words came out of his mouth, They paused for a moment. The five-clawed golden dragon was like a prehistoric beast, mighty and huge, so big and thick. To say small is highly inappropriate. So she changed the topic and said, "You don't understand it anyway, so there's no need for you to know." And she and Ji Gangtai left the rocks and walked away, planning to go to the next place to look for the heart of the secret realm. Ji Gangtai's happy voice could be heard faintly, "You go your way. And I'll go our way. Goodbye, kid." The five-clawed golden dragon watched the two people leave. Nangong Saya was speechless, as if she enjoyed staying with them. However, Xiaoyi felt that things were not that simple. These two people are both from the City Lord's mansion. Judging from their purpose, it seems that they are not here to kill monsters to obtain life substances, but for something else. But what is more attractive than life substances in the secret realm? I can't figure it out, so I'll just put it aside for now. The five-clawed golden dragon soared into the sky and flew towards the sea where the lighthouse jellyfish was located. Half an hour later, a five-clawed golden dragon came over a sea area, and the sound of fierce fighting came from the sea. A group of alligator snapping turtle monsters and a group of lighthouse jellyfish monsters are fighting. The realm of the alligator snapping turtle monster group is generally higher than that of the lighthouse jellyfish. The attack power of the lighthouse jellyfish is slightly weaker, and its body is smaller in addition. A group of alligator turtles seems to know the habits and weaknesses of jellyfish very well, and they almost beat the lighthouse jellyfish without any chance to fight back. It was a one-sided battle. Xiaoyi was a little frightened. There were more than 12 masters in the group of alligator turtles, and 5 of them were at the peak of the Great Master Realm. In addition, the defense of alligator turtles was amazing, and they had tough shells. Fortunately, the golden dragon did not fight with them, otherwise he would have to crush the teleportation item to save his life and leave before obtaining 50 crystals. There are many more Turritopsis dornii than alligator snapping turtles, but their combat power is not as high and they are good at using electricity. As the number of death of the Turritopsis dornii monsters increased, Xiaoyi directly activated the extraction function of the template adjuster. Grandmaster level lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 30 life-type rule fragment crystals. The venerable lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 90 life-type rule fragment crystals. The venerable lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 60 fate rule fragment crystals. Grandmaster level lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 40 lightning at rebute rule fragment crystals. The great venerable lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 3 life-type rule fragment crystals. The crocodile turtle monster of the venerable realm successfully extracted 30 life-type rule fragment crystals. Xiaoyi was very surprised by the number of crystals extracted. In just a short period of time, he successfully obtained 153 life crystals, 60 creation crystals, and 40 thunder crystals. Far more than the required 50 life types. Moreover, in the sea below, the two groups of monsters were still in a fierce killing state. There were casualties among the monsters on both sides. Therefore, what is extracted is not just the crystals existing in the body of the Turritopsis immortalis monster. In the sea 100 meters deep, the leader of the alligator turtle monster group was fighting fiercely with 2 great supreme peak level lighthouse jellyfish. He was always paying attention to the opponent and his own side. Suddenly, he found that the alligator turtle monsters and lighthouse jellyfish had just died, were seriously injured, or were in a temporary state. As if covered by some kind of great terror, they twitched all over, their bodies became dilapidated and decayed. And a disgusting smell emanated. Then those bodies collapsed and turned into sand like powder that floated in the sea. The leader of the alligator snapping turtle king, Warcraft, is angry. The bodies of these lighthouse jellyfish were his trophies and needed to be presented to the returning emperor. Not everyone can touch the corpse of an alligator snapping turtle. How dare you? You actually stole the things of my alligator snapping turtle clan. His aura suddenly increased significantly, and in a flash he repelled the 2 great masters, the peak-level lighthouse jellyfish, who were fighting with him. The terrifying power of artistic conception permeated the entire battlefield, trying to find out the mastermind behind the scenes. At this time, Xiaoyi started the extraction function of the template adjuster again. The vast power of extraction is coming. The bodies of the immortal jellyfish and the alligator snapping turtle that had just died in the battle began to decay once again, and finally turned into sand and dust powder. A leader of the alligator turtle kings was stunned. He watched his trophies being wiped out, but he could not detect any trace of terrifying power. It was as if the trophies were turned into powder naturally without any external force. As for the mastermind behind the scenes, he couldn't even find him out. Yes. The leader of the alligator turtle kings gasped. This terrifying method that allowed him to be unaware of anything could only be carried out by the supreme or a being above the supreme. At this time, a majestic voice came from above. I am the one taking action. You don't have to panic, just continue hunting the Turritopsis immortalis clan. Chapter 160. For the heart of the secret realm, Mu Kingzu is overjoyed. A leader of the alligator turtle kings was startled and his eyes widened in shock. Wang, it's Huang's voice. As the leader of the alligator turtle kings moved his gaze upwards, he finally discovered a huge creature several thousand meters above the sea. It is indeed the Emperor. He was stunned by this horrifying method, and his doubts about the Emperor's authenticity were greatly reduced. Emperor, still as terrifying as before. Yes, sir. A leader of the alligator turtle kings responded and used an attack that was even more explosive than before, fighting fiercely with two great supreme peak level lighthouse jellyfish. It's the Emperor. The Emperor is watching us. This is the first battle after the Emperor's return. We must win beautifully. Destroy all the Tuoraitos' jellyfish. Charge. Fight for the Emperor. The morale of the group of alligator turtle monsters soared. The originally one-sided battle now became a crushing victory, and they were quickly harvesting the lighthouse jellyfish monsters. As time passed, Xiaoyi continued to extract regular fragment crystals, and the number of crystals in the system increased. Grandmaster level lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 80 life-type rule fragment crystals. The venerable lighthouse jellyfish monster successfully extracted 120 life-type rule fragment crystals. The crocodile turtle monster of the venerable realm successfully extracted 40 life-type rule fragment crystals. An hour passed. Xiaoyi once again harvested 440 life-type crystals, 260 creation-type crystals, 80 thunder attribute crystals, and 230 water attribute crystals. Including those obtained previously, there are a total of 413 life-type crystals, 120 thunder attribute crystals, 320 creation-type crystals, and 250 water attribute